I didn't realize it was a surprising pattern. That's why I asked earlier. I'm like, does this bring stuff? I'm like,
You never expect the zombies, right?
I went to Target. I'm like, well, I could stock up on canned foods and more extra ready, but
look, I came armed. All right.
that's important. That'll stop all the zombies.
There you go.
Okay.
All right, we should be live. As always, just let me know in the comment section, which I'm going to try to attempt to do access via my new touchpad, but I make no promises.
Like we're living in the future.
That's right. Actually, I'm pretty sure this is not going to work, but I'll do my best. I think I have to constantly refresh it.
Yeah.
So,
Isn't it awesome to live in the future?
It's pretty nice.
Like, all this kind of stuff that we do right now, it's just never
Man,
expected.
you can keep your hoverboards. I have my little computer in my pocket that can do anything I want.
Hoverboards do exist, and Tony Hawk was
Yeah, I
riding
saw the
one.
video.
Yeah, it's crazy.
How much does that hoverboard cost now?
Thousands of dollars. But what is the point, Robbie? I don't know why you brought that up. All right.
Can't function on
And you
wires.
need like a bronze platform. Like, it can't just go on anything.
Wow. Okay, so I think I can get this to work, but it's just going to be me constantly reloading this page. So, also, guys, you cannot expect me to answer your questions too often because I don't want to totally derail the game. But if there's moments where the whole group is just discussing something that I don't have a decision I have nothing to do with, I will check the comments and see. So, anyways, hello, my name is Nick. This is Board Game Brawl. I'm sure you know me. We're missing just one person, but I'll let everyone else introduce themselves that is here, starting with you.
Hello, I'm Terry.
I'm Scott.
and I'm Eric, slightly off camera.
There you go.
Robbie, I got a haircut since was it Sunday?
Yes.
Yeah.
Robbie is a veteran of our
Live
live streams. All three of them that I've done?
I missed one, I think.
I was in one.
Yes. You missed the Fiasco one.
Yeah, I missed Fiasco.
You missed
all
everyone
night
pretending they were
board
gay
game, all night
and
game.
yelling at each other because they
For
were
sure.
gay.
So like normal game night.
That's right. That's right. It's usually turns into that.
That's why I get food of their shirt.
Yeah, probably.
So we're gonna give everyone a minute just to get settled. I know we're running late. I do apologize.
All right, here you go. Here's what my wife thought of me. Logic, -1.
Nice.
She wrote, well, she told me, no common sense. That's why I should give him -1.
Yeah,
Can be
that's
stubborn. Vitality, 2.
Wow.
Her words
two.
were very delicate. But she agreed that she said I was virile. So I'll take that.
Oh wow. Okay. That's useful
She
in
might,
zombie
be, she might
apocalypse.
be biased, to be fair. Charisma, 4. She thinks I'm charming and talkative,
There you go.
which is not at all what I think of myself. She says I'm a nice guy and sweet and honest. That's what she came up with.
There you go.
That's not bad. So we have 10 points.
You start with 1.
Start with 1. So
and
we,
there's 6 stats.
so one is auto. I automatically have a 1. And what's a 5 is like peak human.
Yeah, for whatever that characteristic is.
Okay.
So you have 3 groups. All right, let me start over.
Yeah, because I have a problem because on these types of scales, I don't believe anyone should be a 1 or anybody should be a 5. But
Everyone's going to be 1s, is that what you're saying?
no, I don't think anybody should be a 1 or anybody should be a 5.
Well, somebody's got to be a 5.
No, there's always going to be somebody better than you. And stuff
Well,
like
yeah.
that.
I would say the
That's not what
world's
means.
world's strongest man.
But that's
is
what I
peak
mean.
Well,
physical.
hold on
Are
a
there
second.
6s in the
Look,
world?
Well, hold on a
5 is-
second. They
it's
may
a whole
not be
range.
saying that a 5... The audience has no idea what we're talking about. they may not be saying that there are no 6s in the world. It's just that you can't be a 6. And not,
I understand that.
Right,
I can't
right.
be. I will be more willing to take a 5 if there are 6s in the world. I will never take a 5 if there's not. And so I'm very surprised your empathy is very high because I know my empathy would be higher than yours, but I can't because you took the
You know
highest.
I don't think they think that Olympic
Empathy.
swimmers are
Willpower.
playing this.
Yeah.
Or logic.
Me.
Maybe.
Maybe
Michael
that case we
Phelps-
make an exception in
Michael
that
Phelps loves zombie RPGs.
Well, you know,
I think 5 is a range.
yeah, it is a range.
All right, so while they're hashing that out, let me describe a little bit about what this game is. I know I apologize for the placement of the mic and that it's kind of obscuring my face, but trust me, that's a blessing. So this is End of the World Zombie Apocalypse. This is an RPG. It's more of a free-form RPG. Do not use this as a rules guideline. We're just going to play this fast and loose, try to have fun with it. And this is first in a series of RPG books by Fantasy Flight Games, each one detailing the end of the world from a different perspective. So there's going to be, I think, 3 other books. One of them will be Wrath of the Gods, which will be, you can choose either like Cthulhu's coming back or Greek mythology coming back and ending the world, whatever. One of them is going to be Rise of the Machines. One of them will be Aliens. That's the other one. So, excuse me. This is the alien, or this is the zombie one, and you pick a scenario, and the players who are at the table, one player is the GM. That's normal RPG stuff. The other players play as themselves. You don't have to. If you if that turns you off, if you don't like the idea of playing yourself, you can just make a character as normal, typical RPG rules. But the game really encourages you to play as yourself since it takes place in the modern day anyways. So right now, a lot of the character creation has to be done communally. That's just the way it is. You can do some things beforehand, but for the most part, you have to kind of hash it out with the other players. So what they're doing now is they have their character sheets, and somebody hold up their character sheet to the camera. There you go. You can see that. Very simple. One-sided sheet. They have 3 different categories of stats. You have physical, mental, and social. And each one of those is broken down into 2 separate characteristics. So for physical, you have, I think, vitality and dexterity, logic and willpower for mental, and then what's the 2 for?
Charisma, empathy.
Charisma and empathy for social. Right now they have 10 points to spread between all... Yeah, I realize I'm talking in through. I apologize. They have 10 points to spend and spread between those 6 characteristics. They start off with 1 automatically. So do you guys remember that, right? Okay. They always start off with 1. They cannot have a single characteristic above 5 because we're all very mediocre people. No, we may not be, but still, you can't do that. So how this works, though, is you have to kind of be honest to the group about what you're capable of. So you write down a number that you think accurately represents whatever category it is for you yourself in real life. Once you've done that, we go through a voting process. So everyone's going to go around and through each category tell people what their numbers are, and then we essentially vote, or I don't. The other players vote to see whether or not something should be raised or lowered. Once everyone's got this locked in, I'll explain it a little more in detail.
Yeah, 10. I got no, excluding the 1. So that's why you actually have 16 if you add them up.
In the meantime, I'm going to try to get this working.
Which is why I'm over right now.
I know, I'm thinking.
Right. So you
So
basically,
the total
if you
is
add
10.
all your stats together, you should have
And
a
4
total of
are
16
automatically
points.
distributed for it. Or
That's-
6 are
that's
automatically
the way to
distributed
do
for
it.
as 1s.
Yes, you automatically have 1s and everything, so everything above that will take away from your total of 10.
12.
Oh, so the 1s.
1s are automatic.
I hate
Ones
doing
are
this on the tablet.
You don't have to add your 1 in. Your 1 is
Your 1 is
automatic.
not part of your 10?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I was wondering.
We're all automatically
As
1.
Scott was saying, think of it as you have 16 points total.
Yeah, that's the easier way
That
of
is
doing
easier.
it. Right, yeah, because
I heard you say 16 and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
That is an awkward way for them to do it, but I guess their point in saying it that way was you can't have a 0 either.
Right, but...
Yeah.
Trying to knock it around
I'm gonna get rid
Knock
of
it
a
out.
point.
And instead I'm looking stuff on my character sheet.
It's okay, sweetheart. We got backups.
Well, it's true.
Don't worry, I think you'll be more empathetic than me.
Yeah.
I think I'm higher on that one than you.
It's
Yeah.
empathic anyway. Not empathetic.
I
I'm
think
not
you're probably higher
pathetic.
on this one than me.
I
Pathetic?
don't know about
I'm
that.
not pathetic. It's empathic.
Okay, maybe
It's
not
not
right now.
empathetic?
No. That sounds like it's
Wait,
pathetic.
you're empathic?
It does sound like that.
Put it empathic?
I'm pretty
Oh, that's
low
different. That's a different
on
sport.
both of these.
You don't have to put a 5 in that
We'll
anymore.
have to figure
Oh, yeah,
ourselves
that-
out.
Empathetic.
Yes, absolutely.
I would say you're definitely higher than me on
I would
both
say
physical.
vitality and
Alright,
3-ish.
got that.
I'm probably
3 or 4.
1. I'm not very-
Dexterity. What does dexterity
Entail.
entail? Does that just mean movement? Basically?
Agility,
Yeah.
gymnast.
Speed,
Attacks.
fitness.
Attacks are based on dexterity in this
Okay.
game.
And vitality is health, I imagine. So.
Health and strength, constitution, I guess.
Well, let me go ahead, since that is relevant. Let me describe a little bit how tests and things are going to work in this game. This whole game is tests. Even combat is a little bit different than normal tests, but it's still a test, essentially. How it works is that you make a pool of dice based on the positive features that you have that may be relevant to the task at hand. So if you're a distance runner and you're making a test for running, that's going to be relevant. And you always start off with 1 positive die. The reason why I stipulated that you have to have 2 different colored dice, doesn't matter what the colors are, they have to be different, is because one of them has to be positive and one of them has to be negative. Alright? So you start off with a positive. If you have any positive features that are going to add and aid you with this specific task, you'll get a positive die for each of those. Then you go for whatever the negatives are. Negatives would be situational most of the time. So if this, I'm trying to think of a good example. Let's just say that you are trying to get a car door open and it's stuck. It's jammed. And so that might add a negative die to your roll. Also, a horde of the undead is right behind you and is getting closer and closer to you, which is putting pressure on you. That's going to be at least one more negative die. All right? And you might have other things like there might be negative, you're going to have negative features. It's some problem that you have. I said it in the email. It might be that you're bad at math. It might be that you're absent-minded, forgetful, you're clumsy, something like that. That might add a negative die to the situation as well if it applies. And how it will work, you're going to roll that entire pool of dice, both the positive and the negative dice that you have. First thing you do is compare the positive dice to the negative dice. Any negative die whose number matches one of the positive die cancels it out, and they're gone. Then, of the positive dice that are left, you have to get equal to or lower than the stat that you're using for the test. So let's say it was distance running, for whatever reason, or running really fast away from the undead. That would be dexterity. So if your dexterity is a 3, you have to have at least one positive die left that has a 1, 2, or 3 on it. Equal to or lower. If you do that, you succeed on the test.
So, rolling more dice is bad at this game.
Well, only if you... Well, no. Rolling tons of positive dice is great.
Wow, okay, right.
Rolling a lot of negative
You only
dice.
need one to be under. It doesn't matter
Yeah.
how many are over.
Yeah,
oh, okay.
exactly.
Just need one. Okay. Right.
There might be extended tests that would require a multitude of successes,
Got it.
but for a single roll, 1 is all you need.
That makes sense.
Now, the downside to having too many negatives, aside from the obvious that I just said, was that if there are any negative dice left in your pool that did not cancel out the positive dice, those add stress to your character. So everything you do is stressful. It might be physically stressful, it might be mentally stressful, whatever it might be. And those are going to accrue and possibly lead to you having traumas. So, because you're in the zombie apocalypse, and things are not as swell as they were 24 hours ago.
So I'm coming up with at least one good, one bad.
Right, you should have a positive and negative feature
In every single category?
for every category.
Okay.
Not characteristic category, so the 3 of them.
Right.
How specific should we be with features?
Well, it's really as specific as you want to be. So,
Like, good with a knife? Or...
I
That's
see.
good.
You are good with a knife.
yeah, if you think it's accurate and relevant to, then yeah, that would be a pretty good one. There is a distinction, because I mentioned too in the email that you might potentially start with traumas, but you don't necessarily have to. Traumas are like some serious debilitating thing that you're suffering from, which could be anything from an illness when you start the game to just being incredibly exhausted. You've stayed up all night the last 3 nights, which is going to seriously hinder mental tests, social tests, possibly physical tests. But that's purely case-by-case thing. If you want to do it, that's fine. If you don't want to, that's fine too.
Went to work.
And what about training? Like, if you had any training, does that come into play at any of these things? Like, if you're military trained?
That would absolutely matter because but you would break it down further than that. So
Okay.
what did you specialize in the military?
Right.
So I mean I know that you were in
Yeah, I was
communications,
right.
right? So for
Military
you,
intelligence.
you might break it down to something very specific. I don't know. That's up for you to decide. But
Okay.
for instance, it might be very good for you guys to have someone who knows how to handle or fix a walkie-talkie or something like that. That's something to consider.
I think you're gonna be pretty useful in this.
Yeah.
Well, it's not like him. He goes to the range every month. There, I don't do that. But I have had.
See, I thought you were joking at first in your email. I didn't know that you actually
No.
were
Don't
armed
you have
and
to
trained
do
with a
10?
gun.
Well,
Hmm?
I mean, I don't carry
You
it
have to
with me
have 10?
all the
Sure.
time, but I do have one.
No
And I
doubt.
do go to the
10.
range.
But you have to add up to
Right.
16.
No,
Okay.
3 plus
Around
1.
the,
I just added.
So that is
This is on top
absolutely
of
a
the one.
feature.
Oh.
I like how you say
Four,
all the time.
3, 2, 3,
So
2, 2.
some of the time.
Some of the time.
Do you don't think they're charismatic?
That's scary.
Mr. Handsome Boy?
I only have 10 points.
It's about representation.
I only have 10 points. I don't know. I mean,
Well, we should have brought. There's a board game called
that's
Cash
the,
and Guns.
I would say that's
that comes
a
with foam,
criticism is
black
that
guns that you point
some
at each
people
other
are
at the
strong
first of
and
the game.
charismatic at the same
Not even
time
armed.
and are smart. But
Some people also are egotistical.
ego should be on here.
I know, right? Some people should have 24 points. I
like-
totally agree with you.
Like, you guys can't all have a 5 in ego, okay? This is gonna be a problem.
Well, me in this game probably. Seems like such a oxymoron there, but I'm gonna do it anyway because I think it's funny. You guys can tell me if it's stupid.
Good at Simpsons quotes.
That's gonna be my mental. For social, it's social.
So, would you say honest is a
culture
positive
knowledge,
trait
yeah.
or a negative trait when the zombie apocalypse happens?
Have you read Walking Dead?
Well,
Just some of the comics, but
It's bad. Don't
see,
be honest.
it's
Wanna
really
lie all the
interesting
time.
because the examples they give in the
put that
book
as a
for
bad.
positive and negative features for social, on the positive side they have excellent
think that's
liar.
accurate?
On the negative side they have very poor liar. So I would say honest is negative.
that's a negative one.
Sure.
And I don't think cries in movies is a
enough.
positive either.
Pop culture knowledge.
It's not as much as a hindrance as it used to be.
Mental
Probably not too much
features.
of a detriment in the zombie apocalypse.
Exactly.
Physical stuff's easy. I think about mental. I'm smart guy. I know things.
Smart guy McSmartyston.
SMRT. So it's 2.
So, give me a good example
think
of
that should be
positive empathy.
Is
Read
vitality
people?
extreme?
Yes.
Yeah, that would be a good one.
Insight.
Maybe.
Being able to read people well.
I don't know.
Being able to, I would say that under empathy, it's empathy and charisma, right? So, being able to talk someone down, I don't know how you would phrase that, but I guess it's a very fine line between charisma and empathy because what constitutes what. Like, charisma would be just being able to have a conversation with someone very well, whereas empathy might be actually, like, talking someone down off a roof.
Reading a person, I think, is
Yeah, I think that's pretty
understanding
accurate.
what their perspective is, and I think it feeds into.
Let's see if they
charisma,
actually
but-
give examples based on.
So, I have a problem. I can't think of any positive social that would apply to me. Do I need a positive social?
You have to have a positive and negative in each. But I don't know. I'll just read you some examples, and maybe you can either maybe choose one or. So positive social examples, not broken down by charisma or empathy, but always smiling, which is kind of weird.
Oh, wow.
Snappy dresser, excellent liar, wheeler and dealer, natural leader, extremely attractive.
Okay, well, I didn't
Well,
know that was an option. But
say no more.
All right. Extremely
What are some
handsome.
examples for physical there?
For the advantages for physical, positive ones.
Or negative, actually.
Well, I'll list both. So positive examples would be distance runner, weightlifter, very flexible, martial artist, crack shot. That would be a good one for you. I mean, I don't know if you are, but more so than anyone else.
We
And
don't know, so you can just say.
and iron stomach.
Oh,
That's what
That was actually a very popular one in World of Darkness. One of them was, I think, was called Iron Stomach.
you can eat irradiated food.
Well,
It's
the example
fine.
in World of Darkness was you can eat a bunch of runny eggs on a hangover and feel nothing. Keep it down.
That's exactly what I do when I have a hangover. Runny eggs.
So negative physical examples would be allergies, sedentary, bad back, very nearsighted, injured eardrum, weak stomach.
Okay. I gotta think of social things.
Also, remember you guys' equipment, quote unquote, which is just what you have on you at the time.
Is this
So,
anything
like,
in my house or just on my person?
on your person, and yeah, there's got to be a limit. So obviously you're not going to list every single useful thing that's in your home because you're not necessarily going to be carrying that at all times.
No, but I mean
But-
like
Backpack?
You Well, yeah, you brought your backpack, so yeah, you have a backpack.
Well, I have a baseball bat that's, you know, for
So-
multiple weapons. I would use them. It
Right.
would have to be if I was like out at a store, what I would be carrying.
But here's the thing to remember. So at a certain point, the timelines are going to diverge, and you guys sitting here
We're gonna have
eating
time
dinner
and grab stuff too.
is going to be different than what your characters are doing.
Right, okay.
So what that means is that up until the point where we begin the game, you can be doing what you're doing right now, eating, and you're playing some other RPG,
Right.
and I'm not here. But then you guys have to decide what you're doing, because something's going to happen. So then you go and grab stuff, and if you are mobile with it, you have it. Then you
Okay.
can make a note of it.
Right, okay.
And this is a very free form game, so I'm not going to be such a stickler on. Well, obviously I ran out of the house with a knife. I told you I used it. I just didn't write it down. Well, okay, that's fine. But if it's something really important and you totally neglected it, I can hold you to that.
I left my heart medicine.
And my wife makes fun of me because I always have that.
Well, there, look at that.
That's
See?
a leather with it.
No, those are useful.
You're right. I mean, I have that. And a pocket knife. So.
Well, the zombie comes after you.
There's at least 40% of the table that is way more prepared for the zombie apocalypse, mainly due to gun training, military training. I'm not saying who they are, but
I've fired a gun before.
I don't think that I have.
It was a 22 rifle, but
Okay.
BB gun.
So what should
Is
we
everyone
do?
kind of set with their stats? Just
We have got one more.
we can do this step by step. So is everyone just done with the points? We'll say that.
Yeah.
Okay.
yes.
So then we're going to do voting. So let me explain how that works. It's not quite as bad as it sounds. Or it's as bad as it sounds. Whatever.
I do pay attention.
No, I was laughing at that.
Well, I am.
You are.
Okay then.
Okay, everybody take a black and a white die, except for me. You guys can use your own dice when you get into the game, but for now, we kind of need to use the same pool of dice. So, one at a time, you guys can decide amongst yourselves who's going to go first. You submit your characters to be voted on. You go through 3 voting rounds, category by category, and read off the values that you chose for the 2 characteristics in that category. So, dexterity and vitality and so on. Then, the rest of the players pass around. Do we have some sort of bag or something we can use? Dice bag or
yeah.
bowl or...
Yes, we do have dice bags somewhere. Oh look.
Or there, Eric's got it.
Okay, that works.
And you put one of those 2 dice that you have in that bag as it
Okay.
goes around secretly. Just put it underneath the table. If you're putting in a positive die, you have heard their 2 scores and you think one of the characteristics should be raised. If you put in, with the positive die is the white die. If you put in the black die, the negative die, you think that one of the 2 characteristics should be lowered. And if you put in both dice, then the 2 characteristics should stay the same.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's just what your mentality should be when you're putting in the dice. Okay, so if you're okay with their stats, put in 2.
Okay.
Because the more closer to equal that it is, the more likely they're not going to have to change one of their stats. Once everyone has collected all the votes, or the votes have all been collected, mix up the dice and dump on the table. You count up the total number of positive and negative dice. If there are more positive dice, you raise one of your characteristics by 1 point without raising it above 5. Can't do that. And if there are more negative dice, you lower one of your characteristics without lowering it below 1. If there are an equal number of positive and negative dice, you leave them as they are.
Are we allowed to explain our reasoning, I assume, or just saying out the numbers?
You could say whatever you want.
Okay.
Does these adjustments modify that you only had 10 points, or this is just
It will modify
above and
them.
above?
So you have to.
Extra.
So
So
you have to.
to compensate for that.
Yeah.
If something's increased by 1,
Oh, no.
No.
this is after.
It's
Yeah, I got the
afterwards.
impression it's
So,
after.
yeah, you
That's
guys have
what we
locked
do.
in your points, and now this is going to modify them one way or the other.
So I'll start, if you guys are alright with that.
All right.
So physical, we'll do 1 category at a time, right?
Right, so the 2 for physical, yeah.
So I put 3 for dexterity, and are we doing features?
No, not features.
All right,
Features
just-
are separate.
Average dexterity, and 2 for vitality, below average vitality, and then
At least on one of these votes, I want to see every die be black. I just think it'd be funny.
This is hard when you don't really know. The,
Hey, that guy
You
looks
don't
like
know
those
people
numbers.
very well, but
Yeah.
yeah.
guess I'm done picking
Yeah,
out,
just-
right?
yeah.
Go ahead.
We have even amounts of dice.
Nice.
There you go. So
One five.
none of those change. So now we're gonna
Great.
do it for your mental. We'll do one player at a time. So
Right. So,
yeah.
all right. Let me just borrow this. Is this for you?
Okay.
And for mental, I put 5 for logic and 1 for willpower.
Bear in mind, his wife gave him a -1 in logic. I'm saying that should influence your vote.
What was your willpower?
So
One?
the reasoning for willpower,
This is dumb
in
stuff.
case you guys are concerned, I've always seen myself as book smart, but not very wise. And I know from personal experience that I'm very easily convinced. Like if people call me up on the phone and want to sell me something, I'm like, yeah, all right, I'll buy it. That kind of stuff. So when it comes to wisdom, I don't really make good choices.
Good. Good. It's good to have you on our team.
All right.
Good to have you.
I might be mixing willpower and wisdom, but that's my thinking. I've always thought of myself as not wise, but book smart.
Joe Wiggins says, the way he eats that chicken, though. And Erez says, laugh out loud, right? I don't get that frontal chicken. I think a black one over here. Is that everybody?
Tie again if I wait.
No one, someone but none then.
Huh?
There should be 4 and 4.
Well, no, not necessarily.
No.
We either put in 2 or
One.
Oh, that's
1.
right.
Right, okay.
I
Well, they
don't-
balance out anyway.
Was there a black one?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, there's 3 black and... So that means...
So it's tie again, right?
Yeah, it's tie again.
All right.
Yep.
Last time.
All right.
It still works out even in the end if you don't end up...
Grab your dice.
Okay, I see.
I don't know who had what, so.
Hey. You need to think of a feature.
PewDiePie did this
Yeah, me too.
first. This particular game, I doubt it.
Social. I put 2 for charisma. I don't think of myself as charming, despite what my wife thinks. And 3 for empathy. I don't know, average.
So it's 2 and 3.
3. You ever read the books Roger Zelazny, Ninth Person Ever? There was a game. Did you ever play the game? They had
Once.
a very similar type of thing. You know, how it was like really
Okay,
great.
you get to add one. It's 4
Oh.
and 2.
You must raise one of your stats.
Can we just game the system and
So
all
while
just
you're
put
doing
white
that-
guy in?
Yeah,
and then we
well,
have
that's
Superman.
yeah.
Alright.
I'll raise charisma.
I need both.
Okay. So, I guess I'll start now. I put for physical dexterity 3 and vitality 2. And I don't have to describe it in here all. So,
Sorry.
Dun dun dun.
Dexterity.
I did take karate.
There you
Oh,
go.
wait, did you put yours in already? Oh, okay. I guess you did. Okay, so it's all even.
Alright.
Alright.
I have a sneaky suspicion no one's trying to be that contentious.
Well, it's not like people are going like, I'm a 5 and I'm a
Very
5.
reasonable, right?
That's
Yeah.
true.
Mental, I put a logic of 3 and a willpower of 2.
You crazy?
I'm out of points.
You cray cray?
I know that's the problem.
You
You're like,
know, it's
I would do
like-
more, but I don't
Right.
have them.
I
So
didn't, you know.
I think I guess this is what
Got
this
it?
is for.
Yeah, I guess.
It's to compensate for them.
So,
That guy's actually, he's really smart. He should have more
Be
than
modest.
that.
Just be
Yeah.
modest.
Yeah.
No. It's like,
That's is the top part is not part of the bottom part.
oh.
There you go.
They're not
Yeah.
attached.
Yeah, it seems to work. All right.
The move is your
Yeah, the whole thing
fine.
Oh, and the cat food. Wonderful.
Alright.
Well,
Alright,
it's fresh.
Alright, so then I have to increase
fresh.
1. So I will do. Wow. mean, I got my degree in logic, so I guess I'll increase that by 1.
What happened?
Should be like a 5?
I got a degree in philosophy, and I focused on logic. All right. So
Well,
fair enough.
When the zombies want to debate
Yeah.
about Kant
Yeah.
or
exactly. Or Descartes.
Yeah.
or
There you
Descartes, there you
or
go.
any of those other things. And then finally got the social, a charisma 3 and an empathy of 4. That's what I put.
Where's the bag?
I have it.
Got it.
Ah, I stick. This would be very upsetting if this part lasts longer
Yeah.
than our actual gameplay.
I got down one.
Yeah,
Ooh.
apparently.
Oh, nice.
You're not really charming.
Alright. Alright, so 3 and 3.
You know what the game didn't realize is when you pick up the dice,
Yeah.
you can
that's-
figure out.
What you need is 2 bags.
I need a white.
Yeah,
You
you're
can
probably
put your
right.
other bag. You put your other one.
Or everyone just looks away.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's-
it's
or
a
something.
little
Yeah,
strange.
you-
I noticed that too the first time. I'm like, okay.
I tried
Alright,
to eat.
I'm trying not to look. Yeah, so. Alright, I'm done then.
Alright. So for dexterity and vitality, I had 3 and 3.
That's pretty average.
Fairly average.
None of us are bodybuilders or gymnasts or anything like that.
Well,
apparently.
unfortunately, I'm not playing a character.
I do yoga. Does that count?
Yeah, sure.
Flexibility.
Flexibility.
It's your feature.
Oh, right.
Dun, 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 positive.
You must raise one.
Raise one. So I've never seen any of you guys in any kind of physical competition or
No.
display. No, I don't know how to judge.
If you were on Facebook, you would have seen me do a 5K race.
Okay, that's good. That's
I-
not bad.
I did a 5K race in 40 minutes, which is not good.
Cross country,
No.
a marathon.
Yeah.
It's probably better than me. That's why.
What's my-
I put one for mine.
Let's see, a long time ago in another lifetime when I was doing those, what was my best time? I think I did it
In
in
another lifetime.
like 19 something.
Is that a water gun?
You did
I always
5K?
wanted to do
What?
19.
No, it's a Nerf gun.
I was
Oh,
low
it's
20s,
my dog.
but I could never break that. I always wanted to break that barrier, right?
Yeah, and I mean, but you know, you like, yeah, I did 19, and then you find out that the person that won was like 14 or some crazy number. Like,
Dude, the best time
No,
in
I
this
did not.
race was like
In the
18.
black.
really?
Yeah. Now, obviously, they weren't like high school cross country
Right.
races.
And that's the thing. A lot of the races I was in, a lot of high school kids were doing it. And, yeah. Although there's a lot of high school kids doing it who, like, you would see them just like go as fast as they can right off the gate, and of course by the
Pass
end
them.
they're like,
What'd you increase?
and then, you know,
Dexterity.
Makes sense.
So for
That's pretty
mental,
good,
I
though, metaphor
did
for high school.
logic 3 and willpower 2.
I'm sorry, I was.
Logic 3 and willpower 2.
I disapprove.
I am judging you.
Alright.
Can't put that in?
No.
I got cat power, right?
If she makes a noise, I would back away. Because she loves the pets, and then suddenly,
All done.
Is
but
that danger mouse?
no, it's not. Not hard.
Oh, it's not. Oh, okay.
This one is dumb as a rock, and you can pet them all day.
Okay, you get to add one.
Alright.
It's too bad you don't get to add 2.
Go around again.
Oh,
Should just done.
Alright. And for the last one, for social, charisma 3, empathy 2.
You want chicken, don't you? You don't get chicken.
So I play some other, a couple of other Fantasy Flight games. They have good stuff.
Yeah, have you played the Star Wars one?
No, I did the Warhammer 40K.
Oh, okay. I've heard good things about that too. Yeah, I did very briefly Edge of the Empire, which was it was the first of this.
you're even.
It was the first of the Star Wars ones where you kind of
But
play
you know what you're saying. You
scoundrels
don't
in
have to outrun
the
the
fringes of the
buried, you just have
galaxy.
to outrun your friends.
And it's got a great system. It's kind of similar to this where you're rolling dice that cancel out dice, and it's just really simple and elegant,
Alright,
and I like it a
a
lot.
lot there.
You
Yeah.
guys ready? Okay, physical, I have dexterity of 4, vitality of 3. I used to be a weightlifter before I took an office job.
Yeah, I know, right?
Oh, you think I should be a 5? Okay. All black.
Oh.
I'm hoping one day.
Wow. Not a whole lot of input.
Well,
No, there's more in
one-
there.
That's why.
I was like, not there are more
There
in
we
there.
go.
I was like, that doesn't seem right.
Huh? Okay.
So everyone agrees.
Oh,
Alright, we agree.
you agree with the rough idea.
Oh,
Mental, logic of 2, willpower of 3. Okay.
People think highly of you.
I think we all were like, okay, they're all gamers. Yeah, it can't be that dumb, right?
You can read the
I don't
directions,
know.
so
You
keep
like
it that
Galaxy
bad.
Trucker? I'm not sure.
Hey,
Wah, wah.
Thank you.
Very,
I
very
played
hard
that
on
once.
for
And
that.
oh my god.
okay, hater.
That should be a negative feature on Warfare.
I can make my negative. That's fine.
No, I think that is definitely
Yes,
more
okay.
appropriate.
Parentheses targeted by zombies.
Galaxy Trucker makes you zombies just home in
just-
right on the Galaxy Trucker.
Bobby, they just know. I can't explain.
Yeah, I know, it's strange. It's almost just the person controlling them doesn't like Galaxy Trucker. Social, both 2. Charisma and empathy, both 2s. Plus, feature, likes chicken.
I suppose had we done a lot more setup ahead of time, one way to do this would have we could have done it ahead of time just through email, where you
Right.
guys just email me your responses for the vote.
Right.
But that would have been pretty long and cumbersome too.
Voting for email would be pretty tough.
Yeah.
You get to raise another one.
Oh yeah. Oh, charisma.
I feel kind of bad.
Why do you feel bad? Did you put in the black
You
die?
put it in the black dot.
Of
I
course.
didn't vote. I put in
Both.
both.
Thanks for
Thank
that.
you.
Appreciate that. I think you're charismatic. Yeah, keep it.
I voted you up one on mental. I gotta count for something. I love you.
It's your turn. Your
It
turnabout
is.
fair
Here
play.
we go. All right. For physical, I have dexterity 2, vitality 1. I play piano. I'm good with knife.
You need to charm the zombies with
Do
music.
yoga.
Joe Wiggins says 5 for logic and 1 for willpower. That's where you see $5 footlongs at Subway, and the logic says, "You can't pass up that good deal." And the 1 willpower then kicks in and says, "Buy 100 sandwiches."
Go. I'm glad you all feel so
Wow.
confidently.
Nice.
Let's be real. I'm more dexterity. Well,
What's your vitality?
I guess I'll put my vitality up.
You're a
Sure.
person. You're not in bed.
No, I'm not.
You're not bedridden. You're
No, I think that would be a 0, but okay.
You can do
So,
yoga. You can do it too.
I am a 2 and a 2. I will circle. All right. For mental, logic of 4, willpower of 2. Logic, I have a degree in statistics, a master's degree in statistics. That's gonna count for something. And
Yeah.
willpower, I really like cookies, so
You haven't eaten one in a month.
yes, but it's taken.
Which really means that it's taken hold. The fever has taken hold of her. She needs it.
I really should put that really likes cookies as my negative.
Yeah, that always bites you in the butt.
Well,
When the
okay.
zombies come.
When the zombies come, there's no cookies. Things can get dicey.
All right. Whoa! I get to add another one. Wow, fancy. Okay. I don't have that much willpower. but I'm not a 5 in logic, so I will go 3.
I'm a 5 in logic. All you do is write computer programs all day.
Are you? Software developer?
No, I'm a statistician, but I
What do you mean?
code statistical programs.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I pretty much live in SAS and SQL.
I'm not good at logic.
That
though.
was my class for
All
sure.
right, fine. I will keep my 2 in
collect
willpower,
stars.
and I'll go up to a 5, and then it's
Yeah.
gonna come and bite me in the ass when you guys make fun of me.
That sounds painful.
It's not so bad.
I remember taking a statistics
Uh,
class with computers. I was like, for it's like 2 credit hours. I was like, I spent more time on that than anything in my other classes. It was like crazy.
It's not so bad. All right, social. I have charisma of 3 and empathy of 4. I don't need to explain that. I think he can just confirm that I feel for everyone all the time. So,
Hates it when I insult people when we're driving.
yeah, that.
In South Florida?
Yeah, I know. Crazy, right?
Doesn't sound right.
Bad drivers in South Florida never encountered them.
Never.
There's a great Onion headline today that said, "How to turn your road rage into constructive road revenge."
And I'm even. All right. Sweet. So I guess we move these back, huh?
I guess we're done now.
All right.
Yep,
Okay.
game over. We
Alright.
win.
Woohoo.
Victory, I know.
Thank you.
I know me. I do have, we have Coke Zero
Okay.
in the fridge. You
I
guys-
think for the sake of expediency, we will kind of sail through the features thing, because we'd have to do all that all over again for features, which could take quite a bit of time. So what I'm going to say is everyone just say your features out loud. If everyone thinks they're okay, we'll just kind of go ahead with that. Everyone seems to be really being very nice to each other, or at least neutral to each other, so I don't think it's going to be a problem.
So just one of each, right?
Right. There should be one positive and one negative for each one of those.
Can you have
Now-
more than one?
Hmm?
Can you have more than one?
You can't. Yeah, in fact, that's what happened during voting. It would be the exact same thing. So you would vote on the stats the same way with the dice, and then if more of them were positive, you'd add another positive feature. If more of them were negative, you'd add another negative feature.
That would be weird.
Yeah.
Alright. I'll go first again. So for physical, my positive is I have good hand-eye coordination. Play lots of video games. For negative, I have a weak stomach and I'm delicate, as per my wife. Mental, positive, I'm book smart and good at problem solving. Negative, easily convinced and not wise, as I mentioned earlier. Social, positive, always smiling. Negative, cries in movies. Honest, not very convincing.
Okay.
Sounds alright?
Alright. So I messed mine up. I did it like by each stat, by group there. So put like good reflexes and snore loudly.
Get out.
Yeah, I mean, if it's on the apocalypse, that's gonna kill us all.
Go ahead and say you guys just let them have that.
You know.
That's
but,
pretty bad.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And I'm currently sick, but I didn't know you mentioned something about that. But I have a cold, you know. Or something, but,
Feel bad for your wife.
That's
Yeah.
relevant.
yeah. All right.
I
And
would
then-
say,
We have tissues.
Yeah, then that works. I have Dayquil. As far as the other one, I put I'm good at understanding systems, but I'm bad at lying.
Bad at lying?
Yeah.
I think it's a social.
Oh, you're right.
You
Then
guys are not being efficient enough. for
you're
us
right.
to survive.
Right.
Scott, go ahead and give yourself a severity 1 physical trauma, sickness. You have a cold.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Severity 1.
All right.
What does that go up to?
Severity 3.
Okay.
Here's some examples of physical traumas.
Pneumonia.
Severity 1 would be twisted ankle, sickness, infected wound, blurry vision.
Right.
Severity 2 would be broken ankle, 2nd degree burn, partial blindness, fever. Severity 3 would be broken leg, gangrenous wound, severe flu, blindness.
So now you know you're a true
I'm
gamer.
not sure the
If you're-
blindness
If
is
you got level
comparable
3
to
and you're
severe
playing,
flu,
you're a true
Yeah.
gamer, right?
I'd much rather, I have the flu, or, I can't see anymore.
But I feel great.
I'm perfectly healthy, except my eyes don't work.
So then, as a bad trait, I sometimes get a little hyper focused, and I don't want to do something else, which annoys my life to no end. I'd rather just
Can't
finish.
multitask.
Well, I can multitask, but I'm okay multitasking. It's the fact if I'm on a task, I want to get that done. Don't just drop it. I don't mind doing that on something else, but it's just that.
I think that would actually help us in the zombie apocalypse. I can't finish building this barricade until it's done.
You know?
gosh,
But
that
if
is
I
exactly like my boss. You would either get along well with my boss or
Right.
not at all.
Yeah.
Because you're both the same way in that regard.
So, yeah,
What are you trying to say?
it can be annoying. Okay, and then for the social, I will take, I think, good at reading people, but I'm not one to get, like, emotions. I don't like emotions to get in the way and sully things up.
Vulcan.
Yeah, that's a good way of saying it. More Vulcan-like.
Why does
Good
God
way.
need a starship?
Hence the 2 in empathy.
Yes. Well, it's 3. But
Uh-oh.
yeah,
Where's my dice?
I'm good at reading people. All right.
So for physical, I had good at running distance. I've completed a few marathons, so
Yep, that counts.
little distance.
Yeah.
Weak stomach. I'm not going to be eating any raw liver or anything like that, so that's out. I do have a degree in mechanical engineering, so I'm good with mechanical aspects. A little bit on the lazy side, so hopefully you guys will get things done. I am a good leader, hence I'll make you guys get things done.
Supervisor.
Yes. A good manager, and I won't lie to your face, but maybe behind your back, but I'm not a good liar.
Nice.
Okay, physically I had plus, it's a strong back, and a negative I thought was funny. Minor sciatica pain, so I can lift things that'll hurt. Mental, I am a quick thinker, but I am also stubborn. She will agree with that. Social, I pay attention, and I listen. I look. I'm sometimes can be blunt and or awkward.
Ooh, awkward. That's a good one.
Hopefully it doesn't matter too much in these omnipods.
Well, you just won't do any of the young. For mine, for physical, I am good with a knife, and I used to work as a chef. And I have shaky hands. I know that doesn't sound like a good combination, but it's true. For mental, I'm crafty and good at problem solving. I guess crafty is kind of using whatever we have on hand to do things. Negative is I'm often a little too detail oriented or have trouble switching between details and big picture. For social, I'm trustworthy. Nice move. And for negative, I am sometimes a little spacey or flaky, have a hard time paying attention.
This is like a job interview.
I know, right?
I would never say I have a
It's not
hard time
looking
paying
good for
attention
any
at
It's
a
like your,
job
like your
interview.
yearly review. So what's your positive and negative
Yeah.
points today?
So where do I
your,
put this?
your 5 strengths and
sick?
your
It's under
5
here?
weaknesses.
Nick, do I put the sick here? Like,
Yeah, I don't know the characters. Well, actually, let me just look at my own
Here.
back
I
here.
think
because there's stress,
So
and
yeah,
there's trauma.
Do you want
Oh.
this?
No, that's okay. I got this one back here.
Oh,
I
okay.
can just use one of them both. So yeah, you'll put it under. That's interesting. What the letters mean? Not sure what they mean.
1 day, 1 week, 1 month.
Oh yeah.
I
Okay.
guess.
That's a 1 week thing.
But you
right?
said it was like
well,
rating
it's not
1.
a day, but
Right.
Rating 1?
severity 1.
Severity one.
Which is going to be if negative dice have to be added. I'm
Okay.
pretty sure that just means I have to. That's
So
how
I
many
put it under
negative dice.
traumas. With
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Got it. All right.
You can even put 1 day. Some colds last a day.
Yeah,
I was just
right.
I had a cold on Saturday that was literally I woke up in the morning and then the next day I was basically fine. So yeah.
Not me.
Okay.
All right. So that is actually the end of character. Well, you guys have your equipment written down, right?
Yep.
For the
Yeah.
most part.
I should probably put what's in my purse. I'm gonna have a lot of stuff. I have
Yeah.
a lot
Anything
of stuff in my
relevant. You don't
purse.
have to write like
Okay.
Q-tips, but cell phone, mace if you've got that. Although, well, remember you might have to fight other people.
I put
So-
down cash.
Could be relevant.
I put
Oh,
cash.
cash.
down,
Cash
yeah.
is kind of important.
Yes.
I'll pay you guys to go run over there.
Do zombies take credit?
I did put down credit cards.
I'm sure there's some funny Arnold Schwarzenegger line I should say right now.
I'm
No,
just-
they
I would
take
think
a
that
check.
Credit cards just aren't relevant, right?
Yeah, plastic is immediate. Well, cash is for a smart person. Cash is also
Well,
irrelevant.
Maybe I
but
should say
but-
ATM.
Exactly.
ATM card. If cash is relevant, and ATM's got to be
Yeah,
relevant.
should have one of
That's a
those
good
credit
point.
cards that
Yeah.
has
No.
knife on it or something.
It's just like all the conservatives have said. It's only gold now. Gold is the only thing that matters.
That was bottle caps.
That's right. That too. Nuka-Cola caps.
Well,
It's useful to have.
Someone came onto the channel and said, "Hello, I just joined. What is they doing?" And Joe said their taxes.
Very
Alright.
exciting.
We are done with character creation, and now we're going to begin. So, as our story unfolds, you guys and gal are doing what you're doing right now. You're playing a fantasy RPG, and going through. You just finished character creation. You're getting ready to sit down and play. You guys are feeling okay. Just got off of work, feeling maybe a little bit stressed out. One of you has a cold. The others are trying to avoid him and his cold. Everything seems okay. You know there were some crazy news reports, and it's kind of stressful. You heard some people on Fox News yelling about how there's like a bath salts thing going on again.
Sounds like
Some guy down in Miami like bit another guy, and it just sounds crazy. But now it's like all over the news, and you guys
Well,
are
because
making.
it's on Fox News, we ignore it. Or,
I would.
Yeah.
Well, you joke about it.
Well, I would want
It's
to
already
check something
happened
else,
once.
other sources.
That's right.
CNN. I'll check with my work at the tabloids there.
There you go.
Here you
Fire
go.
will tell you.
Yeah.
So you want to do that? Do you want
Yeah,
to
I'll call the editor over there.
So you guys have like your cell phones with you, and I assume they have some sort of charge on them for the most part.
You still have Playboy on your roster?
No, we got rid of it as of January 1st.
Just happened then.
Just happened.
Wow, what happened?
It just wasn't financially making sense. I mean,
For you or for them?
well, for us more than them. Yeah.
Yikes.
Sad times.
Yeah, I know, man.
Way to bring the group down, Scott.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, so I mean, you go through some headlines. I don't know, what's your news site of choice?
Playboy.
CNN.
Or just do Google and see what
Yeah,
comes up on the
Google,
top
Reddit.
that's
do that,
not
yeah.
Fox News.
Yeah.
Zombie
That's
attack.
They have good articles.
New York
Reddit.
Times.
There you go.
Reddit.
You
Yeah, hit Reddit.
yeah.
What's on? What's
Well,
what's trending?
so you notice that Reddit is going insane.
Uh-oh.
Which is what Reddit has a tendency to do when there's like one thing and they fixate on it. But there's a few kind of little tidbits that have been floating around in the news today. You know that, like I said, there's been some incidents where people are like, the media is throwing around the words cannibal. And people are like, oh, it's probably another, like, kids are trying bath salts, or there's like some crazy homeless person that's just like mentally
Or it's
disturbed.
just
This has
Miami.
actually happened before, so it's
Yeah, it's Miami.
Yeah, it's
It's
fine.
whatever. Exactly. It's Miami. That's what the response usually is. And you know that there's a lot of people who are kind of freaking out. It's actually reminding you a lot of when Ebola broke out a couple months ago. People are like getting supplies, and you know that there's a lot of footage on the news of people going to pharmacies and getting a lot of medical supplies, and there's a lot of people just saying, calm down, it's fine. Shepard Smith is saying, you're all panicking over nothing. Alright, so, but there's some weirdness going on, and, but, to you guys it doesn't really matter, you're here to play a game, so. What game do you think you guys are playing?
D&D?
Sure.
There you go.
Trying out 5e.
I thought we were playing what, Space Truck?
Monster Truck. Yeah.
Monster Truck?
No,
Galaxy Truck?
that's not real.
Well, it has to be a public domain version, so yeah, Space Trucker.
Space
Trucker.
the game. Alright, so, you... Let's see. Alright, so there is a tapping on the door. Not the door, but the window next to the door. That, like, if you guys can picture it, see it from there.
I go look out the window.
Okay, it looks like your next door neighbor. Just sort of tapping on the glass.
She look okay?
Well, she's kind of looking down at the ground, and she's not looking at you. She looks fine.
Let her in, right?
Yeah. I cracked the door after what's wrong.
She stops tapping on the glass, and then she looks up at you. And you notice that does your neighbor have long hair?
Yes.
Yeah, longish.
Look at all. I like it.
So you
Short
notice
hair.
that her hair was previously, now that it's kind of moved out of her face, moved along, you see that like there's this really bad sort of wound on her neck. And she's just sort of standing there.
I ask if everything's okay. At the
So you
door.
went over to the door with Robbie?
No, I shout.
Oh.
Come on, let's be real.
Are you shouting at her or at Robbie?
I well, not shout, but call to Robbie and ask if things are okay.
Okay.
I don't know.
Although I feel like I should just shout. Actually,
I don't know.
guess.
I wouldn't ever open the door wide because I don't want the cats to get out. But I would maybe I'd move out and close the door behind me.
Okay. So
I'm trying to RP.
Sure.
here.
Right.
So I want you to. So this is going to be our first test of the game. What I'd like you to do, you need to do a mental logic test for me
Okay.
because something's going on here. You're not really sure what's going on. And this is all happening within a few seconds. So I'd like you to take a positive die.
Okay.
And you're really not, you don't know much about medicine,
wounds.
physics, wounds, anything like that. You see it, obviously, that's no problem, but you don't really know what's going on there, and you don't know why she's kind of behaving like this.
So I don't think we would see it, but how bad is it? Just out of curiosity.
Sure, it's pretty bad. It looks like to you it looks like an animal wound. That's like the basis of your knowledge
Right.
of.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks like a gash, like a big chunk has been taken out of her neck.
Okay.
So
Good. So I'm just rolling one. What am I? I'm rolling.
you're
One
rolling
die?
a positive and a negative die.
Okay. I'm trying to.
Figure out why she's just sort of standing there and nothing is happening.
Well, I'm trying to roll a 3.
Well,
I
is
have,
it
I have a logic 3.
logic?
Well, you don't. So remember, you always just start off with a positive and then add or subtract positives and negatives.
Okay.
What your logic number represents the number you're trying to equal to or get less than.
Okay.
All right. So that's why a higher number is better for your stats.
So +1.
Well, no.
Well, what are the numbers on the
6
die?
of 5.
So you're not throwing out any dice, and your positive number was a 6.
Right.
Which means if you had a 6 logic, you would figure it out.
So basically nobody would figure it out.
Yeah, you.
Which, to be fair, if I saw someone with a neck wound, I'd freak out and try to help them.
Yeah.
So here's what you see. Well, you know what you see, and it's like, wow, this is crazy. It's it's kind of freaking you out. So for now, write a little mark down underneath. And you have a little block underneath features,
Mm-hmm.
and
For stress?
Yeah, just put a little mark there for stress underneath one. I have to look that up in a second, but I just don't want to derail things. But just put that there for now. So you had what that represents in game mechanics terms is that you have a negative die left over that's affecting your mental stress. It affects whatever category you were making a check in. So this is freaking you out, and you're like, you don't understand what's going on, and she lunges for you.
Dope.
I put up my arm, a defense, I guess, reactionary.
So
Someone's
she's
coming at me, I defend myself.
This is all happening within a second. Like, her mouth is open. It's obviously that she's trying to, like, lash out at you. She's making, like, guttural noises.
Go under the chin, in the neck, I guess.
Okay.
Keep her head away from me.
Alright, so we're kind of turn structure in this game is very loose, but effectively, since time is of the essence at this point, we're just jumping right into this. We're gonna go in turns. Now, you guys, guys and girls, as a group, are going first. Initiative is very loose in this game.
Okay.
You can choose whatever order you want to go in. Although obviously, I'm starting with Robbie.
Well, I answer the door.
And then once each of you has a chance to react, then we'll have the neighbor, let's call her,
Okay.
react. And so how turns are going to work, you have a major action and a minor action, very simply. A major action is something like attacking, moving a sizable distance. A minor action would just be like ducking behind something, grabbing something really quick. So you have a major and a minor, you can do them in any order that you want. Okay?
Okay.
All
How
right.
about talking or communicating? Is that free or is that an action? Or
So just saying something is just free. Without even looking at the book, I'll say that's free. If it's an action that's going to require a test, like you're taking the time to negotiate with someone, that's going to be... it's at least a minor action, possibly a major action, depending on the amount of time you're taking to do it and what you say. So... but like, let's say, well, I'll let you guys do what you want to do, and we'll cover it from there. So you're
Okay.
trying to get her off of you.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
trying
so-
to push her away.
yeah, but it's
Okay, so-
like a brawl.
What we'll actually do first, this is actually going to be a combat.
Okay.
All right, so we'll give you guys a taste of how all these systems work right off the bat.
I'm the guinea pig.
Here you go. Exactly.
Hopefully you
That's a
don't
very
get bit,
positive
so you
way
guys
to
have
look
put
at
me
it.
down later on.
And our first zombie.
Since I'm here on the page, actually, let's figure this out first. Sustaining stress.
Which way is this
Uh,
way?
That's cool.
Anyone else having volume problems? I don't know.
Are you looking at the comments on
Yeah,
the
but I can't tell what time they were posted. Am I going up or down? I'm trying to figure that out. No, because it
Can we
doesn't.
adjust the microphone if anybody's having issues?
Well, it's right in the middle of us. It's on its
Yeah.
loudest setting.
Someone's
It's-
having. They're
On
saying
its
they're having
loudest
issues.
setting.
Yeah, but I don't know what time they did that because I don't have the time on here. Someone said that, and
Oh, you know, did someone say something about? Was it Joe Wiggins saying
Yes.
something about the sounds?
Yeah.
His volume was turned off.
oh, okay.
That would be a
Okay.
problem.
Hold
That
on.
would be
But
fine.
since you mentioned that, I haven't checked my comments in a while, so let's make sure everything's
Wait a
okay.
minute, I'm gonna hit the restroom real quick. That's cool.
Yeah.
The
I'll let you know-
is the
I'll let
most
you know
recent
when
one
the
on
zombie
top?
will come back.
I guess
Okay,
so.
great.
I think
Just
everything's
YouTube?
okay.
What?
YouTube?
Yeah.
All right. By the way, quick plug. Robbie has 2 podcasts. He has the Simpsons Show and the Handsome Boys Comics Hour.
Right. Please check them
Google.
out. Yeah.
Google is your friends.
Yeah.
Okay. Combat.
Podcast, listen.
Conflict. It's dexterity.
Okay.
And let's get to the neighbor.
She's a middle-aged lady, if that makes anything difference.
You know, it strangely doesn't matter anymore.
Good. Unnatural strength.
Well, we're about to find out what kind of zombies they are.
Yeah, I was
Traditionally
gonna.
slow.
If they're slow,
Slow,
or are they the runners?
It's a very interesting
Parkour
question.
zombies. You gotta watch out for those too.
Okay. I have a limitation as to what I can say about what all these things mean.
Okay.
But I'll say this within game terms of what you can understand. So, they seem to have. She seems to have an unusual amount of strength. Like you've
Right.
you've held back women before.
Oh, all the time.
And this is way out of those people's leagues.
Like a defensive lineman.
Yeah. Yes.
I've done that. That's frame of reference. I understand.
It's also a situation where you're like completely taken aback.
Well, I'm not.
It's-
I'm not
it's-
expecting it.
It's completely freaking you out, and but there doesn't seem to be any logic behind her actions. She's simply lashing out. You don't see any kind of. It seems like a feral attack. Like you're really getting the sense of her being like an animal here. So
Okay.
that's her dice pool. Okay.
Okay.
2 positives and a negative dice. So you.
What do I roll? Like
This is
anything?
going to be a contested roll.
Okay. That's. We'll see what that means. If I get bitten, I'll go off into the wasteland,
No, not yet.
armed with one weapon. Rid the world of as many zombies as I can.
We gotta use you up as much as possible before
Before
we
I start
put the brain.
Before I start turning.
Yeah.
I guess that makes
You're
sense.
full thought, yeah.
Sorry.
You go first.
That's interesting.
I guess I can attack them with impunity if you get bitten until you turn. Because
Yeah.
what are they gonna do? Bite you again? Make you more zombie?
Might accelerate it.
Yeah,
I don't-
that's what I was thinking.
I don't think it would work like that. It's just a,
It doesn't
I mean,
work
if
that,
we're
like-
going by if it's a virus.
Well, I
thing.
haven't heard what the CDC said about it yet.
Yeah, I know. We haven't really. We don't know if it's a virus or if it's.
I think after this, if we survive this, we better take a little bit better chance. So looking at those newscasts for sure.
Let's start reading the environment.
Yeah.
I'll start.
I mean,
I'll
our options
continue
were
for
Fox
that.
and Reddit. Those are not really like.
Yeah, it's not high on my list. Of,
Yeah.
sites.
Come
Hey,
on.
I use Google. I don't really
Reddit
know
is
about
verified.
New York
That's
Times,
everything
LA
on Reddit
Times,
is
BBC,
100%, especially
you
all
know.
those memes.
Daily Beast. You know.
It's interesting. So it's not so much an opposed check. When
Okay.
someone succeeds on an attack against you, you take points of physical stress. If
Okay.
you get to a certain threshold of stress, which I'll get back to in a second, you may incur a wound.
Okay.
So right now we're seeing if she's essentially succeeding in her attack against you. But
Am I rolling anything?
no,
Okay.
you're not. Okay,
Oh yeah. She, totally.
so but that's not necessarily a hit.
Do I want low numbers or high numbers? You think?
The way they want to get low, just I think it's the same system. Right?
Well, I mean, but why? If I don't know.
Yeah, if that's the case, then she did it really well.
yeah, it looks like she did.
But
real
then, if it's good, you would it make it easier for them to hit you? You want it harder for them to hit you if you're good, have good deaths.
Oh no,
or
this is
whatever.
bad for you.
I know that's what I mean. That's what I mean. Like
All
it
right.
doesn't necessarily make sense. Like
I
the
think
same
we
way
all
for
agree with
us.
that.
Depends on your viewpoint, I guess.
I'm dead.
Uh-oh. The book has gone up. He's dead. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
So, you do manage to sort
I
of
hardly
keep her
knew you-
at bay. And by jamming your arm up underneath her chin,
Okay.
you keep her from biting you.
Okay.
But if you picture this, her arms are like grabbing onto your arm, trying to pull it away to get at you, and she scratches into your arm,
Okay.
leaving like pretty serious gouges, not like stitches gouges, but like
Blood.
bad enough that it
Okay.
breaks the skin. And you are aware now of the severity of the situation. So
Okay.
what would you like to do? We are in turn order.
Try and force her back over the edge of the railing. Push her over the edge.
Okay. Well, so I'm picturing your staircase.
Scream like a little girl.
We're down the stairs. That works too. That's further
Free
away.
action to scream.
If I can successfully maneuver her in one action over to the stairs and get her just so that she falls backwards, that is fine as well. Just want her down, away.
Sorry, ladies, he's not single. So go ahead and make a test. It's going to be dexterity.
Okay.
So you're going to need. You can start off with a positive. What are
Okay.
your features again?
I have
For physical.
strong back and minor sciatica pain, but the pain I think is it's a.
Nobody called that out. Seriously.
Well, I do have that. It's
That's fine.
serious.
No, I know. But
They're
okay.
not. I mean, it hurts to like after a long period of
Or after
physical. If I sleep wrong, physical and things. I have pain that I have to deal with.
Sure. Okay, so you start off with a positive die.
Okay.
Now she's obviously not, even though something's going on there, she doesn't look like she's all there mentally. She's not just going to allow you to do this. She's resisting against you.
Right.
So that's going to add a negative die to the pool. But the stairs are right there, so to your mind, it might be easier for you to do this. That's why you're aiming for the stairs. So you get to add a positive die to the roll as well.
Okay.
So it's 2 positives and a negative.
Okay.
Ooh.
2, a 3, a 6.
Okay.
And that-
So.
In that orientation.
Right, so you succeed.
Yay!
You do take a physical stress.
Okay. Like one little chick down here in the one.
Yep.
Okay.
And so you manage to shove her up to the point of the stairs, and she falls down them. It looks pretty bad, too. You think it doesn't really require a check. It's pretty obvious to you that if she wasn't ill, as you're guessing that she is, she would have maybe attempted to brace her fall. Something would have happened. She just goes down like this sack of potatoes falling down the stairs.
Okay.
Dude, you probably just killed her.
So,
She did attack me.
all right. But that's essentially
That's my major action.
that's your major action. So let me just read a couple examples of what constitutes a minor action, so you guys are aware.
Okay.
Just give you some better examples here. Eventually. Here we go. Examples of a minor action would be ducking into cover, pulling out a piece of gear, opening or closing a door, dropping prone or standing up, or speaking to other characters. So they do classify it as a minor instead of a free.
Okay.
But I'm gonna say if you're just saying a few words, it's still a free.
Screaming is still free.
Yes, absolutely. But actually, like trying
Save that
to get
for
someone's
later.
attention or say something significant to them will be a minor action.
Okay. So could I manage just come?
Remember that you. Oh, okay.
No,
go ahead.
no. You want to say? Okay. I would say.
I'm going to say remember that you closed the door behind
That's
you.
what I'm saying. I was like,
Okay.
can I come back inside as a minor action, basically,
You can.
and close the door behind me?
You
Like,
can open
and
the
close
door.
Open, come inside, close.
No, you can open the door.
Well, she's on the bottom of the stairs. I open the door. Can I open the door and like get their attention? I assume they're looking at me because they don't know what's going on. But
Well, I can't actually see the door, but if you went out and come back in, I'd say, what happened?
okay. Well, I open the door and come back in.
Okay, you open the door and you'll see you get like a step into the domicile.
Okay.
So,
Holding my arm. Blood visible, I guess.
Kim, I'm going to let you go ahead and go next.
I'm wondering what the hell happened because that was a racket.
So remember that as of right now, you are what you are right now. You're
I'm
sitting
sitting.
right there. Yeah.
I jump up and run over the door and look out the window to see what's going on.
Well, the door's open.
Oh,
Okay.
the door's open. Okay. So I run over to make sure he's okay.
Okay. So it's immediately obvious that Robbie has been hurt. There's big scratches down his arms, 4 scratches to be precise. And you've been scratched by your cats many times, so it looks like that, but bigger. And so there's that. Now, what I would like you to do is go ahead and give me a check, a mental logic check.
Okay. So, just rolling 1-on-1.
What are your features again for mental and logic?
I'm crafty and good at problem solving, but often have a hard time separating details from big picture.
Okay, so you're starting off with a positive die. Let's see, you're at the doorway. You are purposefully looking. I'm going to go ahead and say that you have 2 positives and 2 negatives. You obviously you're making an attempt to look outside, but at the same time you're severely distracted by you're kind of focusing on Robbie and his wounds, not so much concerned with what's going on outside. So go ahead. All right, so we have our first cancellation. So these 2 cancel each other out, the same number, and you have a 1 and a 5, which means what is your stat for mental well?
I have a 4 in logic.
Right, so no
Oh,
matter
5 in
what,
logic, sorry.
a 1 is going to be a success. So you succeed on the test, but you take a mental strain.
Okay.
And don't worry, there are ways to get rid of strain. I'll just cover it once we get through this scene. So
Do the negatives have to be below as well? No, I guess not.
no, the negatives are strictly for cancellation. So
Okay.
they're just to foil the white dice essentially and remove possible successes from you. So in that regard,
Well, and they also give you a negative if you don't cancel them.
right, exactly. So there's always something that's going to happen to you, regardless of whether they cancel or not. But removing stress isn't so bad, especially for mental stress. Give you something as like relaxing, taking a break, taking a breather. They give examples of gear, like you can have a work of fiction be one of your pieces of gear, and if you take the time to read it, you would relieve some mental stress. Things like that.
Well, we got plenty of that.
Physical stress might be a little bit harder to remove, depending on the severity of it.
First aid.
So, if you take too much physical stress, it's going to start to get severe. Taking too much physical or mental stress could kill you. Taking too much physical stress could just outright kill you. Taking too much mental stress could put you into a catatonic state that effectively makes you an NPC. So, if anyone's played Call of Cthulhu or something similar, think like that. Okay, so you see Robbie's wound, and it's really, you're like, kind of start to freak out a little bit. But then you see at the bottom of the stairs, you see your neighbor. You recognize her, and you saw her kind of through the door as Robbie was looking outside and closing the door behind him. And you see that she's at the bottom, and she's moving. She's starting to get up.
So I have a major and minor, or I have a minor left?
Well,
Because I ran over the door.
right. I'm going to say that that's going to constitute your turn, because you ran over to the door, you looked outside, you looked at Robbie, you looked down the stairs, and that's a significant enough distance with what's going on. We'll say that constitutes your action.
Okay.
But you could say, we'll say that's your major action, so you have a minor action. So
I would probably close the door because I would be afraid the cats would get out. I can always ask Robbie what's
there
going
you go.
on.
So you almost do it automatically at this point.
Yeah. When the door opens, the door closes almost immediately
There you
behind
go.
in our
Sweep
household.
the legs.
Fair enough.
Sweep the legs.
So right before you close the door, you see that the neighbor is moving. She's getting up.
Okay.
All right. So who would like to go next?
Well, I said, what's going on? And honestly, since I wouldn't be able to see any blood or anything, I don't know that I would get up.
Okay. All right. Either
No,
you don't have to take an action.
Well, there's 2 people already taking care of something, so I'm good.
Okay.
Wait, so do I see Robbie, or
Well,
what do we
If I'm right at the door,
Can you see the door from where you
from
are? I guess is the
No.
I
question.
can't see the
No.
door, so I wouldn't
Oh, you
see.
saw-
I
you
wouldn't
saw
even-
me
But
go
do I
over
see
the-
you?
I saw
No.
you go over there.
Not
I saw
yet.
you go over
Okay.
there.
Yeah, that's the thing. We don't even see
We
it.
don't
Right.
see you
Exactly.
yet.
Okay.
So we're
So
going like.
at this
going
point,
on, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I will get up and probably
Sure.
I'll probably stand over there just get just see that.
She did
but-
rush over.
Yeah.
so without making any kind of check, you can easily see that something's happening. Robbie's sort of cradling his arm. Kim is looking at it. We'll go ahead and say that we're out of this sequence. because the door is shut. You're not in any immediate danger. So you guys can do whatever you want to do.
So what's going on?
Yeah.
My neighbor, she's not dead, but she did attack me, and I'm bleeding. She tried to bite me.
What do you mean she's not dead?
Huh?
Well,
What did you do?
she's at the bottom. She's at the bottom. She's at the bottom of the stairs.
Did you lock the door?
I locked the door. How about that?
Okay.
I deadbolt it.
I'll call 911.
Yeah,
That
I would
yeah.
say that's a good idea for both of us. She
Yeah.
tried to
I'm
attack
gonna
me.
look for
I
a piece of
defended
mail.
myself.
Gotta make sure I got the
Bleeding.
address.
I am
There
bleeding.
you go.
You
Okay.
know, that's what I'm doing.
Good call.
So
Hopefully wash
how
them
did
out.
she end
Run
up
my-
at
I know
the
it's
bottom of the
H2O4,
stairs?
so that's all I know.
I run my arm
Okay.
under cold water. Okay, I'll explain as I'm rinsing out my wound. She was at the glass at the window, so I checked. I poked my head out to see what was going on. Couldn't tell what was happening. When I went outside, she attacked me, and she was wounded before, but then she came after me with,
What do you mean she was wounded?
meaning she had a big gash, a big bite. I guess a bite. It's hard to say. It was a very big wound on her neck / like
Maybe
cheek.
one of her dogs got her?
I don't
Rabies?
know.
You think it was rabies? Dude, if you have
I don't-
rabies, you're gonna have to go to the
Well, she
hospital.
didn't bite me. She just used her fingernails.
I think that's okay.
It is.
I don't know.
I
don't know anything about rabies.
I grew up in the woods. Yes, that you can't spread rabies through. It has to be saliva, saliva or
Saliva.
blood. Yeah.
Okay, so this conversation is going on. You said you called
Yeah, I called
911.
911, yeah.
You get a busy signal.
Okay.
Uh,
911's busy.
okay.
That's not good.
No, it's not
No,
good.
it's not
Can we call anyone else? Anyone else we can?
Yeah, you think
911.
back in that,
Yeah.
it's never happened before. I mean, you could probably count on one hand the amount of times in your life, maybe, that you've had to call 911, and that's never
Right.
happened before. So
The real number is 912.
Well,
that's if there's a real emergency, but most people don't know that.
No, what's the number from the IT crowd?
Oh yeah.
the next time I would call
So-
another number, I would call my wife. I mean, if
Well,
I can, but
No, drive him to the
I'm sure it's gonna be busy
drive him
too.
to the hospital.
I guess
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to the window and look out.
Well, I don't. She's.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, actually,
be
that's kind of
careful.
important.
Yeah, I mean, because
Dude,
no one's
you
looking
threw
up.
a lady down
Yeah.
the stairs.
She attacked me. All right.
She's pretty level-headed. Like
Look,
she's
I
really
know the
nice,
number of an
so-
attorney. You're gonna have to call this.
Okay. I'm just saying we can go check on her, but she was not acting
Well, I
rational.
didn't think I was
People
going.
die.
I want to look
People
out the
die from
window.
that.
Watch
She's normally
that
a
wound
pretty
out.
level-headed, rational,
She,
nice,
I
friendly
felt
person,
I was
so
under the
that's
threat
weird.
of death when
Robbie,
she
you
gave her.
should go watch that out.
I did. I was rinsing as I was explaining.
So you looked out the window.
I look out the window.
You are taken a little aback as you see that right outside there's the woman, presumably. I mean, you didn't see her before,
Right.
but there's a very haggard-looking woman who looks like there's huge. You see a huge gash in her neck, and you see that her head is tilted like this, with a bone sticking out like this on the other side, apart from the gash. And she is
Okay.
like right on the other side of the window.
I'll take a couple steps back.
Okay,
Would that be mental stress?
Yeah.
that might
It's like,
be.
holy shit.
Yeah.
It's a little
Give yourself
different.
one mental
Yeah, I'll
stress.
take a bit.
You have cable?
No,
You don't have cable. No.
We have internet.
we have internet.
Fast internet.
There you
Yeah,
go.
we have fast internet. You can stream. Go
Uh,
CNN.com.
Google and Reddit.
A
Yeah.
few seconds
Yeah.
later, pounding on the door.
Pounding on the door again.
Pounding on the door.
I don't
Well,
think
you're
we should
there,
answer
right?
that.
Does
Well,
it seem
I'm
like
a-
she's the one knocking?
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
she was right by the door, so I'm assuming that it's her anyway.
Don't answer that.
Yeah.
Well, I
Don't-
don't know.
don't open
I
the
took
door.
I took a couple steps back. I'm going to let the door be.
Okay.
I'll tell everyone the lady is back and she doesn't look good.
Okay.
Is she
has-
okay?
No. No, she is not okay.
Dude, we should call.
Had some
Dude,
better days.
How's
We
that
should-
911
Can we
call
try
going?
that?
Let's put it
Can
that
we
way.
try that again?
We're gonna
I'll
have
try
to bring
911
him
again,
and
but
her
I
to
mean,
the
That
ER.
would probably make sense.
Okay.
I'll probably do that a couple times. But
You first?
You get through. So it starts to ring. Well, it starts to ring.
okay.
Okay.
And it rings for a little bit, actually. And the pounding is continuing on the door as this is going on. And then it's ringing for an unusual amount of time. Again, you've never heard of 911 taking this long to respond to a call. And someone picks up and it says, 911, what is your emergency?
We have a situation here. We have a woman.
Sir, is anyone in immediate danger?
Well,
Yes.
someone just fell down the stairs and got a broken neck.
Sir, I'm sorry, we can't. We're flooded with calls right now. There's
What's going on?
I don't know, sir. We're getting a lot of calls. I can't send an officer to you right now if you're not in immediate danger.
I'm in immediate danger.
My
life.
I'm gonna see what I can do. I'm gonna see what I can do. You need to. All right. Where are you?
I'm at H 204.
65 Deer Creek Road. I
Okay.
yell at him.
Okay, sir. I'm sorry. I have to go. There's other calls coming in. Just stay where you are. If there's people with you, you need to stay wherever you are. You need to lock the doors.
Okay.
She sounds completely exasperated and frazzled, and since she hangs up.
That's hang up 911 hanging up on you. That's always a good sign.
Was he on speakerphone or do we?
No, I presume you're just on.
So what's happening? Are they sending somebody?
They didn't want to at first, but
Well, it wouldn't be like
Dude,
that.
if she's hurt, let her in.
just like if you're in a car accident.
We are not letting
She
her
doesn't
in.
look like the good type of person.
Just like if you're in a car accident, remember this. Just say you have chest pains. It helps. That's basically
Usually
it.
people this hurt
All right.
don't pound on doors.
Crash. The window is broken
Well,
next to
shit.
the door. You see the blinds get pushed in. If you
Okay.
guys can see from there, there's blinds covering the window, and it's pretty evident to you that the neighbor knocking on the door is now bashed in the window and is trying to get in that way.
Okay.
I didn't think
So,
she was physically
I would
capable
stand
of
up.
that.
We're gonna go into I'll let you guys all have a minor action first.
So I'm washing out my wound, I assume. So.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm walking around
That's
here.
where I was. I was
I
over
want to
there.
retreat from closest to the door to back into this main room.
There you go. Okay.
I'm looking up how to treat his wound, probably.
Okay.
I'm
Just
grabbing-
like on your phone.
Yeah.
That's
okay.
well as the window
Wrong.
crashes. I assume
As
that's what
it
we
crashes,
are. Yeah, we are
I'm
like,
assuming that's what
and
we're doing.
then
So
Okay.
when that
And
happens,
then
I'm
you can
surprised.
just get up and
Get
sort of
up.
move into the main area. Okay.
I'm grabbing a chair. Maybe I'll use that to try him.
yeah, I was
Okay.
gonna say that my next would be trying
So-
to get a stool.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna go into turn structure,
Okay.
and the neighbor pushes herself all the way through the door and starts plodding down the small section of hallway, and that constitutes the end of her action. And now
She's here, Jerry.
What?
She's here.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
he wanted to let her in, so
Yeah,
I'm
hey.
letting him know that.
So
problem
wait,
solved.
You wanna-
now,
you wanna
now
apply
that
some
we
medical
see this,
care.
You know, the neck.
yeah, I
and
was just about to say, you clearly see everything that Eric saw.
mental
I
stress.
throw up.
Well, I think at this point, I was giving Eric a mental stress because he literally, I'm picturing he flipped open the blinds.
I was like
and
right
looked outside
there.
and was like right
Right,
there,
okay.
and it's like
Okay.
ghastly. You had not seen this yet. Everyone's had this described to them, and obviously you've just had the stress of someone bashing through the window, so that's okay for now. But now you have to react to this in some way, shape, or form. So you see your neighbor. This probably startles you the most, again, because you didn't get a good look at her before, but you've seen her many times in the past, and now you see your neighbor, and she's got a huge gash on the right side of her neck, and it doesn't even look like it's bleeding. It just looks like this kind of foul gash, and you see her neck is at an angle that looks completely wrong. Like when you see something and it just looks wrong, that's what it looks like, and you can see a bone poking out.
Ah.
Don't think necks work like that.
Exactly. So, who would like to go first?
I'll grab a cast iron pan from the stovetop.
Okay, that's minor action.
Where is she? She's back in the hallway, or is she out
No,
there?
I'm going to say that she is right past. With that, actions work a little differently for them, but that would be a major and minor would get her through that opening into where the fridge is.
Right where the fridge is.
Yeah, so that's enough for you guys to see her.
Okay. Is she? Where is she? Is she facing this way? I assume, just
Yes.
straight ahead.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
She sees you.
I swing as hard as I can at her head with the pan.
Okay. So you start off with a positive die. Now you have a weapon. Let's see. Oh, interesting. Okay.
Do you have any drinks?
You going?
Yeah, that'd be great. Thanks.
Would you mind one thing?
Sure. You have anything else? Cool.
I'll take one.
All right.
Okay, that's sort of skirting the line, but I'll go ahead and say You're using an improvised melee weapon,
Thank you.
which isn't going to add any dice or subtract them, or give you negatives, I should say.
Okay.
Dice are never subtracted; they're only added, essentially. But this is going to deal extra damage because it's much better than a fist or shoving someone,
Right.
obviously.
Okay.
So I would like you to. So you have a positive die. You're using an improvised weapon, and which doesn't necessarily add anything, but it's still you trying to hit a human being, and you're not really great at that. So
How do you know?
A
I have
lady.
high dex.
A lady, no less.
you also have a bit of an injured arm,
That's true.
and you're kind of distracted. So a positive and a negative die is what I'm going to give you for that. But you are going to deal extra damage if you hit because it's a big pan.
It's heavy.
There you
They're
go.
heavy.
A 5 and a 1.
Okay, what is your physical stat?
It's 4. Dex is 4.
4. Okay. So, you don't miss, because it's hard to miss with a pan to a target that's mostly stationary. Not
Okay.
stationary, but she's moving.
Well, she's has a broken neck. She can't be moving
Right.
that quickly.
But you aim for the head, and you ended up hitting her right in her neck. Her neck's not having a great day. And so hit her, well, we'll say hit her right in her collarbone.
Okay.
Just because it's the stress of the action. It's like too much for you, and you're not able to accurately hit.
Okay.
So take a physical stress,
Jesus.
and because you had a black die left over, and don't worry, you can take quite a few of those. And you end up hitting her like right in her coccyx, or not? What's her coccyx? The coccyx is like your butt bone.
I think so.
Sternum.
What's the proper name?
Sternum.
Sternum. There you go.
Breastplate.
I have a negative feature in logic. I don't know anything about medical or medicine. So you end up hitting her, and it knocks her back a step, but it doesn't deal any major
Lasting damage.
Well, let me put it this way: it deals damage to her, but it doesn't seem to phase her.
Okay.
And this is getting more unsettling by the moment.
Okay.
Okay.
I assume I can't say. I've already used my minor action, so I can't say anything.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you
Well,
can
it's like one or two words.
right.
probably
You can say something like, "Whoa, man."
Get her!
Okay. So who would like to go next? Again, this is all very free form. From round to round, you can essentially decide who's going.
Why don't you go? Because I think I would just copy. Like, if I see you pick up a
Yeah, I'm
chair,
picking up
I
a
would
chair.
do the same thing.
I'm just using that.
So
Just
I'll be
to try
the
and...
step
I'm
behind
gonna-
him.
Hey, because I saw like the things on the bite marks or whatever.
I'm gonna retreat to the far end of the room over there.
I would probably try and slide the couch and push her back.
That'd be good.
Oh, the table. You
I
just
don't know.
This
I don't
couch
know. I
slides
don't know. I'm not sure if
really
this is a
easily.
domestic issue of you and your neighbor, or
Yeah, she. We argue. Man, your dog barks a lot, so she
the
tries
cats
to
can
eat.
be
She
loud.
tries
I
to
don't
eat me.
know. They meow a lot.
No, we're pleasant.
Yeah,
I talk to her all
we're
the
like we don't haven't had time to give them backstory about our neighbor's history, but
That's true.
You know, I would still go back.
yeah.
I would back up to the back of the
So I
room.
want to use the chair not more it's for damaging, just more for distraction and maybe to keep like protection, more defensive than offensive.
Shield.
And hopefully,
Shield
maybe
herself, yeah.
someone else can do something more offensive, like keep hitting her with the pan, you know.
Well, that's all
You
I
know,
had.
right.
I'll cheer you on. Don't worry.
I wish my baseball bat was down.
Okay. So,
I need a guitar.
And I'll be doing it, but
No, I'm
purely
gonna go with
defensive.
the guitar.
okay.
One of the reasons I was backing up into the room.
Yeah.
So,
They're typically solid. I haven't played.
Dead Rising. You can use guitar as a weapon. and it works.
so yeah, go ahead and give me it's still going to be a dexterity check.
Right.
I understand you're not trying to like deal physical damage to her,
Right.
but trying to keep her at bay.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be you have a positive die. It's an improvised weapon, which isn't really going to add anything to it, but still it's actually more work to just try to keep her at bay rather than just dealing straight up damage to her. So that would be a negative die.
Okay. So just
Yep.
one each.
There you
like
go.
a lion tamer.
Yeah. 2 and 3. So my dex is 3.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, you're really able to like picture like the bottom of a chair. I picture
Right.
you're holding it by the top.
Trying to do that,
So you're,
trying to
you effectively
lock
like
her down.
yeah, like you kind of what's the word? Like you ensnare her with it in a way, the 4 legs of the chair,
Right.
and just sort of push her down.
Yep.
So you're able to actually get her down to the. She stumbles down onto her coccyx, and call back, and so you succeeded in what you were trying to do essentially.
Okay.
All right. So who wants to go next? So picture Scott is like.
She's
got
on
her
the she's
pushed
on the
down
ground
chair.
now.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
Oh, I guess that was what you put her
Well,
Yeah, I'm just kind of waiting for him to do another swing. Because you'd probably be in the way now.
Yeah, let's say it's
So,
not like a lot
I'm
of room
just-
there. You can't really.
I'll be in the middle with a chair in front of me protectively.
I don't think
waiting
I don't
for-
think we can flank her quite yet.
Robbie to
Well, there's no
smack her
room
again.
really.
Where is
If
she
Scott's right,
at this
she's
point?
like right
Right
there
there.
on the ground.
so
There's a
like
chair.
Robbie's in the kitchen.
I just taken a swing with a frying
yeah.
pan.
So I'll say, hit her again.
Scott's basically like on top
Yeah.
of her.
No more, nice lady.
Yeah.
I'm
she's-
convinced.
Yeah, she's broken.
There's
She
not
broke
much
that
space.
window.
Well, I can't touch the couch
When,
because he's got the
when
chair
available,
on
I'm
her,
going to pick
so-
up the guitar in the back corner.
Yeah. Well, there's
Nice.
there's an actual guitar.
Now we're
there.
getting started.
Oh, that one I didn't see. I just see the one in
The
the
plastic guitar, not
I'm not
quite-
actually
but that
filching
was
the
Go
room
for
at
it.
this
Right.
point. I'm going for the obvious one.
Yeah, I
right now,
understand.
alright?
I understand.
Go for real guitar over guitar here.
Minor action. I'll go. Hey, real guitar. Major action. Bash her over the head. She's on the ground, so I
Well,
guess she.
hold on. You've already had your turn.
Oh, well, there.
Yeah.
I think we're done.
Okay, so
I
Did
would
you do
probably be
something?
doing something.
Yeah, what do you
Oh,
want?
okay.
Well, what do you want to do?
But I don't. Honestly, I would probably be confused at this point, like, because I actually talked to my neighbor and she's
Yeah.
You
Not-
really
not
don't
not
like
who
this?
she is.
Not a feral
so,
beast.
No.
this is not a good scene. Yeah. So okay.
She has an action, I assume. Yeah.
Yes, she will have an action.
Okay.
So her action is she's trying to get up and she's trying to push back against the chair that Scott is holding against her in her poor neck. And
Poor neck. That's what she
Alright.
gets.
Is anything else going on outside?
We don't know.
Nothing.
Nothing that you can see.
Well, we
Nothing
have. We
that's
can
very nice.
take stock
Did,
after
did she
we take
close
care
it? Oh,
of.
she never opened the door.
No,
That's
she
right.
came through the window.
Door's closed. For what it's worth.
We'll have be pushing things up against the window, I assume.
Okay. It's going to be 2 positives and a negative die. She's clearly acting in a mindless manner, but it's an unusual amount of strength. Like
Preternaturally strong.
a human being who is not worried about injuring themselves to get their task accomplished. Let's put it that way. Okay, so that is 1 success, which is just that. So essentially, she's able to push the chair back up to the point where you're sort of you stumble back, and she doesn't stand up. That's a little bit too difficult, but you're pushed back from the chair. She's no longer sort of ensnared by it, and
Okay.
she's starting to get up. So it looks like she'll be up in a moment. But now it's back to you guys.
Hit her again.
Yeah, I try and swing that pan at her head again.
Okay, so it's a little bit easier for you now because she's on the ground, not moving as much anymore. Scott sort of set you up with that. So take 2 positive
Tag
dies and a
team.
negative die.
Okay. Setting up by knocking down.
So you'll be the snarer.
We have to get our hunting rolls.
He'll be the
established.
DPS. I guess that makes you the tank.
Yeah, you're saying I'm striker.
Oh, yeah. Oh, well, that was actually good for you. If
That's
what's your
my dex is 4, so there's
Yeah.
cancel, and that's a hit. Right?
That's right. Okay, so you hit her solidly in the skull, and
As hard as I can. Well,
it's probably the first time you've seen her sort of stop moving for a second. Whereas before it was almost like trying to push back against like a moving vehicle. It's just
Right.
not stopping, and now she sort of stumbles down and falls firmly to the ground, but her arms and legs are still moving. And by the way, the whole time
Dude,
that this is going,
that's messed up.
but I mean, really conked her too. But the whole time, by the way, this is going, she's making sort of guttural noises, like but no words. Also disturbing.
So at this point, she sounds like a zombie. She's doing the.
Right. Just like gasping noises, like someone trying to speak but not being able to.
You've been doing
Because
the Heimlich on her instead.
yeah,
again,
that'll fix it.
again, you're getting an impression of feral noises. So at this point, we'll take a step out of the game and say that you are you. So you have all seen
Zombie movies? Yeah.
in some way, shape, or form.
Read
Whether
zombie
it's a video
fiction.
game, a movie, a book, comic book, whatever it
those.
might be. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and say that you know you have a good inclination like what's going on here. Now, to your minds, there's no way that you're going to make that leap of logic because it seems too unbelievable to you. But you think that this is how this person is acting, like a
So,
zombie.
I would say it's like she's a zombie.
Right.
Right.
Or a
Still
headless
might be
chicken.
a bad case of
And I'm
rabies.
thinking
but-
like you played too many games.
Either if she is, even if she does have rabies, still she's. I mean, I don't know if she's still a threat, but I mean, she's still moving.
But you know, like how when you
me
cut
a
off a
second.
chicken's head, it still runs around.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying right
It's
now.
some unconscious brain
The
function.
nerves still work for a while, but eventually she'll stop twitching.
Well, I
think
don't.
we should dispose
Double
of the-
tap.
I think we should try and get her out of here.
Well, that's a good. I wouldn't get near her until we're sure.
Yeah, put her out of her misery so she stops moaning.
Well, you guys have.
I mean, she's still like.
There's a
Right.
knife.
Yeah, put her out of her misery.
of combat.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. I don't think she's down for the count. I think I whacked her a good one, but she needs another hit. But
Do we? I mean,
If you
are we
want-
100% sure we
I'll say
need to
you
put her
disoriented
down?
her
I mean,
enough.
she is a. I don't know. That's what I don't know. At this point, I just hit her very
No, but
hard.
yeah, and I
with
saw
the
it. I'm
pan.
like, that's impressive.
You have
know.
disoriented her enough that you have this spare moment
a respite
to
to go,
commiserate.
like, what the hell are we should?
So, but
I
now
would say
she's starting
put
to
her
get
out of
up.
her misery.
I'm
I think we should
I think-
do something to get her out of here and block the window.
well to do that.
Yeah,
we
but-
have to touch her, and I don't. After this,
Well, how else
Just
is it
hit her
out of here?
again.
murder her first, and then take her outside.
Yes, hit her again.
So, well,
She's
someone-
in torture right now.
Well, someone else is. You guys have all your turns. You can grab a knife and
To set the scene, I
right in
mean,
the head.
I want, especially I want the audience to picture this. You guys have just had this horrendous experience, and you're like yelling at each other. Essentially, is what I pictured. Because
Yeah.
it's just freaking
Absolutely.
out. This is
Yeah.
happening as it's
Absolutely.
happening. So
Yeah.
Terry's like, "Kill her again! Just hit her again! Kill her!" All right.
Well,
so,
I'll if as soon as it's my turn again, I'll take another swing at her. But
okay. Well, go ahead and make the check. At this point, she's seriously debilitated, so you don't even have a negative die.
So
just
just
go ahead
two
and roll 2 positive
positives.
dice.
Okay. 1 and a 2, so that's a hit. 2 hits technically.
All right.
But 1,
So-
I guess. It's always 1 hit.
You with like this wet thud, the frying pan. You
Brain splatter.
Yeah, you hit her with the edge, like the short side of the frying pan,
Right.
and it buries itself right into her skull. And
Okay. She's still
Just-
making noises.
no, she stops moving completely. There's a couple of twitches, and then nothing.
I'll hit her one more time.
Okay, there's no check there. You're
I'm just making sure.
Beating a dead
you're
lady.
I
doing
heartily approve.
you're doing the Rocky Balboa to a hanging piece of
I
meat.
think the homeowners association's going to talk to you.
We'll see how that goes.
I don't know. I think we're gonna lock the door. Or
Well,
is the door
The
smashed?
door's
the
locked.
door's locked. The window's smashed is the
Oh, the
problem.
window's
Can I
smashed.
add that one of my cats walks up to her and starts looking up the matter?
You can add whatever you want.
Okay.
Keep everyone else at the table out. That's entirely up to you. Okay.
So we should get her out.
No,
That's why I want to get her
I- I
outside.
don't
so
know,
want the
actually.
I
cats
think
to
put her in
eat.
the bathtub right now. We don't know what the heck's going on.
No, but the cops are going to want to see this. You can't really like touch the crime scene.
Touch the crime. I am the
Wow.
crime scene.
I know.
Well, we can't just leave her
Here,
in the hallway.
let me
I
take
don't
out
want
my
the cats to eat her.
smartphone and I'll take
Well,
photos.
put the cats in the
Sure.
So that's what
Okay,
I'll do.
that we
I'll
can
start
do.
taking evidence.
Yeah, I'm
I'll
sure
do a
they'll
video
use
and
that.
photos.
That's admissible in court. Cell
Put
phone
the
pictures
cats
from
in
people.
the bathroom.
I
Get
would
rid
need
of the
help with
cats.
that though.
I don't know that. Besides that, what's what
So
I would
we're
do.
okay. Well,
What about? I'm gonna take a listen outside.
Yeah, we
or
should,
whatever,
yeah.
Keep an eye, or maybe check the back door.
Sure. Okay. So if you want to check, either way.
there's
Yeah, the
tennis
balcony.
courts outside, like a whole bunch of tennis courts.
Okay.
Give you guys.
Right. Okay. So you look outside, and by the way, it is dark outside.
Okay.
Okay. So I actually
lights
can't even tell if there are lights out there.
There's lights on the
Sometimes
tennis
they
court.
have lights on at tennis.
When
courts.
people are playing tennis, there's
Yeah.
lights on the tennis court.
It's actually pitch black.
Okay,
There's
they
a
turn
light
off
on
the
the
lights.
distance.
They turn off the
We
lights.
do have a porch light, but I don't think it works. Well, no, that was the plug-in.
Yeah,
No,
right.
that's only a fan.
Okay,
It's
zone.
Oh, that's
there's
just
a
a
light.
fan. Okay,
But there's a light plugged in.
There's a
so you
light
have to go
outside.
I'm not the character. Why am I doing this?
Well, that just turns on the fan.
It does.
You just-
Yeah.
What's the light?
The
There's
light,
no. You have to go outside.
and flip it on.
Do you want to do that?
No.
No,
Okay.
It's a small lamp.
we'll leave the light alone. I'm
Well,
not
it's
that
just
interested in
fine.
the light. I don't want to attract any moths.
I want to round the cats up and put them in the bathroom with a
That's
bowl
probably a
of
good idea.
water.
Yes.
Wait,
keep
with
them.
a dead body?
No,
Yes.
not with the
Well,
dead body. With the
We need,
food
we
and
need
No,
to get rid
yes.
of it.
Alright. Do you have a
Cops
clock? Do you have a clock radio?
Yeah, upstairs.
Alright, upstairs.
Clock
In my
radio?
bathroom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
on
there's-
radio.
Yeah.
You're listening on radio.
Yeah.
I mean, trying to find something.
Well, I mean,
local.
we can tune to
we have the
internet.
internet.
You just tune to local news or
Okay.
local news stream.
We have our
I'm
phones.
sure you can find that.
It just seems a little hard to do.
No.
It's easier to find a radio
I
station.
can turn my laptop on right now. My laptop.
I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. Okay, never
What?
mind.
Something awful to us? Well,
So,
I can't.
at this point, I don't think you've told us you don't have cable. So I would say turn on the TV and let's
Right.
watch the
oh, we
news.
don't.
No, I asked. Is
We're
it,
we're
it's
cord
like-
cut
I
out.
didn't know if that was in character.
Yeah. Oh.
I would say
We do not
I would
have
probably be
TV.
more inclined to look things up on the internet than to
Oh, yeah.
look at the news.
Yeah,
Alright.
it's sensational. I mean,
Because then you can actually go to multiple
Start
looking
sources,
stuff up.
multiple tabs, and
So,
Yeah.
remind me, have we figured out that these are zombies?
we like. Well,
We're
she
pretty
looks
darn
like a
sure.
zombie, but
You know,
we don't know
it's-
about zombies.
Right.
But we.
We
We
can
know
suspect.
something.
We can
going on.
suspect.
But
This
you
is
think-
pretty convincing.
It's
Right.
pretty convincing. It is.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. Like,
It's
re-
entirely
recon.
up to you how willing you are to believe that this is even possible, or whether it's just what's a typical thing that happens in zombie movies. People make excuses. It's rabies. It's
Yeah.
some sort of viral.
That's the thing. Like, I
but
wouldn't.
we've
I
also
don't.
seen the
I would go
been
like
on the internet as well. At the
Yeah,
beginning
what's,
of all this, and
we
stuff
go-
was kind of freaking out.
right. You already
What does the
saw
radio
some.
say? Scott checks the radio.
Okay, so so you just turn on. Was it? It's a normal radio, or what
Yeah,
are we
it's
talking
It's
about?
just
radio.
a
Okay.
FM, whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, FM, trying to find a local station.
So you're able to get the stations. There's no music. It's all people, news reporters talking. And one of the stations that you flip through is the emergency broadcast system.
Okay.
It's going
Right.
with an automated voice saying very awkwardly, "Stay in your homes. If you have a medical emergency, call 911."
Wouldn't
Or-
all of them technically say that? Doesn't it just broadcast over everything when it's? an
When our
emergency?
phones do that, does it?
Some phones.
Well,
some
yeah.
cell
Phones,
phones.
yeah.
that might be
Not
good.
necessarily. A radio station has to flip over to the EBS.
Oh, okay.
I think. So not all of them are. Some of
Are they playing any Johnny Cash,
no.
perchance? When the man comes around.
When the
No?
man comes around, and I saw Pale Rider.
on him.
That's right.
Yeah.
So yeah, but you hear the EBS going on, and a lot of the news reporters are saying we're still trying to you hover on one. It's News Radio 610, which is a news station, conservative news station, but you take what you can get right now. And the
It's gotta be
okay,
better
political.
than Fox.
That's right.
Ooh.
So
Steven takes right now.
the guy on the radio is saying, okay, we're still trying to figure out what's going on. It seems like there's a lot of theories going along. It might be Ebola, but I mean, he's right in the middle of a conversation. He's trying to parse what's going on. But he's saying, like, just to keep you up to speed, we're getting a lot of incidents around the county of both Broward and Dade County. A lot of we haven't heard anything from Palm Beach County. Actually, we're having trouble getting to the authorities
we're
up there.
very close to Palm Beach.
And it seems pretty bad out there. It just seems like there's I think it's those darn protesters again.
Occupy Wall Street.
Does your neighbor live alone?
Her dad lives with her.
Sometimes.
Well, he's.
I don't think he's there right now.
He was. When I went to
Oh,
get
he
the
was?
mail, he was out walking
Oh,
the
okay.
dog, so he's
He
there.
lives with her in the. Oh, that's right. He lives with her in the winter, not in the summer.
He's an old dude.
Yeah.
I don't know. He likes working on his car.
So he might be like her too.
I go upstairs and grab my baseball bat.
And which room? Is it this one or the other one?
We still have.
There.
Did we ever
That's
end up
right.
dealing with the lady? Did we put her in the bathtub?
She's still
or-
there.
She's on the floor.
Yeah, she's on the floor.
Yeah,
I'm.
We
and
put
I
the
would-
ca- we put the cats in the
I'm gonna
back.
call my
yeah,
wife.
with the cats are
Put the cats
saying.
in the
I
back.
want
wanna
to sure
check-
she's alright.
I want to check out the window.
All right. I mean,
Not go
I don't know
out
how
the
to
window,
role
but look
play
out.
Can we
as
walk
your wife,
the
but
window?
Well, we
She-
should see what out there first.
she's
and then-
she answers.
Well,
I
First
mean,
of all, I suspect that you get a busy signal a couple times.
yeah, the
too,
cell,
right?
Yeah.
the cell
The
towers
cell
are
towers are
probably.
probably-
gone.
Well-
there's probably everyone's calling.
how'd that work exactly? Could they really? Yeah, it's you get a lot of a lot of interference. It's hard to get through. You have to try a couple times. You think that the reason why you got busy signals for 911 is simply because they were overloaded,
Right.
with people not being able to answer. But yeah, it does seem like there's unusual bandwidth, and the call drops the first time that you try, before you eventually get through to her, and she says, "Hey, are you okay? I mean, what's going on? There's a lot of crazy stuff going on in the news," and you can say whatever you want to her.
All right, so I'll tell her, look, we just got attacked by someone who's got rabies. It's like right out of a zombie movie. Take Kobe, go into the bathroom upstairs, lock both doors, and stay there until I get there.
She says, "Well, I mean, is it that bad? I mean,
Yes,
is it?
it's bad.
I mean, okay, I'll
Trust me on this, honey.
okay, yeah, I'll do that." And she says, she wants to keep you on the phone, keep talking. Yeah.
So then I'll start going into details, like
Yeah.
woman with a broken neck who shouldn't be alive, was still moving.
Okay.
Um,
You can hear
seemed
that
really
she's
strong.
obviously moving around, grabbing stuff. She stops mid-sentence talking to you to tell Kobe to, come on, get your stuff, and just go upstairs, and you can hear her walking upstairs. And so we'll say that's what you're doing during this time. And anyone else want to do anything?
I'm looking for brooms.
I'm
We
gonna-
got weapons here.
I'm gonna be
I
at
wanna
the
block the window.
Yeah, I'm gonna say look out the
See
window,
what's
see if you see.
outside.
Can we collaborate and do that? Because I don't think I could do it myself.
Because I think there's a little bit more lighting outside where the parking lot area was when we came in, so I want to see just looking out the window without going outside.
You want to block the window.
I
Okay.
want to block the windows.
If you could
Maybe
maybe use
just
this
busting through
table.
it.
Right.
Well, this is good. Yeah.
Maybe
yeah,
the
I would put
maybe
that first.
Behind it.
Put that on the bottom and
The
this on
coffee
top.
table is kind of the same shape as the window.
And then use another. You put that on the bottom, this on top, and then that the holding it
push
against
the
that.
exercise like
And
closer
I-
too.
So
I'll take a moment and I'll say turn off the lights.
only so much stuff is going to fit over there too.
okay.
Yeah,
So
it's really fine space.
you guys are doing that, and you said you were going to the door to look outside.
Yeah, well,
Or-
right before they
Yeah.
barricade the window, I'm gonna look out.
Right. So you actually look outside, and there's a guy walking around outside. He's a very large, sort of portly guy, really tall, like 6'2", just wearing like a t-shirt and shorts, and he's yelling out, "Buster! Buster!" He's yelling at the top of his lungs. It seems like he's been doing that for a while. It's just getting to the point where you can hear him doing it. And he's at the bottom of the stairs.
I'm not gonna say anything.
No, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know who Buster is.
Probably
I'm
a
too
dog.
freaked out to say anything.
I'm hoping, but I don't know where the dog is, so I can't help with that.
Yeah.
I think my empathy would.
My empathy would be like, good luck.
Yeah, we got a lot. We got problems.
I
of
have a
our
lot
own.
of empathy, but
Yeah,
at this point,
there's some
I'm
dead lady on the
concerned.
floor here. I'm not worried about somebody's dog at the
Yeah.
moment.
Sure.
So.
Okay, so how are you barricading the window? Is that
well,
what you were doing?
Yeah.
I think we're all.
we're all.
I
would
think
say
we're collaborating
collectively-
somehow
I
using
think
this table.
I think we're all
I think
moving furniture around to
Yeah.
get the window barricaded
the
to a
coffee
certain
table because
extent.
it's the same shape, and then put something heavy behind it.
Very heavy, yeah. Well, I think that. Well, I don't know. This table's
This table's.
bigger, but I think that's good.
Yeah. Okay.
We don't need it.
Okay.
I think it would be the table and then a couch right behind it. And stack them
That
up.
that couch will not fit in that hallway without a
Standing-
lot of
standing up.
A lot of shoving. It
No,
takes
I
a lot of work.
understand.
So I
Yeah,
would say
this
just
one-
Right, that's,
that
that's fine.
that
yeah.
couch plus whatever else we see. and
Table and a couch.
We can do the best of our abilities.
I think we should
Wedge.
be looking for weapons or something. at this
Yeah, I
point.
agree. I'll rummage around and grab all the blunt weapons I have that could be used, which I was recounting to Nick before we even started.
That's right.
I have 2 baseball bats, a hockey stick, and a wooden practice sword.
I commented that it seems like you gave this
And
a
one
lot of
that
thought
goes
even
upstairs.
before I suggested.
And we
it.
have more musical instruments that could also be used as blunt
Those
instruments
trophies.
if possible.
How
Sharpen the
good of a weapon
drumsticks.
those are.
What's that?
Musical
They're
instruments.
heavy.
We've got trophies.
They always
Guitar.
break in the movies.
A real guitar would
Real
take
guitar.
a beating before it broke.
Sure.
It would take
Now
a
that I
while.
realize that's a fake guitar, I'll look at the real
Yeah.
guitar.
So you guys are in the middle of this.
So I did not
and,
know that at first.
You're starting to move the. So just moving the table into it, you guys can do that. That's not like a test. I mean, you're capable. You guys don't have any debilitating illnesses that are going to keep you from doing that. Scott's got that cold. He's really not pulling his weight like he should. But other than that, as you're moving the table into position, you hear screaming outside. A man's scream, clearly. It sounds probably like the gentleman that you saw earlier.
I guess
just a few seconds ago,
I
really.
got the feeling you sound Buster.
Yeah, Buster.
Oh, dear.
Where's Buster from him?
Yeah, it's good.
I'm concerned.
So am I done
Just-
with fun?
I assume I'm
Yeah,
gathering
sure.
blunt weapons right now, so I'm not gonna. I hear a
I'll
scream,
take your
but-
wooden sword, by the way.
Yeah,
Oh,
your,
those
your
are
wife
cool.
didn't really want to hang up with you. Obviously, I'm picturing that during this kind of circumstance, she'd want you to stay on the line the whole time, but
Well, I'm gonna tell her actually
you have to help.
to be quiet.
Okay.
Lights out, be quiet. You know, act as if you're not there, kind of thing.
Okay.
And now if I'm back, I would say, look, either let's go upstairs or let's get out of here. I don't know that I want to stay here unless you think we can defend the stairways going up.
Well, I would say that it depends what we want to do. Like,
Where would we
obviously,
go?
that's the thing. Like,
You
I
need
don't-
to go to an ER.
do I?
And then the sound
Yeah.
stops.
I have band-aids. It doesn't need stitches. I'm okay.
Dude,
We have gauze and stuff.
Yeah, we have
upstairs.
gauze. I was gonna say then like next thing after I would go get
I've
gauze.
been
Look,
in-
we
I've
don't
been
know
in
what she
ER
has.
Like this.
Yeah, this.
If he goes in there the way he is, they're not going to look at him.
Yeah,
They're gonna
exactly.
spend
They
hours.
already said that it's clogged at 9/11.
I don't really want to go near. a
It probably
place
is
where there's
clogged.
lots of
Yeah.
It
bleeding
probably
people.
is
I
clogged.
would.
Yeah, it's. I don't know. It depends. Like, obviously, you guys want to go see your families. I'm not going to stop you from leaving, but I feel relatively safe here. I feel like
You do?
I can. Well, like, it's a balcony. What about it? They can't. They can't
Can zombies
fly.
climb?
They can't fly.
It can't be that hard to climb, right?
There's no real
There's
way
no up.
I
It's
mean,
10 feet off the
it's
ground.
stucco walls. So
Alright. Okay.
Well, if that's the
Alright.
case,
And we
then
have
we should
another
put more
balcony
furniture to
upstairs.
blocking the.
Well,
yeah,
I was
you
gonna-
don't
But
think they can come in this
the
way.
stairs are there too. That's the problem with this.
I think the
storage
stairs are our best
configuration.
bet. If
To
we're
go
gonna hunker
upstairs.
down.
Yeah.
yeah,
I
we have
agree.
another.
Well,
another
I would.
level,
I
but-
mean, that's the thing. Like, we don't know what's out there. Like, I would say,
Well-
fortify as much as we can until day, and then at least we can get a better sense of things without kind
I
of
should
venture out in the night.
Are we gonna hole up here? We gotta make that decision quick.
I would say at least until day.
Right.
Until
But the
daybreak.
question is, I think it's safer upstairs.
Well, yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I would
So
say.
we should
I would
move.
say barricade the front door and have someone stay up or we'll do watches or whatever.
I started
Two and two,
filling
I
up
would
the
say.
just do standard hurricane stuff. Let's fill the bathtub with water.
Yeah, so see if water and
Yeah.
power is still on. We can try and.
So have we shut down all the lights down here then? No noise. Shut
Yeah,
down
well, I
lights.
think keep low profile as possible.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it sounds like we're hunkering down.
So we
All right,
spend
you're
time
hunkering down. So
turning off all lights as possible, and then
okay, so
having
I am going to
people-
need a test for barricading the window, since you're making a concerted effort to do that.
okay.
And I think the staircase.
Right.
I would think that. Well, I don't know. I would think you. I guess if you go upstairs, you can see out the front. You can see down, and you can see out the back that way too. So, I mean, on both sides. There's other people, other houses. So unless they break through the walls, there's not really a threat there. But.
That would be pretty tough because it's.
Okay,
blocked,
so let's go ahead and have how does a group test work? That's an interesting question.
But the heaviest things we have in front of the door and window, and have people. People who are keeping watch stationed at the
The
back.
door open in or out?
Opens in.
Oh, not very
That's good.
secure. But keeping us in, that's great in this situation.
Okay, so none of you have any real strengths or professional expertise with things like carpentry.
I used to work in an aluminum company.
Okay.
I've operated power tools.
You didn't think to write it down, though. No, I'm just kidding.
I've
There was
operated-
nothing place to write that.
I've operated power
yeah.
tools in my life.
All right, so I want everyone to make a. That's an interesting question. I want everyone to make a vitality test because this is going to take a lot of work and it's putting considerable wear on each of you trying to move these things around. It's not so much a matter of I mean, you know what to do. Nailing things into place and moving things around is easy. It's not logic, but just doing it in such a way and moving these heavy things around and making them stable will save vitality. So you all start off with a positive die.
Okay.
None of you are experienced with this, so you're going to have a negative die. But you do have some time. So I'll give you each another positive die. This is not a rush circumstance, but there are consequences.
Yeah.
Hence the negative die.
Yeah.
And so we all roll separately.
Sure. So I'm just looking to accrue successes here.
Garbage.
Garbage.
My only negative cancels out, and garbage.
Okay.
Well, I got my positive. I got a 2 and a 3. My vitality 3, and I got a 6 on the negative.
So they succeeded,
There's one success.
but everyone else failed
Yeah.
or nothing.
Okay. So I mean, this isn't like exactly brain surgery.
Apparently.
Um,
It does make sense of mechanical.
It's not
engineering.
rocket science. It's brain surgery.
Okay, good.
So you're able to move the
Yeah, I know you were
tables
mechanical.
and furniture
Yeah.
into place. You said were you moving the couch, or was I just thinking that?
I think we are
Yeah.
Yeah,
gonna
probably.
put the table on the
Yeah.
couch, but I would think that even if we're gonna decide that we're gonna stay until at least through the night, that we would, like we have heavy furniture upstairs that we would just. I mean, there's no point.
Everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just put
Yeah.
everything
Roll
on
it
the
down.
front. We can worry about moving in the morning, or
Right.
shimmy
Okay.
off the balcony or
So
something.
yeah, you basically you move everything into place, and Eric looks like he's making some concerted efforts to stabilize things, make it so that
Propping it up
the
into an
couch is
angle.
up against the table, which
Make
is
sure it
keeping the
won't
table up
fly.
against the window and things like that. But the rest of you, it's you're doing your best, but you've never had to barricade yourself in a home before.
Nope.
So there it is.
No experience.
But you feel pretty confident that nothing's getting through any of those openings easily.
Right.
Okay. So then when you're going to spend the nights, I don't know, what's sleeping situations here?
If
Two
we're all
watches.
we're upstairs, I would assume with two people I watch all the time, one in the front, one in the back. We have a bed. We have 2 beds upstairs,
upstairs.
a king size and a queen, and then well, not queen,
Full.
full and a king, and then we also have an air mattress, which would be enough for any combination of 3 of us sleeping at any time. So one on each bed. I would
So I'm guessing till midnight, none of us are going to bed. Right? Like
Okay.
this is
Well,
a little
I
weird
would
now.
imagine our adrenaline is up.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was gonna say I don't think I'd be able to sleep. I'd be freaked out.
Right.
So,
Well, that's
with-
not necessarily a bad thing at this point. But
With everything inessential turned off, it's really, really quiet. Is what you notice throughout most of the night, and well, for the most
do
part.
you hear
and then
any
Yeah,
like
keep on listening to the
outside-
radio.
we do have Hillsboro's right there. We hear
Right.
sirens and anything that goes by Hillsboro. We hear motorcycles and all that stuff all the
Yeah.
time. So.
Right. So you know that those of you that had to travel here know that when you got here there was a lot of traffic, which isn't unusual. You guys came here just after rush hour, not a huge deal, but it was really loud before, and all through the night you hear sirens. You see flashing lights in the distance, obviously either a paramedic or a police car, and occasionally punctuated by screams.
Any gunshots?
Yeah, you do definitely hear gunshots.
Oh, good.
We're in America.
That's
So,
true.
There's
that's
2 guns
very
for
true.
every living person. So there is that, and you guys are going through shifts. So let's see, figure out your watch schedule. I really feel like we're playing D&D now.
I'll sleep from 4 to 8.
Okay. And who's awake during that time?
From 4 to 8 in the morning.
I will be exhausted by then, so
I'll take the
I'll
first
try to
watch.
sleep first.
Yeah, it means I'm on first watch too then.
Oh wait.
Yeah,
Oh,
they're
yeah, sleep till 4.
they're
Oh.
awake till 4 and then
Oh,
they sleep
yeah.
from 4.
I'll take the first watch.
I'll
Ditto.
I'll hit the sack right away or try and sleep.
Alright, so
And then-
Okay.
Um,
a lot of
I mean, there's
stories
5 of us. It's not even.
yeah, I would probably try. Well, I wouldn't be able to sleep though. So.
Who's awake during the 4 to 8 shift? I suppose I should ask.
I think
That's
these two.
that's
Yeah.
yeah, us too, I guess. And whoever else is. I don't know. I mean, if it's like we're not worrying about if we can fall asleep or not, then it's just yes, we wake up at 4 o'clock. But
Oh yeah, we have to be woken up by the people.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Assuming that they're not dead, you know,
Or-
they can wake us up.
Yeah, or they
Otherwise-
they fall asleep on their
Really?
watch.
I
You'll
would
be
probably
awake.
do what he does.
So,
Yeah, Kim's with me. I
um,
assume we stay awake together. They fall asleep together.
So this has kind of been happening all night, but you put the cats in the bathroom and lock the door or close the door and put food and water in there. But they've been sporadically crying throughout the night.
Yeah, Harvey
Which is-
especially.
yeah,
I think
exactly.
Yeah.
And you go in there, you can kind of play with them, console them, and then it still occasionally happens. So at about 5 a.m. in the morning, the people that are awake, Robbie and Eric, I think it's who it was,
Scott.
or
No.
Scott.
It's
Yeah.
Scott, me, and Kim.
Do you have a
Okay.
computer and a printer?
Yes.
So the cats are crying again and scratching at the door. So now I want you guys to go ahead and give me a logic test. So positive die and a negative die. It's pretty simple.
I pass with a. I guess I don't know. What do we call this when it doesn't cancel? But I did succeed, I suppose.
Yeah. I'm not even going to say it's a stress for this. You're just making a listening check.
Okay. Well,
So-
I whatever I pass.
Sure. So
I think Tim does as well. Yeah, she's a 5.
you hear that, and then you hear things being moved around.
Okay.
And it seems like some of the barricades are being shuffled. It clearly sounds like things are getting knocked over.
I wake up everybody. And let them.
Okay.
I mean, we should all probably be awake when there's stuff happening downstairs. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I-
this barricade.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
Well, the way I'm picturing it, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you guys have set the table up against the window, which is
Right.
broken, and then the couch at the bottom of
And
the stairs.
everything else is kind of wedged
From
behind.
Well, I think we have
Yeah.
stuff in the staircase as well.
Yeah.
I would
Okay.
say, like up to maybe the first couple steps, we have things piled.
Like maybe that is in the staircase and that is in the ground floor.
And this is probably covering the door and the window.
I would say like we have
Under
like
the
a
door.
dresser upstairs. I would say
Dressers in the
we
staircase.
push the
We have two
dresser down.
three,
and
four
just-
dressers
yeah, we have
upstairs.
lots of heavy
Three dressers.
wooden furniture
Right.
upstairs.
So, that's what you hear. You hear things clearly being shifted around. You hear little, like a tinkling sound as, I think it's glass.
So that's probably the remnants of the window.
Right.
Probably.
The
Yeah.
door area.
And you hear some sounds.
Do we hear moaning?
Something similar to the sounds you heard from the woman who is still
Okay.
lying in your kitchen.
It's 5, right? You said 5 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
So like dusk, dawn.
So you
barely.
wake up. You woke
Yeah,
up.
yeah. Well, everyone's awake. I assume. I don't think you'd struggle to wake up after you know the
So
stakes. So.
basically, we have two
Yeah.
choices: fight or run.
Yeah, like if we're all upstairs, there's a balcony on the 3rd floor as well. So by these fall, unless we can tie. We have bed sheets. We can tie bed sheets to the.
Or you can just climb down
The
to
thing
this
is, if we
balcony.
run, where do we run to?
Yeah.
To
That's
cars.
Cars. Yeah.
Well, are the
What's your-
highways
Where's what's
nav?
the end goal?
Yeah.
Just randomly driving around might not be the best idea.
The navigate. I like. Are the highways
Well, I'll
highways
go to-
clogged right now?
I
Or
go
like,
home. Get my wife.
Yeah, that's. I don't know.
Well,
That's
I
a
mean, I
call.
think we should all stick together. Then we should
Sure.
probably make a larger group, right?
Well, I mean,
I don't know.
No.
If, I don't know if the vehicle
I'm not sure that
travel
we're
is
ready
necessary.
to flee yet. If it's just a couple of people trying to get through, they're going to be easy shots.
You know, just-
Yeah.
Can we assess the situation?
yeah, let's creep down the stairs, I guess, and see what we see and.
I look
Okay.
out
if we hear
the I look
anything
out the
better.
window. Up
Yeah,
top.
you
So
can
it's
look
still
out the
dark
window.
outside.
Yeah, we have flashlights.
but you-
I mean, I don't.
Oh,
run
just
these
look.
in.
Yeah.
Okay, so with the light that you have from upstairs, kind of creeping down the hallway, the light coming down the hallway, or down the stairway, I mean, you can see that there is someone who's pushed the table inwards and is sort of scaling it. Picture that now the table is at an incline, it's at an angle now, it's been knocked over,
Okay.
but still there's the couch, there's other crap in the hallway that you guys put there, the stairwell, and this person is climbing over it. And then real quick, I want you to give me another, it really should be a better thing for just checking things, but I guess it still would be logic. So yeah, go ahead and give me another,
Positive.
well,
negative.
whoever's is, are you in the hallway too, or stairwell, looking?
I would
guess-
imagine that we're all kind of.
Oh, okay.
I'm
Yeah.
putting sheets.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm putting sheets together. Actually.
Okay, so that's
Yeah,
fine.
that's
So
a good
Might as
idea.
well.
everyone else
I
is
would
looking.
be
Can go
looking.
ahead and give me a logic and just logic
Sheets
test.
See what we see.
I
Yep.
pass.
I fail.
All right, I don't want to make you guys roll too much, but just want to make sure that you can see this. So, the person who is climbing over the table seems to only have arms, a head, and a torso. You
Oh.
see that there's, from where his waist should be, there just seems to be the ending of his spine and entrails.
Which one of us has
So-
the weak stomach?
Get up to the
Is that
window.
you?
So he's dragging
Well-
himself along. Okay.
Well, there's no
alright.
legs. That's not. It's not much.
How do you get up
Right.
to
How
the
did he get up?
window?
I was gonna say, how did he get up on top
So,
of the table?
go ahead and
Climbing.
Yeah.
go ahead and take a physical stress for your weak stomach. This is like, and you recognize it as the person that you saw earlier outside yelling.
Oh. So What am I doing?
Okay. So
Just
this
taking
is-
a
So
physical
probably
stress.
Oh,
you down the way. He
Not
has a little
rolling.
tiny dog.
Yeah, so this is taking a whole new level. Okay.
Okay.
Can we try and push?
Then
it
you
in?
see with the same check that there's 2 other people trying to get through the window. Another man and a woman. The woman looks like half of her face is just gone. It looks burned away,
All right.
like blackened.
I think we should make a run for it to 1700 South Powerline Road.
What's there?
Okay.
What's it? 1700 South Powerline Road.
Gun World of South Florida.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. The problem is
Nice
probably a
build-up.
lot of people having that
That's
same
right near where I
thought.
work. You should go say hello to my boss.
Oh,
It's probably I don't know if
at
there's
this point, I don't want to say hello to anybody. Actually.
there's a target near like right
don't
there.
sell guns in
You know
I
what,
don't, I'm
actually-
not worried about guns at this point.
Yeah, if you're trying to arm up, I'm sure everyone else is trying to do
Yeah.
the same thing. So I would say not there. Go to something like a Bass Pro Shop or something.
well, there's no Bass Pro
Well,
shops.
yeah.
I went to the closest place. That's
There's
all.
there's plenty. If you go to
Bass-
Hillsborough, there's plenty of pawn shops and gun stores.
Wallet
Yeah.
traps are too secure.
Yeah.
All right, so you're in a bit of a time crunch here.
It is. Well, I mean, he is
Right now, we gotta get through.
What are you guys gonna do?
Can we try and at least just with brute force push everything back to knock them back out?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, go ahead and give me who's trying to do that.
I'll
Sure.
I'm
put
not
my
very
weight.
strong,
I'll put my
but I'll
weight
still
into it.
well,
Okay.
I do have a
I
strong
would-
back.
I mean, so
I would probably
so
encourage you guys on.
there's
I
not
don't
much
think I would
room for
actually do
them,
it.
right?
Right,
So they're gonna
exactly.
be coming one at a time,
Mhm.
climbing over shit,
Mhm.
and we can just whack them, right?
Yeah, as they come in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For these 3, I say whack them, and then maybe we'll make a run.
Are
for
the
it,
cats
or-
still making
As
noises?
we're more prepared
Yes.
for
So
it.
play
In fact, it
whack-a-mole.
seems to be more fervent. But
Well, there's no zombies coming through the drains. I'm not too concerned about the cats. That can
The
be.
Well, yeah, but
persons
didn't
of
one of them eat
interest
some of the brain
are
matter?
coming at the stairwell.
That doesn't. I don't think the virus can be trans. Well, even I don't. Are we? We don't know if this is a
The
world
cats
where.
ate some of the brink man.
Did-
I
That's
think
what
I
he
add-
said.
I added it flavored, but one, we don't know if this is a world where if animals can, like in The Walking Dead, animals can't catch it. Like
Oh, who
you
knows?
can't. I don't know.
Who knows?
Yeah,
I
and plus, if it's a virus, you not necessarily would catch it by eating anything. You'd have to have like an open wound inside.
But you
or
don't
something.
know that.
Well, opening the door is not the answer. If one of them's a zombie, you keep it shut.
I know. That's why I'm not sure if we should try and see.
I'm not worried about the cats right now. I'm worried about the people
All
coming
right.
through the door.
Scott, I want you to give me a logic test because you're tying sheets together.
Yeah.
What are your features for logic and willpower?
Good at understanding systems and hyper focus. I'm a Boy Scout. Do you know that's not? So.
There you go.
He's the one
All
to
right.
do it.
Is a multi-tool?
So what was previously a simple task that you had plenty of time to
Yeah.
do is becoming more urgent as you
Right.
hear the frantic calls of your companions over here. So, but you're very good at focusing on a task and getting it done, and you were a Boy Scout. So you have 2 positive dice, but you do have a negative die. In fact, I'll give you 3 positive dice, and you have a negative though.
Okay. That was logic, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So
Two
succeeded,
Okay.
but did not cancel out the.
Sure. So you do take a mental stress as you're like really getting stressed out. You're feeling your pressure against you, and but it was still easy for you to get it done. So you do tie together some bed sheets. You don't know necessarily how stable it's going to be, but
Right.
that works. Now, what did the rest of you guys want to do? You're going to try to push back against the barricade. I heard someone say.
I think we're playing whack-a-mole.
You're going to try to
Yeah,
walk. Okay.
well, I can more than one fit right at the moment. Like more than one.
Right
can-
now, they're not in the stairwell yet.
Right, but
it's
could like
imminent.
theoretically could more than one come through it right now?
Trying
Was
to picture
just
how
enough,
big your stairwell
just
is without
enough
walking over there.
space over all the garbage, all the furniture. Could
Yeah,
they...
I'm
It
assuming
looks
it's
like
one
one
at a
at a time. Yeah.
Okay then. Well, yeah. As they come, I would say I would assume there's only room for one person, but I would definitely be there with a bat, one of my bats, and
Or the skillet?
Is there a landing
Yes.
up
I would
there?
rather
Or
have
no?
the bat has more reach. I would be.
Yeah,
and
okay.
I could put.
Is there a
Alright.
landing up there, or is it just goes? How big is the area at the top of the stairs?
It's a kind of
square.
central area.
You could probably have
square.
2 people.
And then-
Yeah,
there's-
well, it depends if we want to wait till they get to the top of the stairs.
Yeah,
I was gonna
yeah.
stand. I was gonna stand in the stairwell
Oh, in the
at the
stairs.
There's
very
probably room
edge.
for
As
two,
they're
two
climbing
people.
over.
Yeah, like
side by
right
side,
when
but
their
it's
head
very
pops
close.
out.
Yeah, because they
Right
won't
when
be able to reach you.
Right when their head, like I see a dude with his head,
Yeah.
like the top of his
Wow.
head,
Okay.
as far as
Yeah.
I can.
Okay, so at this point we're gonna go on the turns.
Okay.
As you're getting ready for your plan, you get to the stairs. the head of the stairs, and you're ready with your baseball bat. You said you have in hand.
Yes, baseball bat.
The first of these persons of interest, the one that's missing half of himself,
Right.
gets over the sort of table ramp, so to speak,
Pulls himself over
and is now landing on top of the other stuff that you littered the stairwell with, and with this really sickening, like slurping slap as like his entrails lands on the other stuff with like this really, it's blood that looks it's turned black because with time it's just like kind of dried up and gotten dark. And starts progressing forward, making rasping sounds and not only using its hands, like just sort of using its arms to move itself, propel itself forward.
Right.
So we'll go ahead and say that you guys get the first turn. So what are you doing, Robbie?
Swinging its head with my baseball bat.
Okay, so if you're at the top of the stairs,
I wouldn't say at the top. I'm at the edge of the.
So it's
pile.
not there yet. So you would need to move down a bit to hit it. Do you want to do that?
No, but he's already down.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, you
like,
said you are moving down.
Yeah, no, I was like, as
already
as soon as like we know that things are coming through, I want to get at the edge of the pile.
Okay. Sure.
And as I see it, like as soon as I feel like I can get enough, like a good target, that's when I swing.
Okay. So go ahead and give me. You have the baseball bat.
Correct.
All right. So that's gonna be a little bit different.
Is that one step up from the frying pan, or are we
Should
going
be,
the
right?
Earthbound system where you get a frying pan, then you get a baseball bat, and then you get a pellet gun.
I
And
don't
then
know,
you
I think
get
the
a
cast iron
real
would do
gun.
more damage than a baseball bat.
I know, but I have
The
to
reach.
get very close
Yeah.
to,
That's
to
true.
use a
That's a good
frying
idea.
pan.
Yeah, that's true.
I'd rather have a baseball bat, at least I can get some distance on it.
Cast iron's heavy.
Okay. So it's a bit low to the ground. You are trying to hit something in a confined space. You're going to have 2 negative dice for this attempt. You start off with 1 positive die. And what are your physical proficiencies? It's just strong.
Strong back, and I suffer pain when after long physical exertion, I would say, to explain it.
Okay, that's what you have. So you have 2 negatives and a positive. You're trying to hit something in a confined space.
baseball
You're
bat.
not. It's not like you're good with a baseball bat. It's just good. And you think that if you hit it, it's going to deal a lot of damage.
I play t-ball. Does that count? No. Okay.
No, actually. Let me ask you this though: is the zombie on top of one of those plastic poles that holds the ball? And is he filled with holes? I don't think so. Well, I'll answer that for you. I'm the GM. No. So
T-ball uses a real baseball. Okay, it's not.
Okay.
It's not a wiffle ball.
Okay.
It is an actual baseball.
okay, is he coming at you underhanded?
Sort of. I mean, he's below me.
Roll those dice, son.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Okay. I succeed, I guess, but I also suffer stress. I guess that means.
Yeah. Boy.
I don't know. My dex
You
is
succeed.
4.
You're able to hit him.
3.
And you do just bash his brains in
Okay.
with the baseball bat.
Cool.
Nice.
Dead.
Dead.
That is a
Good.
doornail.
Awesome. We got 1 down. 2 down now, I guess.
Right. Now, as you're doing that, you're at the edge of the stairs. Another one is coming right over the edge of the table. This is
Okay.
the female wearing like
Bird
a
face or
tank
something.
top, wife beater, and the one that's like burns. It looks like half of her, not just her face, but like her whole head has
Okay.
been burned.
I'm waiting for the naked zombie, but
And
that'll be
the
later
stench
on,
is just overpowering.
Oh, good. Excellent.
So, yeah, take physical stress.
Okay.
All right, who wants to go next?
Well, I guess I'm behind him. There's only one person at a time, so
Right.
I'm just kind of waiting. Go on, keep going.
I want to work with Scott and make sure we have an escape route if necessary, because there's no way all of us can fit on the stairwell, obviously.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what else is upstairs. Anything else, like
How many baseball bats you got?
2.
I'll swap that for the guitar.
2 bats, a hockey.
I already got it.
Oh, all
I
right.
thought you had the sword.
Hit the right.
Yeah, but dude, if I'm behind you and he's like off tying
Sword, that
sheets,
sword is heavy duty. That practice sword is.
Is it?
Yeah, it's heavier than a baseball bat.
then I'll keep it.
Like
I prefer the sword.
I've accidentally
though.
hurt people.
I'm gonna look out the window. What do I see?
Out that window, the top facing forward window.
Out the
window where there's people coming in.
Yeah, that one.
All right, so since stress is going to matter a bit more now, I'm trying not to clunk us down with too many rules at once.
Okay.
Let's go a little bit more into how that's going to work.
Okay.
For every point of stress that you have, notice it on your character sheet, you have little boxes in the stress area of the sheet, right? And it's labeled 1, 2, 3.
That's what I've
So
been,
you fill in boxes starting from 1. If it's okay if you haven't been doing that up until now. I haven't been a stickler for
That's
that.
what I've been doing.
So every time that you fill in one whole tier
I just
of
did.
boxes, you move up to the next tier.
Okay.
The good news with that is that when you fill in an entire tier, you become inured to the stresses that you've been facing. So you're starting to see the negative things that are happening, these creepy, crawly things. Seeing them more and more mentally is not going to have as much of an effect on you. Swinging a bat more and more is going to have less of an effect on you as well.
Okay.
What that translates into is resistance. So every tier that you have filled in gives you 1 resistance, which means that you immediately eliminate 1 stress that you would suffer from that type of action.
Okay. Well, I filled up my physical stress the first tier.
All right, so from now on, you can ignore the stress of 1 uncanceled black die
Okay.
for physical.
Right.
Yeah.
It works in each.
Yep.
What would social stress be?
Social
we
stress.
don't like you anymore.
Yeah, I'm like, get out. No homers.
Well, it would
allowed.
be arguing with someone.
Okay.
Yeah, arguing with someone, or
Convincing
like they
them,
give
yeah.
examples of
Feeling-
traumas you could start off with that would be
shame.
social. Would be like having just broken up with someone. So you'd start off with a social trauma, which can give you stress.
Pretty bad if you broke up during first. Well, I guess.
I just want to say that as a game master and playing a lot of board games and role-playing games, I do not condone this type of food being present at the gaming table. Obviously, this is not what good gamers have. Healthy things, just not going to work.
Hey,
That over
She brought it
there
out afterwards.
is appropriate.
I went to the store and bought both.
The negative die is canceling the positive die. Okay.
There's a lot of butter in this. That cancels out the sour.
Give me one of those. by
Speaking
the
of
way.
breaking up,
Is that the
sorry,
last one?
You know what the cannibal
Yeah,
did
one
at
more.
after he broke up with his girlfriend?
What?
He wiped his butt.
Oh my god, that's the worst.
I'm glad I missed the first part of that because that was probably awful.
Yeah.
Good.
The cannibal.
Just get go, go. You gotta get this
What
on
did
me.
the cannibal do after he dumped his girlfriend?
Wipe this
That's
butt.
terrible. That's
Yeah.
terrible.
I think I worked in which one.
Aw.
Yeah.
All right, moving on.
That's the
Yeah,
worst.
so
Yeah,
bad.
come
Where's
on.
the zombies again?
Wait,
Yeah.
Robbie,
Yeah.
tell your Batman joke.
Okay, I was.
We gotta wipe the palate clean.
Okay. What were Batman's parents' last words? Don't overreact.
Oops.
I thought it was funny.
I like it. I don't care. It amuses me every time.
All right. So who's going next? Well, Terry, you said you were at the head of the stairs, but you can't really get down there. So
Yeah.
what are you actually doing? Just sitting there at the
Yeah,
ready?
just kind of ready.
Mm-hmm. So I believe you were in the middle of putting some sheets together, and you finished.
Oh, finished. Okay.
Right. So as everything was going on and they were starting to break through, you started that plan of action. It didn't take you too long. You're a Boy Scout, or were. Well, you're always a Boy Scout.
Yeah, I'm still
And-
going to Boy Scouts.
Superman.
He's a
Kids.
troop leader now.
That's right.
Yeah.
There you go. Exactly. So
Is it tied up to on this side, or I gotta do that to
No.
the bed, right?
Balcony's
The back. We're gonna do that out the back.
Yeah. So.
But Kim was looking out.
I was looking
She was
out
looking out the front. Scott and I are at the back.
Yeah.
it's still dark outside. Now, if you're looking out the front windows, then there's more street lights, and the street lights are still on.
Okay.
And now looking out, you see a lot of cars just in the middle of the road.
Okay.
And you see a lot of people walking around. Not a lot. You see maybe 15 people, and they're just sort of walking around.
Straddling.
Right.
Okay.
Now you also see off to the side, I'm picturing your apartment complex and how there's like a parking area between each set of buildings.
Mm-hmm.
You see
Uh oh. Random encounter.
you see 6 other individuals starting to walk towards this area. When I say this area, I mean the area in front of your particular apartment or
We need to go in
condo.
the back,
Townhouse.
What they look like.
Townhouse?
Yeah.
Cover
What do they
darkness.
look like?
Quietly.
From here, it's really hard to tell. It's also still dark out. You're only seeing this off of streetlights and the lights that your complex has.
I mean, they moving slowly or quickly?
They're moving slowly, and one of them, you notice, it's very unsettling. It looks like his leg is sideways and is dragging it behind him.
Okay, so that's not a good sign.
Might be rescuers.
Need to get my weapon.
No, maybe.
I think
Send more police units.
Call 911. See what happens.
I think we're gonna go down the back.
Yeah, I think we're gonna.
Well, I think we still have to deal with the 3 in front of you.
Well, I mean,
Alright.
if
you guys keep dealing with it. When you're done, come out the front. We'll be the ones in the car waiting for you.
I was gonna say, like, I would think that. I mean, if there's 6 more coming out the front, like,
But they're still a ways away, right?
A little
Like,
bit,
let's
right?
deal with these quickly, and then get the hell out.
Okay.
What's our plan of escape?
We have a makeshift rope to get down from the upstairs bedroom in the back.
Okay, and where are we gonna go from there? What does outside look like?
well,
We can't see, so we're kind
Well,
of going to an unknown.
you can communicate what you saw, and all the road is clogged, right?
The roads
There's
are clogged, so
clogged or
driving
just-
is gonna be
No, no,
difficult.
cars are just stopped. Is what
Yeah.
it's not
Looks
clogged.
like, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that's
We can drive
you
around.
can't. Okay.
Right?
If you have
I
a
would think so.
motorcycle or something. I
No,
don't think.
no. It's not one lane roads here.
It's not.
Well, it would have been at night, so the roads wouldn't have been completely full at that time.
Well,
so
I mean,
even
I
if
would
the car
assume that-
stopped, more than likely we can get around.
I picture the
Yeah.
like the opening scene of Last of Us, where there's like
Well, why are the cars stopped?
roads closed
Because
everywhere.
the
I don't, like maybe
government's
the
not
government is taking. I would assume
Right.
there'd be some government official response to. I don't know if they close
not that we've
roads or
seen.
try
Doesn't
and.
sound like
No,
they
not
had
that
a
we've
good.
seen.
I'm not talking about police, but I mean like National
Yeah, this
Guard.
doesn't sound like they had a good response. So
Yeah.
Well, so far.
And it's the middle of the night. I would say it's pretty
I
empty,
say
except
we
for a few
get
cars.
on a car. I have a crossover SUV out there, so it can do minor curves, but it's not going to do a 4-wheel.
It's better than my car.
I would say, well,
Yeah, his car.
no,
No,
no, we
I
cannot
have
fit
a
5
Prius,
people.
so that's
in my
not
car.
working either.
And we can fit 5 people in the car.
Right, yours is. We took it the Dragon Gun. Right?
I would say go back, go out the back behind that
Yeah.
around that way
That's all I was
to the
thinking.
side to
Right.
through the country club and see. Well, not try and avoid Hillsborough, avoid
Fine.
the major roads at least as much as we can. But you have to go. Problem is, there's no other way out of this complex
Alright.
unless you go over power lines.
So you guys are still in the middle of this very tense situation. There's zombies coming down. You
Yeah.
only have so much time to talk and discuss the your point of order. So
Well, I'm waiting for zombies to come.
Okay.
I assume that as soon as I see another zombie,
I know that Kim looked outside, and I know that Eric, you were doing the same thing, right? You were looking.
I was
at-
with Scott.
Okay.
in the
We're
back.
working on the back. I think
He
we're
was tying the thing
tying
down
it on
for
this
Barry to
side.
go
We're
out
gonna
the
get
back.
ready to get.
That's fine.
the down.
So, you guys are going to work together then to tie this up, or
Yes, Scott and I are working on our escape
Okay.
out the back.
so? Yeah, go ahead and give me another, logic test. So you're working together. You get to pull your successes together, hopefully. So if one of you can succeed at least, then you'll both succeed at it.
So, okay. What are we rolling here?
You have one positive die.
Okay.
You're working under a very stressful situation, so that's a negative die.
Okay.
But you are working together, so yeah, give yourselves 2 positives and 2 negative dice
2 positive, 2 negative.
for not being working under a stressful situation with no knowledge of
We know
how
what
to
to
string together sheets and put them outside, even for a Boy Scout.
That's
and-
what the whole point of the
Okay.
sheep bed. I mean, that's
Yeah.
why that's called that. Yeah. Not me.
For my logic, I got a 2 and a 3. My logic's a 4, and then for my negative dice, I got a 5 and a 6.
Okay. So each of you can fill in your stress for mental. Remember that if you go up in a tier, it immediately takes effect. So you should be able to block out. So let's say if that puts you over to a 3rd tier, I don't know if it did or not.
I'm on tier 2 now then.
Okay, so you get to cancel one of those stress. You only take 1 then.
Oh, so
no, that second one put him.
The second one.
Oh,
put me
I
in
see. Okay, that's fine then.
Okay.
You're
so do I
good.
take 2 stress or 1?
2. You didn't cancel anything out, right?
Right.
So yeah.
there. But the 2 logic succeeded.
So you would only get 1.
What? What?
Because it immediately cancels out the second dice.
You just filled in the last block of a tier, right?
Wait,
Well, no. This is I had
the
one,
second black.
and now the second one is
The second
fills it.
stress filled it.
So next
Okay.
time, because I started at 1 and I got 2.
Oh, I see.
Oh, I thought you already had 2.
Okay.
No, I
Same
didn't.
thing as
Okay,
me.
that's what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
All right. But you did succeed, and you were able to latch or not latch, but tie off the streets to something stable. Whatever it is, the
I'm
bed,
assuming there's a
Yeah.
railing over
Yeah.
there.
Yeah,
there you
On
go.
the railing.
and
It's about-
open the window,
balcony, yeah.
and it's outside. Now, I'm unfamiliar with what it looks like outside of your apartment complex,
Tennis courts.
but tennis courts.
Like all those buildings.
Right,
courts.
but I'm
All
saying it's a
balconies.
sheer drop just leading back to piece of
grass.
lawn?
There's
Yeah.
grass.
Grass.
Right in front
Okay.
of there's tennis courts.
Grass and
Tennis courts.
fences, so you
Yeah.
could conceivably try to get to the fence.
right, and you don't see anything else down there. It's very dark back there. There's only light spilling out from your window and one of the other windows on the bottom floor.
I would assume that they'd have a flashlight because I would. There's 2 flashlights upstairs I know of, so they would have. They're the wind-up flashlights. So
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
would
but
assume-
honestly, we probably have our night vision, so to speak, right?
well, if it's been dark, I would assume we have them on our. Some
Sure,
people have
sure.
them on a person. I just want
Yeah.
to
Phone's right there.
But I mean, you can see
Oh, yeah.
outside, right?
Yeah, if it's 5, it's getting to the
Starting
point
to-
where you can see. Yeah.
Well,
Getting
I would say
we
it's
are
like
now
30 by
prepared to leave
No?
off the bow,
Yeah.
in the back.
And you can always like swing down, rest on this balcony, and then just make the west ready. You don't have to. Like,
Alright.
It's not as
So, getting to the
zombies.
zombies. Oh, I'll just call them zombies, sure.
I'm fairly certain they're zombies.
The second zombie gets over the ramp of the table,
Okay.
and this one looks intact. It doesn't have any kind of physical impairment, well, other than being dead, that's really holding her back.
Okay.
And this is the burned face woman, and she
Okay.
lunges at you.
Okay.
So she's gonna try to grab you. You obviously you're standing there brandishing the bat.
No, I mean, we're kind of, well, he's readied. Does he get the first action because he's readied?
Well, they still get an action, so he's not really ready because he took an action.
Wouldn't
last
like-
time.
their major action be trying to climb over all that garbage?
Right.
Well, they
If
were
it
all
was-
like one
if-
after another.
If it was us, like we'd have to spend our major to try and climb.
Well, not true, because just like doing a very simple movement action like ducking behind something or opening a door, they were already one after the other piled on top of each other essentially, but they were limited by going one at a time. So she essentially just sort of falls over the ramp into the hallway and
Into the
lunges
stairs.
at you. So picture
I would
like
assume we're still in the stairway, right? I'm
Yeah.
At the
I'm
edge
just-
of the pile, and they're tumbling over the table.
right.
Okay.
So just picture I don't know how many of you guys watched The Walking Dead, but there was a scene where they all came crashing out of a window and just had to make like a 4-foot drop, and just one after another they started dropping down onto a lower section of the roof and coming after whoever it was. So that's essentially what that is. So
Okay.
and since you're so close there, they don't have to move a large distance to get to you. So you're like right there.
Okay, so she lunges at me.
She lunges at you. And the question about the readying action, but if you picture it in D&D terms, he took an action on his turn. He did hit the zombie, so he's there, but he didn't ready an action.
Which
I
is
don't
so
know.
fast.
I don't even know if that exists in this.
I was gonna say, like, could I be waiting around a corner for? It doesn't matter. I was just.
Am I safe to assume nobody else is eating healthy stuff?
That is a safe assumption.
Yeah, those cookies right here.
Okay.
Is that guacamole or is that hummus you had?
It's actually baba ganoush.
Oh, I don't know what that
So
is.
that is, it lunges at you, and it doesn't. I mean, it just sort of whiffs by you. You have the bat in front of you, and its hands just sort of go against the bat, and you're able to sort of push it back a little.
Okay, good.
All right. So now it's back to you guys, and I'll let you have the first turn.
I don't know at this point if it's worth, like, for me doing this again and 2 more times just to kill it. Like, I feel like we should just pile. Our last thing we do before we leave is just push everything down the staircase from the top, because there's a bookcase up there. There's a couple bookcases. Like,
Sure.
just throw that shit down on them. They have to fight through all that stuff too. By that time, we're out.
GTFO.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's more guys coming, and I don't know. It just seems like I'm just taking a lot of time and just risking getting hit.
Yeah.
But I'm already hurt. So I would say I move back up to the top of the stairs.
Okay.
And,
So that means that I'll have to move first.
well, yeah, I would.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
fine.
and like I would, as a minor, I would say let's just. I'd communicate all that and say let's just push everything down on them. Block the stairways. They can't come up very quickly, and we're pretty much leaving anyway. So I would. I mean, they have books in them, so I guess they're somewhat heavy. We probably would need both of us to do it. Oh no.
Not the Nexus. Okay. So yeah, that's going to be a vitality check.
Okay.
So you guys can pull your resources together and try to make this happen. It's very simple. It's just a matter of getting the strength together to push it down. So working together, you each are going to get 2 positives, and each going to have a negative. This is just pure brute force. No logic behind it.
1 success.
1 success.
Okay.
And the negative.
Physical. Okay.
Yeah. Mine. I have 1 negative, but it cancels out because I'm already at 2. So
Okay.
1 success as well.
All right, so that's more than enough. You're able to push the bookcase down. It kind of is awkward. It
Oh
doesn't
wait,
quite.
that was vitality, right?
Yeah.
I actually did not succeed.
Okay. That's okay. 1 success is enough just to get it going and push it
I mean,
over.
it just has to get over the edge of this.
Right, and it's kind of awkward. I'm assuming it doesn't fit down the hallway.
It would fit. It just would probably
Get lodged.
destroy the walls on the way down. But yeah.
Oh, we're not getting our security.
Right, so you get
Yeah,
one
no,
last
that's
look.
It's all right.
You get one last look at the zombie who had made it over the table's face, and sort of how the as she's opening up her mouth and the skin that's burned is cracking away
Oh god.
and staring at you, and then the bookcase slams into her. But then you don't see anything; it's just sort of on top of her.
Okay.
But as it settles down, you see it still starts to shift and move.
Great.
So, but clearly, whatever it was pinned. Okay, so
Okay.
all right. So who's next? You guys were at the edge. You've already hooked it up. You've got the thing out the window. What do you want to do?
Climbing down.
Climb down.
All right. So, I really need to have some angry vagrants accost you guys so that we can actually use social checks.
We're not. We're in Deer Creek. It's too. There's the old
nice.
people probably with a golf club or something,
All right. So
or tourists, Russian people. They would not be speaking English. I think that.
this is going to be a vitality check because you're using all of your upper body strength rather than
funny money
dexterity.
Oh crap.
Right.
So,
Da.
so go ahead and Kim, is that what you're doing as well, and Terry? Or
Well, no, I helped.
oh, you just helped. That's
we
right.
helped push down the bookcase.
I would
assume we're
probably
gonna-
I'd be with them at this
we're
point.
gonna
So
Okay.
I'm gonna say that I
Our next
migrated
turn.
towards the back.
Okay, so each of you individually, since you're kind of doing this on your own, there's not really a way to help someone out getting down, not from that angle and perspective,
Not
and
really.
not a really big window.
We don't have the time
right?
to tie it around someone who could
Right.
do
What are you
it.
doing now?
So
Shoot me down.
it will
Yeah.
take your entire action to get on it, get down, and start moving down to the bottom. So go ahead and give me a vitality check, which is going to be a
And you
test. Positive die and a negative die.
Okay.
So the negative die representing just this is something you're not adept at, and you're under a stressful situation.
I assume you're climbing it as well.
Oh, I don't know. I would
And I'm
probably want to
gonna
wait for
throw
you.
down my
But
baseball bat so it's down
Well,
when I get down.
Okay.
Well,
sure.
you can wait at the rope. I don't know.
I would say I would wait for Robbie.
Failed on the vitality, so I got rolled a 6 and a 2 on the negative die.
Okay.
Which would
And
be good, I guess. But-
Scott?
Well, no, I failed too. So
oh, you failed the vitality.
Yes.
Yeah.
On the
Okay.
positive die, I rolled a 6 and I only
We
have a
both
3.
failed.
So
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Interesting.
we twisted
Physical
our ankle.
stress.
So it's not a very long false
But we found it.
but it
Anyway.
it is significant.
Any way to catch while we're falling down, maybe reduce it, like
There's
grab
a
onto
there's
the
a second
sheet
balcony.
with
There's
the
a second
lower-
balcony.
the
There's a
lower
second
balcony.
oh, you hit the
and there's
second
a
balcony on
fence.
the way down.
Yeah.
You
There's-
bounced right off of that.
I know.
Well, this is true. So it's it's not a very long drop, and you are able to sort of catch your fall a bit. So you take 1 physical stress just from the unchecked physical dives, and you're going to take an additional stress from falling and landing on your coccyx. And
So take it 1
Two
and
stress.
two physical stress. If it puts you up to a new tier, you get to cancel 1 out.
No.
But that was not pleasant.
Ow.
It's a danger.
Okay, and then Kim, you're going to make an
I'm
attempt.
waiting for Robbie.
Okay. All right. So then we're going to
I
go
would-
to a new round.
I guess I can't. I don't want to metagame, so I'm not going to try and tell her what to do. So
Sure.
I'm down.
You would probably tell
the,
me to go.
No, well, I'm down the stairs, so I don't know what you're doing, so
Oh,
I
okay.
can't.
All right.
I can't speak to it.
So we get to a new round, and you just threw a bookcase down at
Right.
the lead zombie, and this is all happening within 10 to 30 seconds. So it starts to move. The bookcase starts to shuffle a bit. You hear it looks like it starts to move a little bit more as you realize that the next zombie in succession is starting to put its own weight against it and get to you guys. Okay, your cats are still meowing, by the way.
I got it. Don't worry.
Yeah. And so you two are at the bottom. Your baseball bat's there. Now, you land because I'm picturing that both stories of this townhouse are the same as far as like the layout of the rooms. There's a window right there with light pouring out of it. So you can actually see, you can see where your bat is, you can see where you are. And as you land at the bottom, the window smashes outwards, and you see a pair of hands start to reach out of the window.
This is
From
the.
But you are
From this window
this-
or
on the
First
bottom
floor.
floor
Bottom
where
floor.
you
Ground
fell
floor.
out.
Ground
oh,
floor.
the
You're on
ground
the
floor. So
grounds.
whoever's below us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
A couple.
a couple and a baby.
Oh, okay.
And a dog.
And a baby.
A little
Do they have
yappy dog.
Oh yeah, they do have a dog.
A very annoying yappy dog.
You
that
hear the
does-
Hopefully
dog,
it's the
actually.
baby.
The dog is barking.
The little dog does not like anything. It's very
Okay.
like,
So
angry.
someone just broke through the window from downstairs
Right.
where I am at with
Both
that.
you guys.
Both of you were.
It looks like a man who's looks very disheveled and gaunt and is starting to slowly climb out the window. But
That's-
for right now, it's just arms coming out.
Doesn't sound like our neighbor.
Not usually going through a window, no.
No,
We'll put that as a negative right there.
he wouldn't be gone.
I'm not going for anything else. I'm just going to go through the window
No,
aspect.
he's
of
bigger
this.
than me.
Yeah.
Well, since I would have been the first one down there, I'm going to, when available, pick up the bat, obviously,
Okay.
and take a swing at him before he can come at me.
Okay. So dexterity, it's a positive and a negative die. What's your physical proficiencies or strength features?
Basically, runner, distance runner, and a weak stomach.
Weak stomach. Okay. Yeah, that's what your dice pool is. You're still a little rattled by what's going on. He's a captive audience, but you're just getting up, and so
Okay.
a positive and a negative.
Captive audience,
Make your
okay.
best with it.
Well, I failed on the 5, on the positive die, and I guess 2 was a okay on the
Success. Okay. So you take a physical stress if you're capable of taking it, unless you're filled up your first tier.
No.
Okay, so take physical stress.
It doesn't matter what you roll the negative die.
Right.
Unless
Unless
you
it
cancel.
matches.
It only matters if it
Now,
matches your
Is your
positive.
white die actually a black die?
Yeah, he's using the big one for the positive.
Yeah, that's got me.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Right, that's something wrong with that?
No, it's
Yeah.
No,
Just
just
some.
Yeah. I mean, no.
but yes, I mean no. So, but you managed to hit it.
Okay.
So you had a baseball bat.
Yes. I had his
Okay.
second, his second base.
Honestly, no. I think you failed, right?
I did. I said I rolled a 5
Yeah,
on
he
the
did.
positive dice.
right. He failed.
It doesn't.
Well,
Yeah.
fail.
It does.
Okay.
Yeah.
He did not succeed.
All right,
it's-
sorry, because I was confused. Okay, I was
Oh, I'm
confused.
sorry.
So you fail on that, and you go to hit it, and you end up hitting just the edge of the window instead,
Okay.
and it's still lashing out, but it doesn't quite grab you yet.
Shoot
Um,
the glass.
all right, so that's that. Scott, you're down there as well. I assume you want to do something
I'll
here.
stab it with my knife. The Leatherman.
Okay.
right there, right in the eye.
Oh man, good luck.
Are we watching the stream?
All right, let me just get to the weapons table here. Okay,
You have any questions?
so you're gonna get an extra positive die, and a knife does deal a significant amount of damage, not as much as a baseball bat, and you have a negative die. But it's fortunate that Eric is sort of keeping it occupied at the moment, so you think you have a clear shot. Picture a zombie going for a person single-mindedly focusing on that, while you go ahead and do what you will.
Okay. No.
Fail. Okay.
Okay.
So you have a pretty easy target to hit, but you manage to just
Get him in the
graze the side of its head. You cut off its ear, and some black blood starts to ooze out. And not enough to slow it down at all.
Some black blood there.
Okay.
That's good.
All right.
All right. So Terry.
I guess I'm climbing out.
Okay.
Yeah, honestly, it sounds easier to just, hang from the balcony, going to the first balcony.
Well, you may not want to stop on this balcony.
Well,
I probably do, actually. They're trying to get upstairs.
Which
This
would be
area
right-
has
would be
this
right
big
there.
couch. No, but the hallway is filled with this big couch.
let me put it this way: that would be a dexterity check as opposed to a vitality check, because now you're trying to sort of do acrobatics in a way,
Yeah.
in a very easy way. So if that's easier for you, then yeah, it would be easier for you to do that rather than try to use your upper body strength to.
Yeah, I'm a way better climber.
There you go. All right, so if you want to attempt to do that, feel free.
And I guess I'll drop my wooden sword first.
There you go.
And I could even say, hey, use the sword. I don't know if it helps or not. Might be better than...
Apparently nothing's
Might
helping
be
there.
better.
It's
better than
dangerous to
11,
go alone.
yeah.
Take
Oh,
this.
what am I doing?
Sure. So you have a positive die. You're feeling rushed, so you're going to have a negative die for that. But you do have things to brace yourself on. So as opposed to a bunch of sheets tied together. So go ahead and give yourself another positive die. All you're trying to do is just climb down. So yeah.
Made it. And
Those
cancel.
cancel out. So there you go. So you're able to get down. You have to go down to the second balcony, which maybe I'm picturing this wrong. So the second balcony,
It's exactly the same, like the layout.
right?
It's directly beneath it. It's a balcony. Right below it is another balcony.
this
But
right
is it
there
at
would be the-
ground
that would-
level?
that would
Is
not-
that, I guess that's
This is
the
the second floor. and
This
then
is the second floor. It's the
So
third
it's
floor.
third,
second,
second,
and
ground.
then the ground. They're on the ground.
okay.
So,
Okay, so you're on the ground because
Actually,
you're on the second floor.
No, we're on the second.
on
We're
the
on the
second
second
floor,
floor.
This is the second
Now.
floor.
You
now.
know,
They were climbing down.
We're
We are
third.
climbing
We're
down.
third.
We were
Everyone
on
else.
the third.
Everyone is
Yeah.
on the
Oh,
third.
right.
Where
Okay.
everyone else is on. We're all on the third floor.
Right. Okay, but you guys fell to the ground. So you're on the second balcony. Yeah, that's going to be a little bit more. You can do a minor action though, but it's a little bit more involved to climb down to the next one if you're trying to be careful. You can rush your way down to the bottom, but then you're going to take another negative die. We'll say
no,
that.
I'll just wait.
Okay.
I mean, there's a zombie down there.
That's right.
Oh, wait.
I mean, you can look in. You can look in
Screw you
here and
guys.
see if there's.
But your sword is down there.
Yeah.
Well, I know. I told him.
I'll pick that up when my turn.
Alright.
Yeah.
All right, so Kim, still waiting?
Well, where
I'm-
is he? 'Cause
Or you guys can
actually
take the
probably
orders however
range
you want.
on
I'm just sort of
his-
calling you guys out
Yeah.
as I go.
No,
So
I would say I'm retreating from the staircase. The bookcase, they're holding them off for a second, for as long as we need, I guess, for the moment. I would say crack the door that the bathroom door,
Dude, what are you doing?
Why?
to let them out. If eventually they can work their way
Aren't
out.
the cats down here and you're up
I
in
thought they were in the
No.
bathroom upstairs.
Yeah, they're in the bathroom.
No, they're
upstairs.
downstairs.
They're downstairs.
Yes.
yeah, that
Oh.
was my impression, and that's why I
I
said
thought they
that.
were
Oh,
upstairs.
I thought
I thought they were upstairs.
Well, it
No,
matters
'cause I
what
just
Kim
was
did with
trying-
them. So you put them in the
I
downstairs,
put them in the downstairs
I thought
because it
that
was
was-
right
that was
there, and
right
I just
there.
wanted to get them out of the
and
way.
that's why I said the noise was significant.
Yeah.
Rather
I
than
thought,
being
yeah, I
upstairs.
thought they were upstairs. I'm like, well, okay,
No.
Right.
just ignore
That's why they
them.
would be climbing up.
Well,
Well, their litter boxes are there, and the food would have been easier to get in there.
Yeah.
rather
Well,
than-
that was
yeah.
my thought. Is it would be easy to get them.
well,
in there
I wouldn't
temporarily
have
until we
left
figure out
them
what
in
to
there if I would. If
Coulda,
I
woulda,
would.
shoulda.
Well, I thought they were upstairs all along. I would just go, okay, well, they're upstairs with us. That's fine. They're cats. They'll survive. They'll make it.
Zombie, AKA zombie magnets.
Well, they are. That's what. Yeah.
That's what happened.
Well, they're still. But yet the zombies are going after the noise. They're coming after us.
Yeah. Maybe the noise got them here, and then their brain
So the
cells
cats will
kicked
defend
in.
for themselves.
Well, I can't. Not much I can do. I can't get through the
Yeah.
piles of
Right.
junk unless I.
Unless you can get to the second balcony and let them out.
Well, I need to get down anyway. So I would say I go.
Oh, wait.
What do you want to do? I would communicate with you. What are you better at? You better at the dex or the vitality? It's the same, right?
Mine are the same. And
2 and
they're
2?
Pretty low. I would probably rather. I would be scared of going down the. I'm afraid of heights, so.
The worst thing that could happen is you fall.
That's true, but I would probably want you to go
Not
first.
that bad. I mean,
In
do you
case
want me
I
to-
fall,
but
I
do you want to go?
want
Do you want to go?
to
Do you want to go down on the bottom, or you want to try and do the halfway to the? I can
your
make.
coccyx might be hurt.
I would probably
It
try
is a
to
little
grab
bit.
the rope
Yeah.
and use the side to climb down, like with my legs. Because I think
I
that
would
be
say.
easier
I
to-
would say that I'm gonna try and
Punching.
do what he did and
Terry.
Terry. Thank you. I would try and like use my dexterity because it's higher and try and like gymnast my way down to the second floor, and then help her by like grabbing part of the rope and guiding it, I guess, a little bit, or like as she comes down, holding onto her so that if, at worst I could have a hold of her if she
Okay.
falls or loses a grip or something like that.
Sure.
So you're using your action to get down and your minor to assist?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, that's fair enough. So you're gonna need to make a dexterity check test.
1-1.
Yes. Are you, what are your proficiencies? Your features?
Strong back.
Strong back.
I'm
Nah,
hurting. I'm in
it's not
pain.
really. Yeah, that too. So, and your arm is throbbing.
Yeah, well that's not helping.
Yes.
So okay. Let's see. I succeed. I ignore the first
There you go.
So
So you're able to get down, and as you describe it, you're sort of holding the rope and getting yourself ready to brace Kim as she's coming down.
Steadying
to
it,
steady her.
whatever.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Kim, you're the last person.
All right, guess I gotta go down to the second balcony.
Okay.
But you're gonna use the rope, or you're just gonna try and?
What'd
it
you
doesn't-
do?
I just use my dex is higher, so that's why I use that. I just climbed down the edge of the balcony, hung down, and then kind of lowered myself as close as I could, and kind of.
Nah, that
Did-
freaked me out. I
I-
probably want to use the rope.
Okay. You're the one doing it.
The rope and I would probably do both, like use the rope and try.
I think she would make a pit stop, right?
Yeah, like moving furniture.
The rope to the second, and then rope to the bottom, if possible. But I mean, if
Yeah.
you fall, I mean, all I can do is hold. Try and
Yes,
grab
I
you,
would
so.
most definitely try and stop on the second. So
Okay. So you have, what are your features for positive or
For
positive
physical?
negative? Yeah.
positive is good with a knife, and negative is my handshake.
So she gets 2 extra die for good with a knife.
Which is completely relevant here.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
So you start off with a positive. Your rush, that's going to be a negative. You're going to take a negative because it's harder for you to get down and to hold the rope. But Robbie's assisting you. So you're going to get an additional positive die. So there's your pool.
Good stuff.
Well, you succeed. But
Okay.
you take 2.
You are going to take 2 physical stress. This is just not easy for you. But you do succeed. And you're able to get down with Robbie's help.
Yay!
All right. The dynamic duo at the bottom there. So that was the end of the round. Well, let's go ahead and say that the downstairs neighbor gets a turn. So it's lunging out, trying to get at you. You're able to, you have the bat in front of it, trying to hold it back. And Scott, you're trying to stab at it, and it didn't really work. Its head is thrashing around too much at this point, like an animal. You're seeing that each individual infected person, let's say that, is behaving sort of differently. They don't all act exactly the same. Some of them seem a little bit quicker than others. Some of them are, So let's go ahead and say that he's going to attack you. I don't need to look that up. So it's taking a negative because it's being held back. There's 2 of you that are on it, and it's just not that great at attacking things to begin with. So that's its dice pool. But you are right there. So that is not going to be a hit or stress. It tries to get at you, but you're successfully holding it back. So now anyone may go. Who would like to go?
Well, I'm still going to try to
You
hold
got
them
the
off
club,
to the rest
yeah.
of everyone gets down.
Sure.
So.
Yeah, don't hold it off. Kill it.
You're smacking
Well,
with
yeah,
the
I'm going to hit
club.
it with the bat. Yeah. That's what I mean. But apparently I'm not doing a very good job of it. I'm just holding it back at this
It's
point.
not
Oh, I
easy.
see. You're
Hit
trying
harder.
to hit
He's a pretty
harder.
big dude.
Hit harder.
To be fair, you weren't in T-ball like Robbie was.
I know. Well, I got strike one on me. I did a big whiff. When
It's
I tried
those
to
years.
regroup,
It's years of
get the
training.
mental focus going.
It's all it takes. Hitting at a stationary ball.
So would it be the same
All right, so
roll
it's going to
again?
be, yeah. You're getting assistance from Scott, and you're a little bit better at it because now you've got kind of your shot lined up. Let's say, so you still take a negative die because it's just hard to hit it, but you're going to take 2 positive dice as well.
The red dice are positive.
Okay, now I know.
Oh, no. It cancels out.
Yeah.
All right,
So
you would take a stress.
Well, it cancels out the
It
stress.
cancels out the
Oh,
stress.
you do.
No,
So
but he has
Yeah.
2
Nothing
stress.
happened.
Yeah.
Oh no, those are
No,
positive.
Right,
it's
so those-
positive.
I'm
I just
sorry.
missed
yeah.
basically.
Black means white.
So essentially, you just
I mean,
I
red.
whiffed
means
again.
you whiffed again.
All right.
You're trying to, since you're right up on it, I really want to picture like it's like the distance that Terry and I are from each other right now in real
Just
life.
can't get a good swing.
You can't even really get a good swing. You tried that the first time and you just hit the windowsill. So you're actually using the bat sort of like this, just going trying to crush it, and you're hitting it in the head, but it's not enough to like crack the cranium.
It's got a thick skull.
Yeah, you
All
need
right.
to maybe get a little more oomph into it.
And I pick up the wooden sword and try and smack it with that.
Okay, sure.
So was it 2 and 1 or?
So sword. That's an interesting question.
It's
That's a little
a
more
wooden sword.
accurate
Was that
than.
Kenbo? I'm trying to remember the name
Did
of
the cat just open that door?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kenbo the kid?
That was a 10.
Yeah,
I'm trying to remember the
No.
martial arts equivalent.
It would be a Kim. I don't.
Kembo,
It's
it's a Kembo.
it's more of like an European with a broadsword.
Okay. I kept on
oh,
there with the martial arts.
But
As a
it's
kid,
still-
I had the fake.
I had
Yeah.
the same thing.
Yeah,
No, it's-
those are awesome.
I got it at a Renaissance fair, but
Alright.
it is very solid. It is
Okay.
a very heavy piece of wood.
This is a pretty decent weapon, and it's not particularly adept at maiming things, but it's fairly accurate. So what this is going to do is it's going to add 2 positive dice to your pool for a total of 3 positive dice.
Nice.
Okay.
And
I like
you
that.
have a negative because you're still trying to hit a thrashing around object while your buddy is standing slightly in the way.
Okay.
And if you can hit, you'll deal slightly less damage than an actual bladed weapon would, but pretty heavy damage.
You're a terrible tank.
Hey,
I know.
success.
That's why I like ranged weapons better. Give me a shotgun.
Yeah.
Success and a thing.
You don't need ammunition.
But I
for a
resist
sword.
sword.
No, you don't.
Okay, sure. So
Give me a,
you
I'll give you a
2
shotgun
successes.
shell and I'll do
Oh, I mean, is it 2 successes? Right.
No hard.
I don't know if it matters.
it doesn't matter.
Right.
Um,
I thought you either succeed or fail.
But I'm going to say that you guys just sort of have it at your mercy, and you, more or less, and you've already dealt some small amount of damage to it. So you're able to just clock this thing. You essentially, even though it's a wooden sword, you just plunge it straight in, and it goes. It's the soft mass of its face. It's almost like it's tough, but it's almost like putting it through a hard block of cheese. So you're able to get it through, and it's and as soon as you get it into its head, it stops moving.
Don't get any on you.
So at this point, you can pretty clearly see that dealing massive trauma to the head is the best way to make it stop moving.
What?
You might be able to resuscitate it later.
Oh, good.
For now, it's just not moving.
I'll climb down.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and go out of rounds.
Okay.
You know that you are kind of rushed still because you think that those things, for all they know, are single-minded and are still coming up the stairs inside the condo or townhouse to get to you. But you're now all down and out. And
Can I get a weapon?
Yeah. Want your weapon back?
Yeah, sure.
yeah, I heard there's a gun store down the street.
Well, I want to. Well, yeah, I'd like to take a look in that room there. Maybe find something in the downstairs apartment while the others are coming down. But if
You know there's a baby and a wife in there.
Well, we don't know what's in there
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Well, they might be dead, but they meant... Well, I don't know if you actually said it out loud.
yeah, I don't know if they said it out loud
So,
either.
what?
No, we don't know anything what's happening, so we
Oh,
would
down
probably
there.
say
Yeah.
it.
So never mind.
I was just telling Nick, really.
If you
so
look
he would
inside,
know.
you see that the
I just wanna
front
take a
door
look. Yeah.
is
It's open.
open. You also see that there's
So that might be a better way to get to our cars rather than going
Yeah,
around.
but
Well,
there's still 6 zombies.
There's still 6 zombies right up there, but of course we have to
Yeah.
get through out there to get
We
the
have to
car
get there
anyway,
anyway, right?
you also
but not
see
through
so you
them.
see the front door that's open.
Uh-huh.
You also see that there's another door in front of the front door that's lying on the ground, which the bathroom door, you presume, assuming that the layout of the 2 townhouses is the same.
Okay.
So it looks to you as if something got out of the bathroom, and
Very similar like in your apartment. Okay.
yeah.
I don't know how it's laid out, but whatever. That's fine.
I know,
Alright,
like
well,
my
let's-
apartment complex, every apartment, they're mirrors of each other.
I think
Well,
Two next to each
downstairs
other.
is
Yeah.
underneath both this one
in
and that one.
in our neighbors, it's wider.
It's
Wider,
a it's
right,
one
because it's
floor.
not-
It's not
Two
too
units
short.
wide.
We don't
Yeah,
need- we don't
one
need-
story.
Yeah,
Right, it's
yeah.
well, that's too much. You get the impression that it looks like, I mean, it's an apartment. There's probably stuff inside, but you don't see anything else moving in there.
I'm just wondering to maybe just go inside.
What
Well-
are your mental proficiency features?
I guess we
Loot.
can.
Loot.
Well,
I guess
sure
we-
that
I can't
unsafe
tell you.
systems and
I can. I guess I could yell.
Your logic is really high.
Yeah. So
Make a logic test.
Because
Real
my
quick.
thought would be maybe we can get the people to come in there and then we go around. Is maybe make some noise in there and then
There you go.
and then
Draw them.
Draw them in
Yeah,
there.
and try
that-
and then we
that
can
works.
go
keep them
around.
in. Yeah.
So logic. What do you want me to roll? How many dice?
Well, just a positive and a negative. It's just a simple check. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, I cancel that.
Oh.
Nothing.
Okay. Well,
Does that count as that a
But
failure?
either way, I like his idea, which I don't know if you're going to mention.
Yeah, I
but,
do. Mention
Yeah.
that.
We're
Well-
going to draw them down there, and then we're going to sneak around.
okay.
Well,
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 would
that's
they
why
would
we
they
have to
still
run
be
around.
trying to
Well,
climb up the
here's the
stairs?
thing. You know
either
that
way, either way, they're
Kim and
coming.
Eric had seen earlier that there were more people coming,
Right.
and the longer that you stay there, you see that they're starting to come into the bottom apartment
I see.
because they're attracted to noise. Well, okay, I'm leaping ahead, but
Wow.
it seems pretty evident at this
Yeah.
point.
No, that's
Yeah.
what I thought.
We
So-
know zombies.
Yeah.
Right. So you know that you guys. Well, I'm assuming where did you park when you got here tonight? In the front
out there.
area.
Yeah.
To the right?
To
Yeah.
the right.
Okay, yeah.
So,
That's closest one.
but Robbie parked his car over here.
No, it's the same
Yeah,
place.
okay,
It's
so-
alright.
It's all in the same spot.
Okay. So
We're on the second floor still, right?
You guys are.
Yeah.
No, I think we're out of.
You're
Yeah.
all.
You guys are all
down.
downstairs.
You guys took your time and got
We're-
down.
We're
Yeah.
all down. We're
Oh,
all
we're all
down.
down.
You're all
Oh,
down.
I
We
wanted
can
to
make
see.
a-
I wanted to see if you wanted to let the cats out.
Well, we can't even get to
No.
it because we'd have to.
Guys,
You got a dead zombie on the floor. You got barricades.
Well, I
mean,
assume
it's
that-
up to
is
you.
The couch
Come
on top
on.
of is the couch on top of the.
Empathy.
Well, I think the empathy is more for.
I say the cats keep me on.
You didn't see anyone coming from the direction of the parking lot off to
where the cars are.
right, but off to the west. Presumably because most of the living townhouses are places where people live are off in this direction. But you were definitely starting to see them
We're kind of in the
come
corner.
through the apartment where you just fought off somebody through the window.
No.
Right.
So because of the noise.
So let's get to a sports store. There's got to be lots of
Well, let's
sports
get to the
stores.
car.
Yeah, car,
Let's
obviously.
first do that.
I don't know. I would say we like. I would want to peek. I don't know. The problem is I want to see what's happening out in Hillsborough. If we can navigate a car.
Well, you
through
saw
it.
that
We're gonna
from the
find out.
top. I
Yeah.
thought you said you can see
Yeah.
Hillsborough from your
Well,
apartment now.
well,
or
that's
no?
he was said that there's cars out there. I don't know how packed.
Well, we're gonna go find out.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, all you have to do is just peek through those bushes, and you can see you're on Hillsborough.
Yeah.
Like those bushes out there. That's all that's in between. I would say, if we can circle around back that way, and then
So I say
recon.
we
get
take
to
the car, we hit up a sports store, and then we get a boat.
There's a
I was
sports
thinking the same
authority,
thing
but I
about-
don't think they spell.
This is South
they
Florida?
sell guns.
Yeah.
Zombies don't swim. Get
Well-
some fishing
Baseball.
gear.
You
Get some
No, we
pots.
just had-
But no, the
we
glass
clicked on
tops-
Hillsborough.
The water's not necessarily deep enough. They can still walk along the bottom.
Oh, that's fine, as long as they can't swim. We'll be out in the ocean.
I don't.
Yeah, I was thinking the same
But
thing.
we need food.
That's
What are we eating?
Swimming.
Fishing.
That's why we're going to the sports
Fishing.
store. Fishing.
We're gonna fish.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
I'm not a
Fishing.
good. I'm not a good fisherman. But
that's not hard.
Dude.
I'm a bad fisherman.
All right, you'll have all day long.
You guys
to
are
roll
going
your
to the
dice.
car?
Go to the car.
Yes.
I guess.
Okay.
I guess we'll see
Which
what
car?
happens.
Which one
Alright.
carries
The beer,
yours?
my car.
SUV.
Okay. All right.
I would say we go out the back way
How much gas?
through
did
the
you
country,
got?
through
Actually, I
the.
filled it up before I came here.
through the area.
That's probably a good.
How convenient.
Yeah.
I did tell Robbie, I bet everyone's like waiting until the last second to charge their phone in their car. Then they're going to the apartment.
No.
well,
Yeah,
that's
is
all
our
it
is? Are we still getting?
Hey guys, I just
Well,
stopped by
that's
Costco on the way
yeah.
here. Just coincidence.
I would also suggest like a home improvement store or something like that and get like
On a
a
boat?
pipe. No, not. But before we go, I don't know.
Dude, I think
alright.
one store, hit up the sports store. First
There's
of all,
there's a
because
sports authority, but they don't have boats.
No,
No,
but
no,
there's
no.
a Target.
Sports Authority is great. Get a whole bunch of fishing stuff. They might even have guns. I don't know.
Sports Authority
No,
doesn't
sports
have.
authority doesn't.
Okay. Fishing stuff. Load up with whatever we can.
baseball bats.
There's
Yeah,
baseball bats.
they gotta have like desalination kits and that kind of stuff. And
No, sports authority doesn't.
Medical.
It's not. It's not
mostly
an out. It,
apparel
that
and
one
gear.
is mostly like running stuff. Like it's
they don't have
mostly.
camping gear.
Yeah, they're
No.
not camping.
No.
Yeah.
Camping gear.
Maybe a little,
No,
but
no.
they do
It's
not have
mostly
a lot.
It's mostly apparel and like
It's for the people
soccer,
who live.
running
Yeah,
stuff,
it's for
tennis stuff.
a lot of tennis and soccer and running, with a little bit of everything else like scattered.
You'd be better off
All right,
going
guys.
to Target.
So where are you
than
going?
store.
Are you in the car yet?
Yes, we're in the
Yeah,
car.
we're in the car.
We're going out the back way.
All right, you're going out the
We're
back
going
way.
through the. I don't. It's Powerline or Hillsborough are our choices. Like those are the only roads that will lead us to somewhere. So
Whichever one takes us to Sports Authority.
either
So when you
one.
say the back way, is this the way that's going to lead straight back to Hillsborough?
It leads back around out
It
that
goes
way
around
to a
by the
small
Target and the
service
Bank of
America
road in
over there.
between, and then it goes out to. You can either go out like right next to the Target road
Right.
and come out to Hillsborough, or go out to Powerline. So,
So
it's your choice.
driving through the parking lot here and then getting back onto those back roads there, I mean, it's you see cars that are sort of parked and stalled. Otherwise, you see more people just sort of walking around
Oh, good.
aimlessly. Some of them clearly are looking under the weather. And
That's a nice
you
way to put it.
so you drive out. Now, when you get to within sight of Hillsborough,
Okay.
you see that at the corner of Hillsborough and Powerline, which is a very, very, very busy intersection normally,
Yeah.
there's just like a cluster of cars just stalled. There's smoke coming out of a couple of them, but it looks like it's been for quite a while. And there are a lot of people milling around.
Is
But
there room
none
for
of
a
them
car
seem
to
to
get
be...
through?
Say what?
Could you get a car through it if you were?
You cannot get a car through the main intersection. You would have to go up and around, say, the gas station that's on either side.
Can you
And
find
as-
another way?
right.
Another back road?
Well, I mean, you just hop. I mean, you just go around
Turn
it.
and go back
We can-
around on.
We
Yeah,
can get
Deer
over
Creek.
curbs. I mean, we're not. The thing
It's
won't
an
be
SUV.
four-wheel.
Yeah, I can go.
It's a
over it.
small
Yeah, but there's
SUV,
also
but
five
You can
ways.
jump a curb.
They can
yeah.
get over a curb. Yes.
Yeah, I
But we
would
could always
say.
go back on Deer Creek Road and go out the
I
other
don't
side.
know.
of the
I don't.
target.
If we can get around through the gas stations, I say we just do that. Yeah.
Do that.
Okay.
Okay.
This is the right. I would say we turn the radio on, and what do we hear anything? Like we scan and see if we hear anything going on.
At this point, you only hear the emergency broadcast system through the different channels that you hear.
Right. Well, I guess we go to the Sports Authority because it's the closest. There's a Publix there too.
Good.
We could
There,
maybe stop
a large
over-
helicopter.
In a dollar store.
You hear it before you see it, and it goes past you.
And what is it like? Does it? Can we tell what kind of helicopter? Is it
It
like
has-
black or
it
is
has-
it a newscopter or something like that? Or
It's sort of gray, and it's a very, very large helicopter, so it has two
Rotors?
propellers, and it's flying south.
South. Okay.
You still hear
Not
the
a
distant
good sign.
sounds of shots.
Oh, good.
So, which direction are you trying to go?
I guess we're going to Sports Authority. I think.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I mean,
Which-
we can go to that
which one?
plaza. At least it's the Publix plaza. It's right on the opposite. It's catty corner to us, basically, where it's. If
Yeah.
it's,
It's
where
where the movies-
Hillsborough's
where the
here,
movies
we're
are.
over here. It's
Okay.
over there.
So it's on the corner of Hillsborough and Powerline, right?
Yeah, it's on
Yeah.
the opposite.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's on the opposite corner.
So it's not very far from it.
No, it's
No.
very close.
Okay.
Within a minute.
Right. Less than about a mile away.
Yeah. So I assume we're going in there and doing recon and then deciding. I mean, if we're gonna dedicate it as boat ID.
We'll only see
Pull
the
it to the
front,
parking lot.
right?
We'll
Yeah,
go
we'll
to the
see the
parking
parking
lot.
lot.
All
see
right,
what we
there
see.
are a lot of zombies. So I'm just gonna call them zombies. There are a lot of zombies just walking around the parking lot. They're not clustered together, so it's easy for you to avoid them, but you have to avoid them.
Right.
And all of them make very slow movements towards the car
They
as
hear
it
it.
drives past. So if you look in your rearview mirror as you drive past them, they start turning in your direction and start walking.
We should have taken my hybrid.
That's quiet.
Gangsta and
Well,
quiet.
well, they would have seen it. They would still see it.
Do they see her or do they hear and smell?
I'll do all both. I guess depends on how good they're. It depends what kind of zombies they are. I don't know. We don't have enough knowledge about them to
That
know
is
exactly
true.
how they respond. But noise definitely is apparently gets them. But
If we had taken my Prius,
We-
we'd be quiet.
we all be crammed in there.
I want to be
So-
let me be very clear though. So now that you're in a wide open space, you notice that they're moving very, very slowly,
Right.
slower than a normal person would casually walk. So, okay,
So basically, if we
So if we're quick, I mean, we can go in and out, and then
I would say
So
we
you're
keep someone in the
distance runner, or
car.
are you
Yeah,
also
I'll go
Keep the car. Actually, I would say someone stay in the car, circle them around, and lead them.
yeah, well, we have the horn and
Yeah,
look
just
around,
honk. Yeah, just keep
maybe.
moving. Especially if
But
full
the
of gas.
question really is: so there's five of us. One in the car. Does two go hit Publix and two hit Sports Authority, or do we all hit one?
I was the
I
getaway
would say
driver.
keep numbers together in the
well,
car.
I'm driving, so I'll be driving.
If years of D&D have taught me anything, it's split the party.
Split the party, absolutely.
great.
I think that's a good idea.
I think it's a fantastic idea.
I mean,
Well, we need food.
All that you miss is that they got into the parking lot of the Sports Authority and it's crawling with the undead. There are just you notice this now when you get to the major intersection and there's tons of cars parked all over the place and there's just like many of them milling about. There's actually several of them.
Night shoppers.
Right.
I think they.
You don't know if it's Black Friday or just.
I assume I would assume that people hearing things they were away from their families and they wanted to see what was going on, and then
They
They-
want some Publix fried chicken.
they wanted fried chicken from Publix. 'Cause it's very
Publix or
delicious.
Sports Authority?
There's a
They're
Publix
right-
right next
It's
to
all
it.
the
right,
same
Jason.
place.
So we were
Oh,
gonna
no wonder.
we were gonna go.
All right, let's go to a different sports authority.
I don't know where the other one is.
I assume.
Well, you know what? I
Well,
need
hold
to
on.
go
You
get
guys
my
had a
family.
plan you were forming.
Yeah, I would say one of us stay in the car, circle around because they're gonna follow the noise.
I
That's
thought
what
it was.
they're responding to. They're seeing the car and
No,
starting to follow.
Give up on the sports authority.
I thought
You
it was
just
to grab
said it was-
food
we
and
should go to
sports
the-
stores.
yeah, we
both
get
at
food
once.
and-
No, no. We have fishing poles. We're about to.
You said give up on Sports Authority.
On this sports authority.
Well, there's not
There's-
another one anywhere
Well,
nearby.
There's no-
Well, we
Okay.
have to go get.
It's going to be the same thing.
We have to
Yeah,
go get
there's
my
gonna
wife. We have to go get my wife, anyways. There
But
are
I should have
two.
taken my car and got my wife.
Oh,
my
you won't let
God.
them get their cats, but you're
Right.
fine with going and risking your life to get the wife. I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait,
Well,
wait,
there's-
let
Then
me
we
think
definitely
about
should
it.
have split
Yeah. I'm just
Fair
saying.
enough.
But look, there are two sports stores close to where I live. They're not next to Publix.
I don't.
But
know if
I
it's
want
gonna
food.
matter.
I want. I
What do we
would
got
like
here?
to
What
have
else-
backup.
Was
food.
there any other stores that we passed by?
Dude,
No, a gas station, and
Gas
there's other stuff.
Taco
There's a movie-
Bell.
There's a movie
There's a
theater.
Taco Bell there.
There's a movie theater. There's a Ross if we need some discount clothing. We
A
can
bank.
Go.
Dollar
There's a couple. There's a dollar store. There's a
grocery
pet
stores
store.
are going to be packed with people.
So
Sports
store
stores
goods,
are going to
yes.
be empty.
We are all. Everyone in this place is thinking like we are. We need to get
No,
supplies.
they all wanted to go to the gun store. We're not going.
Well,
to
I'm
the
sure
gun
there
store.
will be people at the gun store, but
At least they'll be alive, probably.
Look, the only people that that want to go to a sports store are the smart ones. And that means they're not zombies.
well, the smart ones are still. There's still plenty of
Well,
smart
I'll
people
be
around.
happy to drop you off and you can go check.
At a different sports authority, sure.
I think they're all going to be the same.
Yeah, I would say.
No, but why would they?
Well, we're
They-
already here.
Sports
What kind of
stores
distance
close
are
up
we
at
talking?
They're very slow zombies. Like I'm saying, the car leads them in a wild goose chase around the parking lot. We run in, grab what we want, get back in the car with all our stuff, and proceed.
So while this is going on, you're having this long conversation.
Well,
I do
we're
want to
circling.
remind you
I
that
imagine we're circling.
Eric is driving, and I presume it's your
Yes,
car,
I'm driving.
and you're circling around the parking lot, and you notice that there are. All right, there are about 23.
About.
Well,
That's
okay,
good.
yeah, a couple dozen
Yeah.
of the undead who are just wandering around the parking lot. As you're driving around, they're very, very slowly turning towards you. They're noticing you. They're attracted to the noise and the movement. And they're starting to cluster up. I mean, it's clear that they're intent on getting this thing that's going around. And so they're herding together.
So we'll do this for a little bit more. We'll drop a couple of you guys off, run in, get whatever you want. I'll keep circling, and I'll come back and pick you up.
We're here.
Yeah, I would. I'm. Drop me off. Drop me off at the. I don't know. Do we want to stop? Do we want to risk the grocery store? I mean, I think it's riskier. There's more people there, but I mean, it's food.
Way more people. There's no one in a sports store at night.
I don't.
That
We can't
sports store is
assume.
I
not-
think we're gonna assume that we have to assume it's gonna be like this anywhere we go.
Yeah, I would assume that they're
Especially at a
everywhere.
No,
time.
no, hold on. So the zombies
already been
go
how long?
towards noise and people.
Well, noise and movement,
Okay, and movement. Noise and movement.
which is people.
In a closed up store at night, is there any noise and is there any movement in a closed up store?
Well, that's the same thing with Publix. They close at 10 o'clock.
No, they close at 11.
Not
And they
this
open
one.
early.
This one closes at
This
10.
one
Okay,
opens at like
whatever.
7.
Yeah.
But a lot of
Wait,
people.
it's 5 a.m. We're not. Or 6.
Besides, the
6
zombie
5:30,
outbreak
whatever the time is.
happened when people were still in Publix, is my point.
So go.
So it's-
But
Still
then it's the
full.
same thing with Sports Authority. They
So
close
what
at the same
time? Okay,
No,
your
they don't.
logic
They close
is
at, like,
this
10.
happened at what time? I don't think it's gonna matter.
7 p.m.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is
When we
Sports
were-
Authority. There's gonna
It
be
was
lots of people in there
definitely
too.
Well, hold on. What time does Sports Authority close?
9,
I think 9
9 o'clock.
Yeah?
9 or 10.
I think so.
I don't think
Yeah.
9 o'clock.
So I mean, maybe
Everything is
what
gonna be
you
open.
really want,
Yeah.
Terry, is you want to find like a mom and pop sporting goods place. But I have no idea where that is. You
There's
know,
a hobby
Terry, I mean,
store.
Okay,
on
I would
Westboro.
Okay.
drop us off. I'm running into the Sports Authority. He stopped the car
Yeah.
briefly. I'm out with my baseball bat
Is
in
anybody
hand.
going with them?
I'll go with you if you let me use the sword.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you pull up, stop the car, you guys jump out, and
Right.
then
I pull away. I go some distance, and then I'll like honk the horn a little bit and drive away, kind of leading them away from them.
okay. All right. So you get up to the doors of the Sports Authority. They're locked.
Like,
Okay.
like, there. It's the
That's good. That's a good sign.
Yeah,
good
yeah.
sign. So
Yeah.
Is it-
And
it's the,
your
like-
driver just drove away.
It's
Yeah.
the motion doors, right? Like the
For
sliding
a
door
sports
sliding.
authority, I guess so.
Well,
is
I don't know.
Is it
The
gated?
one near
I
my
mean, most of them will.
Is it a sliding door or is it?
They're
is it
sliding
glass?
doors.
I can't
and,
remember.
They're
It might
but
be
they're
eight-
locked. They don't activate when you go up to them.
Right.
Right. Try and break our way
Yeah.
in. There's no other solution. Take my baseball bat and swing at the. I guess it's
The reinforced plastic.
Yeah, it's plastic.
Plastic glass
stuff. I would maybe no swing at the frame where the lock is and just try and.
No, a sliding door doesn't really have. Oh well, I guess there's a lock.
No,
but
there's a
it's
lock
not-
in the middle,
Yeah.
and that's how.
Right,
And then
yeah.
if it's not locked, even if it's not
You really want
on, you can still force it open.
Right.
Maybe we should just go in the back door.
We'd have to circle around the back. We're already out of the car.
Well, you're
No.
still in the car, right?
Yeah.
You can step out.
Sure.
Yeah.
You guys can.
I can still be in the
Well,
car.
I mean, you
we're-
can see
we're
us. You can
watching
see what we're
you.
doing.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, if
And you guys are just what circling around?
circling in the parking lot,
Okay.
but farther into the parking, so we can still see the store.
Mm-hmm.
So because we're obviously waiting for them to come back out, if
Right.
they ever come back out,
Is
or you can tell us to come pick you up. Obviously,
I mean, I'm not.
Are they-
They're cars here, right?
Yes, in the parking lot.
I'm gonna search any of them for keys. There's probably a good chance that people are just fleeing or running. Then
I would say,
I'm
are
gonna
there any
use
cars-
that to smash into the?
Yeah. Are there
That
any?
works.
Are there any running
That
cars
works.
nearby? Any idling cars or anything like that?
No,
Okay.
They're all.
there are not. They're all off.
Okay. But there are cars
There are
around,
cars.
right?
Right.
And I suspect
Maybe the
some of
questions
them have
are-
the doors
One
open.
thing to remember here is that when all this went down was 5 a.m., which means this
Well, it
whole
started last night,
endeavor
but-
started at 7 p.m.
Right.
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 So it's been quite a while, and so
Cars wouldn't still be running.
it's not
No.
it's not necessarily the case that people may have already tried to get to the Sports Authority.
Well, it's locked. If there's
In other
people
words.
inside, that'd be the.
You're thinking there might be somebody back.
Well, I don't
there,
know. Who knows?
All right, so
Yeah. Oh,
Hey,
you can
we,
knock.
okay.
Hey.
We knock. I knock.
Yeah.
I go,
We
hey,
need some help.
help us.
give me a logic test. It's going to be a tough one. So a positive die and 2 negatives.
Can we do it together, or is it just one of those?
Well, you're going to look for a car, right?
Yeah, I will.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Okay,
So,
so
me?
go ahead,
Alright.
Robbie. You do that first.
How much? How much?
A positive and 2 negatives.
2 negatives. Alright.
Nope.
Definitely do not pass that. Do I take stress from that?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you take one or two?
Now you're starting to panic a bit because they're, as much as the driving
take one.
around is drawing away a lot of them.
No, I take 2.
Some of them have
Cool.
clearly seen you. They've clearly seen you or heard you bashing on the glass, so you see a few of them start to turn your way. But they're still quite a ways off. If you're picturing the parking lot, you guys are in front of the building. They're like 2 lanes over at least, 2 or 3.
I would assume that I could just. I mean, as long as they're not piled on top of.
No.
Since they're slow, we could snake and weave around them, and as long as we don't allow them to corner us.
Right. 2 of them are clearly on their way towards you,
Okay.
but it's some distance away. So Scott,
Yeah.
you see, I mean, there's a lot of different cars, SUVs, cars, a couple of pickup trucks, all near the front of the parking lot. So obviously, it looks like they took the time to park carefully, but they try to get as close to the front as possible. So,
Like a defensive perimeter?
no, I mean like they were trying to get to the Sports Authority too, and so obviously they're not going to park in the back.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
But all the spots from like the midway back are empty.
Okay.
So, same thing. The Publix is in the same plaza,
It's right down the way.
visible.
Yeah.
So the same thing near the Publix. There's a lot of cars right in front of the Publix, closest to the front. So yeah, you see a lot of different cars.
I would say that if there's a lot of people going to Publix, like the idea is that everyone's trying to stock up, that parking lot would around the Publix would definitely be full because it's not a lot of parking.
and there are.
No.
Okay.
It's a very big parking lot. I've been there quite a few times.
Yeah.
So there's even more that you don't. You can see them milling about, but you can't even get a good idea of the numbers there. So Scott, you're gonna have to give me a logic test.
Yeah, because I
Same
think the
thing.
cars I want to look at, if there's any that have the door open,
Right.
I would go after those first.
Right. Now you're gonna get an extra positive, but now the undead are coming towards you.
Right.
So you're gonna get 2 positive, 2 negative,
Okay.
and you're good at logic, so you're single-minded.
Succeed once. I succeed.
Okay.
but I get 2 of these.
Yes.
Right? So then I only get 1 because of where I'm at.
The resistance.
Okay.
Look at that.
I don't know.
Wait,
I don't know.
there it is.
What? All right. One of the cars has a woman slumped over in the front seat onto the steering wheel. All the rest of them, you don't notice anything else unusual about it. It's a little Honda Civic.
Yep. Okay.
Okay.
Most
Hit
reliable.
first, ask
Yeah,
questions
hit-
later.
Well, first and ask questions
Most
later.
You got
reliable.
the sword.
All right.
Right. So I'll use the sword on the.
Does that mean I have the knife?
Yeah.
All right. The window is down.
Mm-hmm.
It's Florida, and so yeah. Just give me yeah. You don't even have to.
Okay.
Just roll 2 positive dice.
Yep.
Okay. So that's enough. You're able to just jam the pointy end of the. I mean, I know it's a wooden sword, but you're able to just jam it right into its head.
Brute force.
Nothing happens.
Right.
You just see that it clearly goes. It goes into the brain,
Okay.
and that's that.
Spaghetti.
Okay. So then, what are you gonna do?
Pull the body out and
Okay.
see if the keys aren't in the car. I'll look
Right.
first.
So you pull the body away. It's kind of tough because its hands were lodged onto gripping the steering wheel. At least one of them was. The other one was kind of up over the dashboard. But you managed to pull her away from it. The zombies are still coming. They're on their way, and you're still jamming. You're still slamming on the glass.
It's very important. I need to make much noise as
Yeah.
possible.
Right. But you do see when you pull her away that first off, you pull her away, and then you see that like below like her chest, like her stomach is just sort of lying out like guts. It looks like it was ripped open, and it looks like it looks like she may have been trying to hold it together at some point. Like there's like a coat there,
Oh my
but
God.
when you pull it away, it just all sort of sloughs out.
Good job.
And but
Nice shoot. Tim.
there's keys hanging out of the ignition.
Ooh.
Check the back seat.
Always pick that seat.
There's a tarp back there. Why would there be a tarp in the back seat? It doesn't make any sense. But go ahead.
She had to get her little girl to the sports authority.
It's first place I go.
It's a small car. I'm assuming like I will check the back seat, but I'm not gonna look all the way in the back and get it
There's nothing else
going.
back there.
And buckle up and
There's a baby seat back there, but there's
no
that's it.
baby.
Oh.
okay. Great.
Saddest short story of all time.
All right. Well, I'll start.
That's for the spin-off series.
I'll get
The
keys in,
webisodes. It's the webisodes.
Start going, and when I get close, start.
The car does start.
Do you want to ram it?
You're pretty good at logic. Your logic's a 5, right?
4.
4.
Yeah.
You're thinking that she died right before she could start the car and get
Right.
out.
Watch out for the zombie baby.
You gotta watch out for this. Very agile.
Although it is strange that it didn't make any kind of move to get to you.
Right.
You're wondering why
Yeah.
that is, but that's a thought for another time.
Another
So you
time.
start the car, and what are you gonna do? It's up to you at this point.
Yeah, I'm gonna go towards the Sports Authority doors.
I assume.
So
I-
Robbie is still turned,
Yeah, I'm gonna
slamming
try
on
and
the
I'm
door.
honking.
I
a
would
little
say
bit
if
and
I hear a
move.
honking, I would
Yeah,
turn around.
flash the
and-
lights.
and
So
go like,
Robbie
okay.
sort of
I
jumps
see.
out of the way.
I would go like, welcome.
Alright.
Yeah, give him a little matador.
Dude,
You-
Eric, they're probably going towards them and not us at this point.
Alright.
They're honking and blinking the
You're
lights.
clearly
Well,
yeah.
we're watching this going on.
Some of them are still going towards you. The big
Right.
herd of like less than 24 at this point. Some of them are clearly going towards you, but a lot of them are sort of moving towards the disturbance in the force.
They're like cows.
We're still just trailing
That's okay.
the ones behind us.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a pet store if you guys want to check out. There's a pet land.
Do you need more cats?
If I'm getting food, we should be
I
getting
say stock
alcohol,
up now.
Right?
If you need a ginger, we want a ginger cat.
I'm gonna
Orange
use the
cat.
Terry logic there.
Or a husky puppy. If there's a husky puppy in a pet land.
Aw.
Not until we have a house.
So, no, not in the zombie apocalypse. No.
The world is your house now. So you smash right through the door. It's a little Honda Civic. It's a big, heavy. The framework of it is a big,
Right.
like steel door or whatever. It's made out of aluminum. So it does significant damage to the car. The airbag actually deploys, and you take significant physical stress. So
Uh-oh.
give me a vitality check. 1 positive die, 2 negative die.
You put your seatbelt on, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Totally that.
Of course you
That's
did.
good. That's what the positive die represents.
Hey, I canceled out.
All right, so you take a physical stress as you, the airbag deploys, and
Which I
you.
don't.
You know, you got
Okay.
he's resistant.
No,
The
I
good
should have made that
Because
harder
they
for you,
bounce-
but that's okay.
Well, the one the bad
Oh,
airbag.
lucky,
The good
yeah,
airbag.
yeah.
Just
You're
so they-
lucky.
They're very
Just
reliable
survived a
cars.
car crash.
You got lucky. The airbag deployed successfully, and it wasn't one of those airbags that actually kills you. And you go right through like 6 clothing racks and right into like a pedestals holding mannequins that are showing off like swimsuits and sports gear. And then I assume you bring the car to a halt.
Yes.
Just keep going.
Okay.
All the way.
Robbie, what are you gonna do?
I'm gonna like do like the Bugs Bunny double take at the big hole that the doors used to be, and then go inside.
Give me one more logic test, and
Okay.
now it's tough. So it's gonna be a positive and 2 negatives again.
Okay.
I'm gonna. Okay.
Cancel, but I do not succeed. I'm just
Okay.
so I don't. Nothing happens.
Give me
I
one
haven't got
moment.
Eric's phone number. You don't. I'll call Eric when I get a chance.
Our phone's working. I
don't know.
don't sell towers up.
You still have a signal.
Yeah, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna call Eric.
The only thing
Mushy
is,
mushy.
Well, actually, I'll text Eric.
I don't think we would have battery. They would probably still have battery.
Oh, that's
I don't have my
fine.
cell phone charger with me.
I have my cell phone.
We have
Oh, then you
Yeah.
would.
we
Then,
have
yeah.
like
Yeah.
every
Alright.
kind of charger here.
Yeah,
I don't
I
know.
have
Yeah.
Okay. Then
Yeah,
in that
mic
case,
or
we
USB.
could probably assume that
USB,
we charged while we were sleeping.
Yeah, as long as power's on, I would assume we're plugging in.
Well done.
Never mind.
I'll just send a
Never
text to
mind.
say meet us in the
These are
back.
extra big batteries on these phones too, so I can get like 4 days if I don't actually.
Oh.
Yeah,
No, I tell
we
you
always put
why.
an airplane mode in this.
So he's busy driving, but I'll grab his phone and I'll say, "Hey, they want us to pick them up in the back."
Ah.
Because I think that way, well, maybe have a better chance. Because otherwise, we're gonna have to fight a bunch of zombies.
Yeah, so
We'll go around to the back.
there's a lot of
Okay.
space back there too. It's
Sorry.
not a very. It's a large back parking lot. Over there actually. My barber. So
All right. So Scott rams through the door,
Right.
stops the car,
Right.
starts to get out of the car. You run in,
Mm-hmm.
and you're going towards what direction of the store? Picture. So without going into details, I haven't been in the Sports Authority.
Right.
There's like an aisle going in, and then it splits off in 2 directions.
There's-
Cash registers.
Yeah, there's a
Right.
big center area that's
Right.
all apparel, and then the rings are all the
Right.
sports.
So you start
assorted
moving down one of
sports.
those paths to the back.
Yeah, I would.
Okay.
If we are going for the boat path, I assume that's the last thing I know. So I would say, I already have a baseball bat. I don't know what other weapons what other kind of sporting. I mean, I think a bat's the best thing I'm gonna do.
Machete.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if
Right.
they have camping equipment,
Yeah.
do we? I would
So-
say go to fishing. Look for fishing gear.
So you start running by one of. I assume you're running.
Well, I would be. I don't know about running. I would be. I'd be moving quickly, but I'd say try and keep my eyes open, but not necessarily. I'm certainly not walking. I
Right.
am moving briskly.
Right. So you're moving briskly past one of the checkouts with like the little lights with the number on top.
Mm-hmm.
You hear a loud bang, and at the same second, the pole next to you just sort of shatters, and you like kind of get hit with plastic.
I dropped to the ground.
So-
I assume, but okay.
And you immediately notice that when you do that, there's someone standing at one of the cash registers at the opposite end of the store.
Okay.
All right.
I would take cover as my, I guess, minor action or whatever.
Okay.
Behind one of the registers or whatever emplacement I could see, I guess.
Okay. You guys hear that?
Yep.
You hear a gunshot.
Yep.
It's pretty obvious at this point, especially Eric having used guns multiple times. Knows this. And Scott. Scott, I mean, you were in the military.
He's in the store.
You're in the store.
He's a
But
stationary
you
target.
recognize what it is.
Right.
And you can you kind of get out of the car and you see because of the angle that you're at. So you're on the driver's side is in the direction of where Robbie's running off to, and you the other side after you hear the shot, you see someone duck back down beneath one of the cash registers. All that you're able to see is that it's male, black, and presumably holding some sort of gun.
Why is he black?
Okay. So, what do you want to do?
We got room for you in the car.
Yeah.
No, that's not a bad idea. Necessarily. Try to talk him down.
Just tell me you can have that one.
This car's yours now.
This one's yours.
I brought it.
Car's yours? Is that what you're saying?
Delivery.
This car's yours now.
Delivery.
We're out of here.
Here it is.
Delivery.
We just want to get a couple supplies, and then we're leaving.
All right.
Come with us if you want.
You hear a voice say, "Man, what are you doing? We were holed up in here good."
We? Uh-oh. There's more than him.
Was.
We were, yeah, that's key.
Look, we're just trying to get some stuff so we can get out of here too, while we work together.
The back windshield of the Civic blows out
Okay.
as another shot comes past.
Yeah, I am just by.
You're in total cover,
Right.
so there's no chance of it hitting you.
It's a very loud gunshot.
Yes.
Okay.
Clearly a rifle of some sort.
Not enough for us to hear it.
Well,
Yeah,
I don't.
probably
I'm just.
so.
I don't think I'd be able to tell the difference between a gun and song. I'd be able to tell between a quiet
So,
shot
Scott,
and a loud shot.
what I'm going to need you to do is you're going to need to make a social test.
Oh.
This one is going to be charisma, and it's tough. There's clearly someone shooting at you. It's not really in the mood for words at this point. So it's one positive die. What are your features for that?
Good at reading people. And Vulcan emotion.
I'll give you an auto success on the reading people.
Yeah, right.
And what's the second thing you said?
Not kind of trying to be emotionless. Trying to keep emotions in check. So.
Well, I'm going to say it's more to do with empathy.
Yeah, right.
So you can go ahead and you have one positive die, you have 3 negative dice. This is a tough situation, and you're
so
trying to
good
talk
reading.
someone down that you can't even really see from shooting you after you just destroyed his
This seems like a
tidy hole.
Seems
sort of
very
like,
unlikely
it
here.
seems very much like a
Look.
simplified
Well, all you
version
need is 3 or lower.
of this.
Well, 3 and over, that's not
Cancel.
opposed.
That's not cancel.
Right. So, yeah, I did
There
it.
you go.
Look at that.
You got some stress.
But I got some stress out
You
of
do
it.
have a lot of stress because you're being shot at.
Right.
But you can't die from social stress.
Well,
You didn't, well, at least you didn't mention that earlier.
There's some sort of penalty for that, but I don't think it's death.
I would think it'd be ostracization or something, or being outcast, or
Ostrich, turn into an ostrich?
Lost his
turn
voice.
into turn into
Wow.
an ostrich or emu.
Or even.
Never mind. You die no matter what.
You choose. You choose ostrich.
So
or
if
emu.
you take too much physical stress, you die a normal physical death. Your heart stops beating and you die for whatever the reason is. Too much mental stress and you are driven into irreversible insanity. Your mind is gone. Too much social stress and you fall into an inescapable catatonic state. Your faith in humanity has utterly failed. This is like D&D, where if one of your stats goes to 0, it has a different way of that happening. So if your wisdom goes to 0, you're plagued with visions of madness and things like that.
Monkey.
Yeah, I don't know what that. Oh, never mind.
Hey, monkey.
So that happened, and you're able to calm down. So he says, "Well, let's get out of here then." Now you see that the dead are very close to the door now. I mean, this has all happened within seconds, and they're moving slowly, but they're getting closer.
All right.
So you're still behind the car, but you kind of peek over and you see that this black guy with the gun comes out, and he's got a little kid with him, also black. You're presuming his daughter, maybe about 9 years old, and then a couple, an older couple, look like being there, a white couple, not that it matters, but 50s and 60s, just to differentiate. And they were all behind one of the cash registers at the other end.
That is parents.
Where you answered. What's that?
Parents.
Sure. Adopted.
Good.
And so they start moving towards you, because I don't know. They see that the door's gone, and something's going to have to happen.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you're going to shoot them, you're going to shoot them. So Robbie, what are you going to do?
I guess I heard all this, right?
Uh-huh.
I heard all this exchange. Okay. Well, I guess I'll peek my head up, see that it's okay, and
Right. So you see this group of 4 people
Yeah.
running towards the Civic.
I'll get back up and proceed to my original, try and get fishing gear. Go for the easily grabbable rod and like I had gone fishing, so I would be able to at least recognize a complete rod and reel, and then
Several.
yes, I probably should. I'll grab as much as I can carry out the back, along with the bait and whatever. Hooks and all.
Sure.
All that stuff.
All right, so you run back there and you start grabbing stuff. You see that there's like I'm trying to think of the proper word for this, but you know how a lot of large department stores have like an office in the back that's not part of the store. You can't get there, but there's a window so that employees can see outwards. Yeah. You see that, and you see that there's some employees there wearing the Sports Authority outfit, which is red, I guess, red vest maybe, and and it's like the glass has got like kind of the wire in it, and they're trying to get out. They're putting but they're not able to.
Okay.
Because it's really strong glass. But there's 3 different employees there, just looking very not alive, trying to get out. You think they were probably locked inside. Okay. So, all right. So you're getting that stuff. That's taking a minute. What are you gonna do? You see them come up. You see the guy with the gun. Pretty large, heavyset guy, also wearing the Sports Authority shirt or vest.
Okay.
Vest. Say vest. Yeah. And the little girl is with him, and the couple, the older couple, normal clothes. They're not Sports Authority employees. And so what do you do?
Grab a shopping cart and tell them to help. Let's go to the back and grab some stuff on the way. I want to go to camping.
Man, what you talking about? They're out there right now. They're coming in right now. We don't have time for that.
We're going
There's
out
nothing
the back.
else here.
That's
What are you trying to get? Fishing poles?
What has to do with me? I need a machete or a gun. But
that stuff's all gone, man. This is all I was able to get.
Okay.
We came in here last. I was trying to hole up in here, and I'm taking these folks.
Well, look, because of all the things coming in, I told the driver, Eric, to meet us at the back. So let's go that way. You work here, right?
Well,
worked.
Work.
I practically own this place now.
Take us to the back.
The chain of command has led me to be the manager.
All right. So
I want to take us to the back, and if I see anything interesting to grab on the way,
fine. Yeah. So you see, I mean, he's frantic now,
right.
And he's like waving his gun around. He's not even barely looking at you. He's looking at the door. The couple that is with you, they're like in their 60s.
Right.
They're looking really panicked, and they look completely shell shocked. The little girl is just clinging to the guy with the gun and pulling on his vest. I mean, like trying to stay close to him, and they're just looking like they're listening to whatever this guy says. They've clearly been together for a while. So they'll follow you, and he's just constantly looking back, aiming at the door. You see that the first of the dead are starting to get into the sidewalk in front of the door.
Okay.
You know, I don't know if we can do 4 more people. In this.
Well, I was thinking of that. I know we could do one more, but you know.
If Civic?
Well,
I mean,
we don't know this yet.
No, I know.
Yeah.
I would say we
This
could
is his
squeeze them
guiding
in.
spirit.
There's a way.
Let's cut scene and go to the people that are back in the car. So the last thing that you saw, this maybe 20 seconds afterward at this point, was the Civic smash into the front of the Sports Authority.
So
It's a heartbeat.
And you heard 2 separate gunshots, and now you see that the dead are starting to drift away from where you are and your position in the car and go towards the building.
Right. Since we can only assume that we're going to go with the original plan because we haven't heard any communications otherwise, we're going to head around towards the back.
Okay. So getting around to the back is easy. There's really no cars in the back alleyway, and you're able to get there within seconds. Well, no, it's going to take you at least a minute, but you're able to drive around to the back. So let's go ahead and go back to where the action's happening. By the action, I mean people getting eaten. And that would be Scott and Robbie.
Getting fishing poles.
That's right, getting fishing poles.
I'm just going with the plan. Follow the plan. Oh, when in doubt, follow the plan.
All right. So
I
you run to the back. Robbie's coming out with.
I assume I have a.
Did you take any tackle boxes?
I probably grabbed.
He
I would say
mentioned
I would grab the tackle box, filled it with like all the
Hooks and lures.
loose bagged lures and sinkers and all that garbage. Just grab some of everything, like to make sure I'm covered, because I obviously don't know all the details about deep sea fishing, but I know enough that if I grab everything, one of the things will probably work. Put that in a tackle box, and then like grab like it's a firewood, but with fishing poles, and just grab it on top of the tackle box and head towards the exit.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I don't know where. I would assume there's always a sign that says fire exit or whatever.
So when you go back there to meet up with him, the guy holding the gun, you don't even know anyone's name yet. This is all happening simultaneously. Tells the old guy, grab that over there. The old guy goes and grabs a cricket bat from the adjacent shopping display.
Well, we have to have a cricket bat. Yeah.
It looks like they weren't making any kind of special effort to get ready to go.
Right.
Until someone changed their plans.
Yep.
And
well, am I able to grab something on the way? I take it you said this.
Yeah, well, I mean, what do you want to grab? Right now you're in the fishing section.
Well, I was trying to go camping because I was going to try and find a machete or
they would have a machete
or even a long camping knife. I mean,
he says, "Man, all that stuff is gone. There's only more. I mean, what do you want? There's camping stuff back there."
Well,
but there's no weapons.
You've already checked back here.
There's some. I mean, there's bats, maybe.
They've been there all night.
Bat or knife. I'm just grabbing anything that's good for right now.
All right, so
aluminum baseball bat.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's do this.
Upgrade.
I'm just gonna grab something.
It's a bat plus
aluminum's
How are we gonna fill
faster. You'll swing harder and probably won't break. Bing.
You're able to find like a survival, like a Bowie knife.
Okay. That's fine.
There you go.
Just mixed in with that. There was like a pile of stuff that clearly someone was just going through, ripping stuff off the shelf, trying to grab stuff when everything first started going down, and they missed it.
We found it there.
Still in its clamshell case. Right.
Clamshell.
Okay. And the old man takes a cricket bat, and So at this point, if you're looking back to the front of the store, they're starting to come in through the doorway and starts. They don't really know where you are. You're out of sight of well, you're not out of sight. You can see to the front, but it's not like they can really see you that well. So it looks like they start to disperse through the different aisles of the store.
Okay.
What are you gonna do?
I'm already heading towards exit. So
Which exit?
The wherever I see a sign, one of those red signs.
Rear exit.
Yeah, the rear exit. Wherever I would. I'm
gonna try and click the battery on the remote to see if they'll click that maybe the panic button on the car. Does it have a panic button on it?
Oh, you mean the I know what you mean. Yes,
yeah.
Yes, it does.
All right,
a Civic is a solid car
yeah.
with anti-lock brakes. No,
as long as it's a relatively modern Civic, it definitely would have.
So I'll do that maybe to buy us a couple more seconds, and then
Okay, definitely looks like it. I mean, you can't really see from where you are, but it you assume it's working.
What's that game we played?
Dead Nation.
Well,
Dead Nation,
right? I mean,
there's a dead game. There's a zombie game on PS3 called Dead Nation, and since you're like in a cityscape, there's abandoned cars everywhere. If you shoot one, it triggers the alarm, and they all go for it.
All right, so you see an exit sign in the back. It looks like it's by the security station or security office station.
I wonder if there's guns in there.
Right.
They don't have guns in the security station in a sporting goods place. It's not a prison.
Maybe a taser?
He's like, so the guy holding the gun's like, all right, let's go. There's the exit right there. I mean, he knows. I mean, he's worked there before, and he says it's all right. They're locked in there.
Okay.
So he starts running from the back. He's not exactly waiting around for you guys. He's running for the back exit.
Okay.
Regardless of what's out there, he doesn't even know that you have a driver.
Right.
And the couple and the kid just follow behind him. So, or what are you guys just following him?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I guess.
All right. You get to the door. Well, you go around the corner of the security station. There's a hallway that leads back. You see a large one of those exit doors. It's got like the bar on it that you push to get out, like it's a security exit.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a door from the office. There's a door that leads into the office, and that's just a normal door. There's no windows on it or anything. So you guys start running past that. The guy with the gun goes first, and the couple. As the old man walks by the door like sort of slams open, but it's not. Like it looks like it's locked. Like there's something holding it back, like a chain. It looks like it might have been locked from the inside. Not a chain, but like one of those like solid bolts that like an apartment has, or a hotel, right? But enough for one of them to sort of jam its arm and start to squeeze its head through, and it grabs the old man
Just
as he's moving past.
Just the hand. Where does he grab him?
Let's see. It would be his shoulder.
Okay.
So the old man goes, ah!
I didn't really have room for him anyway.
Well, that's what I was kind of thinking, but we gotta move on.
So Guy with the gun says, "Leave him. It's too late." The woman is freaking out and starts grabbing him and pulling him away. So what do you do?
I'm gonna try and get past him, and then.
Oh,
Interesting.
Okay, Vulcan. Spock over here.
yeah.
Well, I mean, but the problem is, I already know with the car, we could probably fit 8 in there. I think it'd be
Just
tight.
squeeze them. Sit on
But-
laps.
What are roofs for, anyways?
There's a trunk. I jump in the trunk.
Oh, they'd be in the trunk no matter what.
What? Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's the room for all that fishing gear?
I mean, there's 7 with.
There's room.
Yeah.
We'll find room. We'll find a way. I don't know what I will do with my arms full of fishing gear to save this.
Yeah,
I run right past him. Keep going.
All right. Well, the old woman says, "No, you can't. You can't just leave us."
All right.
Oh!
I'm gonna step back. I gotta turn around and almost give the zombie.
You see, so the old man is being pulled back into the door, and so it's just enough of the door. You see the zombie starts to push its head out, and the skin is being pulled off the side of its face as it squeezes its head
Can I
out.
drag the woman away? That's
That's what I
makes the
would
most
do.
sense.
That's
That makes the
honestly
most
the
sense.
best.
Yeah.
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 That's
Alright.
honestly the best.
So you're gonna need to give me a.
We'll see some-
It's gonna be a vitality check.
Okay.
She's struggling against you at this point. So you're starting off with a positive die, but you have
isn't gonna work.
2 negative die.
That's it.
That's it.
And this is to pull the old lady.
Yeah.
This is
Out of
the
the
way.
way.
No.
Alright. So you're not able to pull her away. She's able to pull away from you, tries to grab him without, well, let's see. You might have some more time here. Yeah, it's pretty easy for it at this point. It chomps down firmly on the guy's shoulder.
Right.
And bites right into it and just starts gnawing at it. The old man is screaming at this point, and so is the old woman. And I need you to give me a willpower check test. I need to learn that.
Do they? Do we know? Do they have any kind of French Canadian accent? This old couple.
God, what? Are they
Are they Quebecois?
No, eh?
Oh, then
No.
fuck them. Keep going.
Wow.
Willpower.
Give
You
it
know-
a say.
I just want to say, sometimes Rodney Smith from Watch It Played watches these videos, and he's a proud Canadian, and I do not endorse
I didn't say
or
Canadian.
stand behind
I did not say
these.
Canadian. I said French Canadian.
Oh, well, that's fine then.
Yeah. Totally.
How many
different.
dice am I rolling?
Just for reference, I'm
You're
French
rolling
Canadian.
2 negatives and a positive.
Oh well.
Oh, that too.
You're not.
You're a
old.
lot of things, if I remember.
Yes.
You're not an old French
Hey, I
Canadian,
made it.
are you?
But I
See, that's my problem.
All right, so you do take 2 stress.
No, I take 1 because I'm already.
Oh, right, okay.
Hyper stress.
And you resist the urge to just run away. You're trying to save this old woman, and she is just panicking at this point.
Look, I gotta go. If you want to live, you gotta come with me. You know.
So one last time, give me an empathy check.
Empathy. Okay. How many dice? Good.
It's tough. You get a positive and 2 negatives.
No way. So, but only one.
Mr. Roboto is the negative. So while they're
It's not too good at
Nothing good.
at convincing this poor old lady.
Yeah. But I don't take
Oh, wait.
anything, at least because I canceled it out.
she's not leaving. She starts to
Okay.
hit the zombie in the head
Alright.
with her hands.
Does she use her purse? Please say
Um,
she uses her purse.
Do you want to stand around to see this?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I tried.
You run out the back at the right as you're running out. So the guy with the gun, Robbie, and the kid are standing out there. You can see coming down the alleyway. There's more zombies coming, but just at that point, Eric,
Cavalry.
Terry, the cavalry, and Kim arrive. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say it that way. I was in the middle of my thought. Eric, Kim, and Terry show up.
Okay.
I'll have the back open, the hatch.
Sure, there you go.
Well, I figured they're gonna have fishing rods, so it's gonna have to
yeah,
be somehow.
slide.
I'm not aware of the other people, but
I
Yeah,
would
surprise.
the equipment we're going to
throw all that stuff.
It's
in
a
the-
girl. It's gonna be on the lap. You can fit 6 in there. Isn't that right?
I would.
It's
tight.
it would be 4 seats. This was the 5 of us. We had one person actually sitting on the floor. Of the current configuration. If the back seat would have been down,
Right.
which would have been 3 seats. But being down, there's just more room in the back. So it's plenty of room to have 5 people without even going into back. And then you'd have the back, which is a fairly large area. You could fit another 4 people easily back there.
Well, we don't have.
Right. Or
We're down to only 2 additional people. So
right.
One of
So
them is
we have the room for it, but
yeah, I would dump the equipment in, and then jump in.
So you're saying we have room for 2 more people, if I understood.
theoretically, yeah.
Good. So my house, my wife and kid are on the way to the Fort Lauderdale Marina. It all works out. I know the back roads.
Look,
I
mean,
can take us there.
I don't know if the marina's going to work out at this time. I mean, just based on what happened here, there's not going to be boats, but we can drive by.
Let's
Sure. Why
Hey.
wouldn't there be boats?
That's right. Let's
Yeah.
Everybody's
yeah.
got
Let's
the same
get your
idea.
company's yacht. We can hook up with Jane's
Actually,
family.
No.
that's an action I would probably take.
We need a sailboat.
I have in my wallet. I have a card for emergencies to call because my company is big on emergency relief, and they get like when there's hurricanes, they get gas trucks and they get tarps, and when stuff happens. So I would probably call and see what's going on with that.
Okay.
The yacht can do
Because they do have a yacht
transatlantic
and
travel.
jets.
But
So
it's a
Right.
180-foot yacht.
You call the number and it just rings.
that's not good.
No one to answer.
Yeah.
That's not good. at
So,
all.
and we also introduce ourselves to these people here, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, you really fucked us on that one.
Hey, dude, there's
Now
no
we gotta-
food in the sports authority. What are you
There's
gonna do?
food right there. There's a Publix right there, man.
What are you
I
gonna
could've
sneak
waited.
over there?
That's full of zombies.
I
It's
think-
not a long-term plan.
I think
Okay,
You're
wait,
safer
wait,
with
wait,
us.
The
wait.
government is gonna
You trust
save
the
us.
You trust the government?
All right,
Dude,
whoa,
I think
whoa,
we just saved
whoa.
you because you saw what
Whoa.
happened to those. I don't know who those people were. Do you know who they were? But
They were just in the store. I mean, I was here. I was holed up. I got one of the last sporting rifles that were left there.
What's your name? I'm Robbie.
My name's Mac, man.
I like your name, Mac. I knew a Mac. He was a good man.
All right, you're
Man,
not
don't
very
try to be
charismatic,
nice to me
let's
now. You got rid of my hiding spot.
I didn't drive the car to do it. All
Look,
right?
we got-
Scared the hell out of my
Whoa,
daughter.
whoa.
Mac, we got a plan.
What is the plan?
We're gonna get on a boat because zombies do not swim.
Look, I heard that in Miami, that's where the government is, man.
in Miami,
In Miami,
Mac, can
they've
I?
got a camp there.
Mac.
It was on the radio.
Mac, can I ask you a question?
What's up?
Have you seen the movie 28 Days Later?
That movie was some shit.
All right.
For real.
Have you seen a lot of zombie movies? Because there's always a guy who goes, "Oh, the government's gonna save us. The government's gonna save us." What happens to that guy?
Well, the government did save them at the end of 28 days later, but
Not all of them.
then the sequel
28
didn't
weeks
go
later.
so well.
No, 28 weeks later.
Yeah,
It's
the
pretty
sequel was
terrible.
some shit too. Why did I even watch it? I didn't even like the first one.
Look, Mac, we're gonna get on a boat. We can sail down to Miami if you want.
Listen to yourself.
Sailing.
Zombies can't swim.
Zombies can't swim.
So you're still in the
There's a
alley.
marina right over
Yeah,
there.
well,
Yeah, let's.
we
Oh,
got
no,
it.
I'm
I would
taking
say
us.
we.
Okay.
let's go.
Yeah. I'm
I
assuming
would,
this is
I,
like
Alright.
as we're going down.
yeah, I would
Yeah.
assume that as soon as we are all in the vehicle, we.
On the way to
As
the
you
house.
when you stopped to pick them up, zombies started pouring into the other side of the alley where you drove into, and you have to. You're gonna go forward or backwards.
Which one does
Can
it
we,
have
well, I'm
zombies?
assuming
They
there's
both
two,
do. They're starting to pour into each side of the alley.
Which one is
each
less?
side of the alley.
Well, there's no alley really.
The
It's just a
one
big
that
about
you
outside,
came
yeah.
from,
About
probably.
backwards, back
Uh,
there.
The
whatever-
back of a strip
Whichever
mall
one
store.
that looks like there's fewer of them, we're gonna go that way.
Okay.
I
We
mean,
gotta go one or the other.
I mean, you could just kind of just push them out
Hey,
of the
Matt.
way.
Matt, can you like pick zombies off if we're trying to get through so we can get out of here and get to
How much?
wherever we're going?
Yeah, how much ammunition do you have?
I mean, do close to back.
I've got like 6 bullets left, man.
That's not very good.
save them.
He's the one that's gonna logic, isn't he?
Yeah.
There's so many people in this car right now.
So you pull back into the zombies that are behind you. I guess you're backing up, or you're. It's a small
no,
alley.
no,
you
no, no,
can't.
we're not backing up.
Okay.
No, I
I
would
thought it
recommend
was.
to you that.
Well, I thought. No, I want to drive forward like I'm leaving, whatever way it is to drive forward.
The alley. Okay, so there's 3 zombies in front of you coming down the alley, and it's a tight alleyway. So 2 cars can fit, but they're sort of spread out coming at you, so you can't really avoid them or swerve past them. So what are you gonna do?
Go over.
Okay.
You gonna like tell us brace?
No.
At this point, I think we're all pretty much paying attention.
Yeah, I think we're.
Yeah.
I
No.
think we're all seeing.
At
Hey,
this
look,
point,
there's
no.
zombies. No, I'm
If you can't
organizing.
figure that part
I'm
out-
carefully organizing the fishing equipment in the little
right.
sections of the.
So who's in the passenger? Are you in the passenger seat?
I guess.
Okay.
Sure.
All right, you punch right through them, and that's okay. And roll right over them with a thud. One of them, you kind of clip off to the side, and its face hits the side of your front windshield with like there's a splatter of blood, but then it gets knocked away to the side. And getting out of the alleyway, you see now you're going out the back, which would be I don't know what the name of that road is,
Power
but it's
line.
That'd be power line.
well, no.
If they're going the other way, there is no way out. You have to come back around.
Right, you circle back around to the parking lot, and you can get back onto Hillsborough.
Okay.
Looking back behind you to see that there's just you don't even see as many dead as before because they seem to all be into the Sports Authority,
So
like
I
all
used-
the cool
I
kids
used the
are.
windshield wiper fluid to clean the windshield.
Yeah, sure.
Oh,
Need that.
Need
Better make
visibility.
that,
Yeah,
better make that
visibility
windshield fluid
The
last.
carpets got washed, all right? You know,
Jeez.
jeez,
It'll rain tomorrow. Don't
no
worry about
respect. Respect.
You gotta get the
Alright.
brain off the windshield.
Just take it to the wolf.
All right, so at this point, it's about 6 a.m. Well, no, it's not nearly that late. I would say it's about it's close to 6 a.m. Your slumber was interrupted about 5 a.m. Not that much time has passed. You had some deliberation, planning things out. So your phone rings. Okay,
I
you
answer
see it's your wife because you see it's the picture or her number comes up,
Right.
whatever it might be.
Yep.
And she's I don't feel comfortable role playing your wife, so I'm just gonna say she's freaking out
Right?
and says that she's in the bedroom with Kobe,
Bathroom.
wherever you told her to hole up, and something's banging on the door.
Okay, I tell her, just stay in there, make sure the door is closed. Presumably she locked it, and I'm coming to get her.
All right, so give me an empathy test. You're essentially trying to calm her down at this point. So it's not you're not trying to talk her into anything. You're just trying to calm her down. So
quiet.
you have a positive, and I mean it's your wife, so you have an extra positive as well. What are your features for that?
Always smiling. Cries in movies, honest, not very convincing.
He's always smiling though. He can. He sees
Take
the,
two
he
positive and
sees,
two
he sees-
negatives.
He sees the optimistic.
Okay, well that's at least one success.
One success?
There you go, and no. Well, negatives only cancel out positives. They don't cancel out each other.
Yeah,
Right.
So,
Right.
so you have
Two negatives.
two stress. And so,
So yeah, I tell her to be quiet.
right.
And to just stay still.
She's got the car keys. Maybe you can get her to do what I did. Just hit the panic button.
That would work.
Yeah.
I ask her if she has the car keys.
Would she have grabbed the car keys? 50-50 shot. I'll say 1 through 10. She grabbed the car keys. She says,
Nope.
"I didn't grab the car keys. I didn't even think about it."
Is there any kind of weapon in the bathroom?
No. All right. So yeah, I tell her, look, if they break down the door, you go out the back door. So it's a Jack and Jill bathroom,
Ah, okay.
and you mentioned that only presumably one of the doors are banging on. But I say, look, stay as long as you can in there. But if they actually break through the door, like if you see a crack, quietly go out the back door, get in the car, meet me at the marina.
Okay. I mean, she still sounds really upset.
Sure. And
you don't.
I can keep talking.
She said Kobe's fine, but you don't hear him. It seems like she was able to calm him down, or he's not really bothered by it. I don't know. Maybe he's like one of those super heroic kids that's
Or sleeping.
or that too.
No,
There
it
you
could
go.
be.
Hopefully. So there's that. And so you guys are just gonna head south towards now. How are you gonna get south? Is the question.
95. I don't think is. I don't think that's reliable.
Well, I mean,
I don't know. I mean, 5 a.m. is kind of like.
Well, it was at 7 p.m. that everything started going down. 95 even.
so I mean, just assume power line or military, right? Or is that what you're thinking?
I guess so. Yeah, just take local roads because then we
All
can
right.
at least go around and
Yeah.
like, oh, this way is left. We can go further out and cut across and
Power line's in the right direction, so let's take power line.
yeah. Just take power line south, and I guess as we go, we can.
And honestly, power line. I mean, we could take Andrews. It's a smaller
That's
road.
like we can.
Yeah.
If we go one way and we see, oh, there's, we can
yeah.
kind of reroute.
Marina.
All right. It's actually 11 o'clock, so I think that's actually probably good for here. I don't want to make this go too long. Just to give you a taste of what it was like, and maybe sometime in the future we'll do it again. But that's essentially the system, and your
Live
continued
happily ever
adventures.
after.
Oh, I'm sure.
On a boat, Waterworld style.
It's
Kevin Costner,
there you
Yeah.
go. Well, no. What happened at the end of Dawn of the Dead? They go onto a boat,
and then they all die.
and then they get to the islands. And they're like, "Oh, this looks great!"
And
And then
there's
hordes of
zombies-
undead
there's zombies
rush to
there.
the harbor. So they have to get back on the boat, go back out to water.
And then they starve to death.
Then there's a zombie head in a cooler for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know. Someone stashed a head in a cooler. Maybe they're like,
Bad
oh,
idea.
we'll bring it back to life, instead of just throwing it overboard. But
Like, who's that baseball player? They were gonna. His kids froze
Ted
his
Williams.
head. Ted Williams.
it's so wrong. It's so awful.
Right. So, but if you guys are up to staying around a little bit, we can sort of get a palate cleanser and play a little party game. It's up to you guys. But I just want to give you guys a taste for what that was like. I didn't want to go on too long. That's End of the World Zombie Apocalypse. I'm talking to the audience. It's pretty cool. Obviously, if you plan it out, you can do a campaign. You can actually do a post-apocalypse thing. And there's different... They tell you not to really reveal this to the players, but there's different scenarios. So there's different scenarios that give you a guideline for how this is happening and why this is happening and what the conditions are and limitations. And in some of the scenarios, animals are affected too. And some of them, it's more like 28 days later, where it's more of a epidemic and they run. I thought that might be a little too brutal for you guys. I did certainly toy with the idea.
Oh, if
yeah,
zombies ran, I'd be dead.
we all be dead. I think.
Yeah, exactly. That is a
I
very
don't think
specific type of scenario.
Yeah, he can run.
Run.
But
I'd
that's
run
it.
for
And
a
then
little while.
for each different scenario, the book is structured really cool. So each different scenario has the apocalypse and then post-apocalypse, and it's different for each one. And you can make your own. It's a very customizable system. But I hope you guys enjoyed that. And do you guys want to play a quick party game maybe, or do you want to call it a night?
Probably should call it.
Okay.
I'm sleepy.
Yeah.
All right. No problem. Fading fast.
It's work day tomorrow.
All right. Cool.
Unfortunately.
Well, thanks for putting this together, man.
Absolutely.
This is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. I like this. Those are good.
Yeah. I want to do the other books.
I'd be interested in
Lessons learned,
the
I'm
Lovecraft, the
completely useless
Cthulhian.
in a zombie
Well, the way
apocalypse.
that the
Aliens.
Wrath, yeah,
Aliens too. That'd be good.
I think the way the Wrath of the God ones is set up, and I might be mistaken, is that it doesn't necessarily have to be like the Cthulhu gods. It could be anything really. Maybe
Right.
it's like, I always like the idea that, like in Shadowrun, the Native American people get their power back when magic awakens. Like all the magical rituals they've been doing the whole time that really haven't been doing anything were real, and now they have their power, and they just like decimate half of like the eastern seaboard and take back their lands. So I think that might be pretty cool. Like these Native American spirits rise up and plunge the world into ruin. But okay, I'm gonna shut the feed off.
Alright, everybody.
Thanks so much for watching, peeps. And now I'll awkwardly look for the button to turn this off.
Those are always the best parts of the videos.
That's right.
When everyone's
Very anticlimactic.
turning things off.
I don't know why this isn't like auto updating this thing.